water, splash. Water, water, don't get caught in the water, drown. Water, water, you wanna talk on my fish. Water, water, my diamonds they glint, bitch, get on my dick. 100K on me, I flip it, I spend it, you humble. You flex it with that, don't get none. You broke and said don't get no money. Water, 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 splash, drip. Give me, she water. My diamonds they water, splash. Water, 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 water. Going across the country, take another order. They talking that lingo, don't know it. I just been fucking selling Sonya. It's water. You know it. Water, splash, drip. Water, I can feel it. Hit it with Fiji, damn. It's water in the strip. Can't take the shit. I'ma bust real quick. I'ma call drill wet. Don't play bit. Man down. Gang shit. Party off that shit. Poppin' pills crazy. Pyramid, I'm booted. Got your bitch zooted. I'm poppin' that X. Molly, sluts, love it. Yeah. Gang shit down. It's a hit. Yeah. If I do get caught with my blick, it's by 12. I ain't going out for y'all. I'm gon' do it by myself. I'ma go crazy. CBDK, RP, Lil B, blaming. You don't want static. Cover and pop out with slammers. Bitch, I'ma go like bananas. Damn, Ariel stunner home. It's a damn movie. Know it. Poppin' the pills and get groovy. Damn, I'm in the booth. See, what we do is shoot movies. Movie. Damn, movie. Get. Damn, can't really say shit.
You're on camera! You're on camera! Stay back!
It's the guy watching his Twitch.
Is that really him?
What the fuck? I went back in time. We're going back in time. Going back in time. Going back in time. Time zombie. Oh yeah. Zombie time. It's time for zombie time zombie. Oh good. Turn into a zombie. It's a lovely day to teabag a zombie. It's a lovely day to teabag a zombie. We're going back in time. Going back in time. These poor unfortunate souls, they got raped. Too fucking bad. That dark and brutal flashback brought to you by the amazing cleansing power of Selsun Blue. Don't trust me. Don't trust who? Selsun Blue. Don't trust who? Don't trust me. Don't trust who? Selsun Blue. Fuck you. Don't trust me. Don't trust who? Selsun Blue. All that I can do. Don't trust me. Don't trust who? Selsun Blue. Don't trust who? Who fucking knows who to trust at this point? Oh shit. Another time warp. Going back in time. Going back in time. Going back in time. Oh man, how many time warp jokes are we gonna have in this fucking playthrough? How many times will we do the time warp again? You know it's coming. Let's do the time warp again. Let's do the time warp again.
It's just a jump to the left. With your hands on your hips.
Let's do the time warp again. Let's do the time warp again.
Man, I really hate that part of that song. I need to get the version without it one day. What layout am I using for this? That's it. I like how I named this layout specifically used today, like 6 months ago. And it's still named used today for reasons. I'm probably never gonna change it. But how you doing, everybody? Welcome to the stream. What's up? Oh shit, I got the wrong layout on screen? How does this happen? I can fix it. I actually don't know how the fuck that happened. OBS is buggy, dude. I did nothing wrong. Ever since I got the new one, every once in a while it'll randomly mess up. Oh, Jesus. Oh, no, never mind. It's correct now. It looked funny, but I think the color's off. Yeah, of course the color's off. But in our never-ending quest to truly and fully understand the father of YouTube, we back with an official back in time, son. Back to KO Gaming. I did a poll on the Twitter, and KO Gaming won. It was either KO Gaming or I was gonna watch the really old That's the King I've been wanting to watch, but I'll do that one next time. But I'm finally on the videos I kind of been looking forward to, the opinion ones. Well, I guess it's always been an opinion, but it's not necessarily reviews. He got top 10 worst things about modern gaming, 1 and 2 and 3. Of course, it's 3 parts. Don't worry. I won't watch the whole videos. Is it really No Man's Buy? He got a fucking Sonic retrospective. It's crazy. But I believe I ended on the Lego shit. And I know I watched this Pokemon thing and fuck these other videos. So we can start off with this one. Top 10 worst things about modern gaming. Based on this thumbnail situation, is like Bloodborne downloading, card game. This looks like a card game. Game crashed, I think, right here. And I don't know what the fuck this other stuff is. I wonder how you start this off.
What's going on, everyone?
shit.
Phil here for
Echo.
KO Gaming. And you know, although we've seen a lot of big leaps and bounds when it comes to the quality of video games and gaming in general in the past couple of years, seeing some really awesome hyper-realistic graphics, seeing the rise of digital downloads and availability of games.
It's crazy. I
these
never remember to turn
huge
that fucking monitor down.
open-world cooperative style experiences, there's still some
I love
things
his YouTube
that
voice.
irk me. Even in the present day of 2016.
What is going
there's
on?
some things
Phil
about
here
modern
with KO
gaming that
Gaming.
piss me off. And
Holy
I
shit.
wanted to take
Anonymous
a little
tipped
bit of time
$1. It's
to
the guy
rattle
walking
off
He's
some
yelling
of
at
the
us in the
Is that
start of this
really him?
video. It is the guy, dude. And thank you for the $2.22 earlier. Arizona made gamer. Blame. You know what? Blame probably already got a mug. And Golden Colt 6 hours ago tipped $5.01. I'm sorry, but because you tipped before the stream, I can't put you up on the leaderboard, Golden Colts. But I really appreciate the tip.
annoying pet peeves about modern day gaming that I just need to get off my chest. Now, these are my personal
Big ups to the
picks
Wii U.
for the top 10 things that annoy me the most
And
about
mobile
modern
games.
gaming. You may completely disagree, or maybe you agree. As you watch this video, feel free to leave a comment and let me know if you agree with me or if you think that I left something out. Without further ado, let's get started with my countdown. Number 10. Day one
You fucking made
required
2 more after
installs
this.
and huge day
Also,
one
why did he not do a top 10 best things? Did he do a best anything?
No, you
God,
dumb
really?
bitch, it wasn't
There we go.
fraudulent.
Why?
Oh no,
Soft
the best of
KOCC
E3.
tipped $1. Thank you Turbin for resurrecting me, seeing how that fat joyful
And
won't
then
do
the
it.
ego stroke videos.
I was a part of his 3 flowers
Soft
plan to be
cock. Thank you
successful,
for the
but he
dollar.
threw me aside like he threw that other thought panda face out the ambulance with just a pill. When can we expect KOGAMING from you?
Wait, TKO Gaming? What could it be named? You could just call it the King of Gaming. What was KO Gaming supposed to stand for? I don't think he ever really told us. Even still.
patches for brand
He
new
is yelling at
releases.
us in this video for some reason.
Hey everyone, remember when you used to be able to just go to the store,
Fuck,
pick up
where
a
was
game
I?
on release day,
There we
bring
go.
it home, pop it inside of your favorite console?
Hey guys, remember the
and play that
90s?
game
I
within a
mean,
matter
when
of
Sonic
seconds?
06 came out?
Well, huge day one patches for brand new releases. Hey everyone, remember when you used to be able to just go to the store, pick
Yo,
up a
look how dusty that Xbox is. Are you kidding me? He couldn't wipe off the Xbox for the YouTube video? Really? You literally are aiming the camera at the Xbox, and you still couldn't wipe it off. How dare you?
Game on release
This
day,
guy.
bring it home, pop it inside of your favorite console, and be playing that
Platinum
game
Hits
within a matter
version.
of seconds?
Big ups.
Well, not anymore, because now, no matter what game you buy, no matter what console you're buying it for, it seems that more often than not only is there a pretty lengthy required install,
You know what?
and although
That's a really bad point he made to say, because he used the Sonic 06 disc, a game that definitely needed a lot of updates when it came out. And our complaint is that games have updates. We don't like the developers trying to fix the game. Should they instead sell us a different copy of it?
PC users may say,
God
well,
damn it.
we've had to always put up with that, so that's not
Fuck
a valid
updates, dude.
complaint.
And I hate installing
We've also got
games.
this new
It's a waste of my
issue
time.
of giant
Big ups to Fallout 4.
It's good to see even
Yo.
deaf people can beat up minorities.
Wait, what? Oh, they can even beat up minorities. Thank you for the $2 anonymous. Yeah, the Quiet Man streams was special. I'm gonna go back to it one day. 500 megabytes, 21 minutes left. We use this to complain. 500 megabytes. It's like an
Day
album.
one patches. Now, admittedly, if these patches are put in there to fix a simple issue, like maybe they found a game crashing bug,
Hey, why
or
the video
a
not moving?
corruption
Oh, it's a
issue with your
screenshot,
game
thanks.
file save that would make your gameplay experience overall a
Did
very
he steal someone else's? He like stole a picture from Reddit.
No, you dumb bitch. It
What the
wasn't
fuck is
fraudulent.
this? The sun is in the middle of the TV.
Frankenel tipped $1. DSP
Aw, man.
wants to make it look like YouTube as
This is
his
a
monster.
suspicious video.
And now that his creation has grown, it wants to destroy him. Think Mary Shelley.
If
No,
he
you
helped
dumb
make
bitch,
YouTube,
it wasn't
he kind of
fraudulent.
did create the monster, huh? I didn't think about it that way.
tipped $1.69.
Thought I had a clip for that.
Panda Lee was infinitely more attractive than Catherine Street Strawberry, also known as Madame Blueberry from Veggie Tales. What a useless husk of a human being she is.
Wait a minute, that's very negative. Why would you be so mean, Qbert? It's probably because you don't have new games coming out.
You, yes, you brought it up. You're the one who's causing the problem here. You, yes, you.
I love the idea that bringing something up makes you the problem causer. That's fantastic.
Negative one, and they
It's like
catch
arresting a
that,
person
and
that
they
call the
wanna
police.
Update that right away before you play the game on launch day.
What the hell is this
That's
picture?
one thing. But we've seen an increasing and alarmingly increasing amount of day one patches that are a gigabyte or more in excess of size. That seems to be entire game modes, chunks of the game, and pieces of that game that were not present on the
He
game
already
disc. It
recycled
seems
pictures.
more and more often in 2016 in the modern
Look
era
at these
when you go
boomer
and buy a
pictures he
game
took.
at a
you
store,
dumb
He couldn't
bitch,
take a
it wasn't
screenshot?
fraudulent.
Really?
The Blackest
He got
Eyes tipped
screenshots
$1.
'cause it was
That
part of
was
his
my
fucking
depression.
stream, I guess.
My depression. I shake the earth when I move.
Oh.
I shake the earth when I move. I
July
don't want to
28th.
improve.
When-
I don't
I'm
want to
gonna be
improve.
Dumb about this. When did this fucking game come out? Uncharted 4. A Thief's End. Might, yeah, okay, that'd be nice to me. May? So he took the picture, I guess. Nah, it just got an update. He wasn't even playing it in July. What? Whatever, screw it.
You don't actually come home with the complete
Maybe this
game
video
on
was his
disc,
fucking depression.
leading
You're being
to a
very
mass
negative here.
racial download before
Mature
you can play it.
Intelligent
Now,
KOCC
admitted-
tipped $3.33. The Mature and Intelligent KOCC is blacking the Mature and Intelligent cat in a Mature and Intelligent yellow thong. Mature and Intelligent Mature and Intelligent Mature and Intelligent Mature and
Thank you
Intelligent
for the 333. Can a bird be mature and intelligent? Maybe.
internet speeds are actually getting much better. So as faster internet gets, it's not that big of an issue. But the bottom line is, at least here in the United States where I live, we don't have universally great
Why are we
internet.
complaining
A
about
lot
the
of people
division?
get stuck downloading these
2
day
gigs.
one patches and updates
2 gigs.
for hours on end. And
Yo,
if you're someone
this is
with a busy
2016,
life and you
bro.
only
I
have
swear
a
this video
couple
came out
hours a
10
day
years
to
ago.
play, you're going to end up being really pissed
And this
off when
ashy-ass
everyone else
picture of
gets to
somebody
play a new
TV,
game
what the
on
fuck?
release day, but you were sitting
It's
there
so
in front of
blurry.
your loading screen waiting for
Yo,
the damned
look at how big that KOGAMING logo is. God
thing
damn.
to download. It's kind of ridiculous, and it definitely is annoying for the modern gamer.
It's so thick, too.
Number 9, the
Very nice. You
inconsistency
should've made it, like,
of
different colors or
digital
something.
releases. As we head into
Sausage
the modern
Party?
era, we're going to find
Yo,
that
he
more
checked
and more
PSN to
games
make
are
this video.
digital, meaning you're not going to be going
That's
to buy the
amazing.
physical disc anymore, but more than likely you're either going to buy it over the internet.
He literally
over
looked at
Xbox
PSNs
Live,
for
over
this
PSN
specific
or Steam,
video.
or possibly you may also be getting an expansion DLC
It's like a
or
tutorial
something
video
like that over
telling
the
us how
course
to
of
buy a
several months
game.
of the year. But what is up with the distribution practices for this digital content? Why is it that nothing is consistent?
And he made 3 of these.
Games that on release day
Oh no.
came out
Down
at
forward
midnight
punch
my
tipped
time.
$1.
I've played
Hey,
games
Turban,
that on
it's Cat.
release day
Just
came out at
yelling at
9
us.
I
p.m.
can
the
transfer
day
down to the Baton Rouge Coles no problem. Just give me 6 months
I
to
don't think
freeze
I've even
guard,
been
and I
inside
will
of
be
a
down there
Kohl's.
real
I
fast.
might look suspicious enough.
I can't wait for that BBC. For now I will have to use e-lotion on my meat curtains.
before. I've played games that aren't
Thank you for
available
the-
until the morning of release day. I've played games that release on a Tuesday, games that release on a Wednesday, and games released on a Friday. Sometimes you
Holy
get a
shit, $60.
DLC
Remember when that
season
game was
pass, and the DLCs aren't even consistent. One releases one day of the week at one time, while another, a couple months later, releases a completely different day of the week
Right,
at
they
a
let you
different
leave
time.
star ratings, but
and
not
it makes
reviews.
it almost impossible
Well, that's
to
suspicious.
plan out a consistent gameplay schedule for someone who actually needs
Hey,
to
Madden,
pick and choose
17.
the time frames that they can actually play a game. A modern case
Hey,
in
Street
point
Fighter
would be
5.
Street Fighter 5,
Hey,
for which
Alex.
there have been several different DLC
That's some
expansion
sweet gameplay.
characters released, as well as a full-on story mode. But every time there was a major
Oh, yeah.
update for this game, it released at a completely random day of the week, at a different time of the day,
It's like they
and
just
there was
downloaded
almost
the game.
no
Feels
advance notice
bad.
from Capcom
So
when it would
believe. How
happen.
dare
So
you.
if you were a huge fan of Street Fighter 5, and as a lot of people, they felt underwhelmed
Oh,
with
his
the
moves
amount of
couldn't come
content
out.
this game had at launch, and maybe you were
Wait.
waiting for
You see
As a
this?
lot-
You see this right here?
notice from Capcom when it would happen. So if
Watch
you were
this
a
jump
huge
in.
fan of Street Fighter 5, and as a lot
Right there. He can tell his move didn't come out. Look at what Guile doing. He don't know what the fuck he doing. His move didn't come out.
of people,
See?
they felt underwhelmed with the amount of content this game had at launch.
And look right there again. Very laggy. His move didn't come out.
Maybe you were waiting
Good
for
job,
additional
Capcom,
content.
fucking
You
idiots.
had no opportunity to really plan out when you would be able to play it, and 9 times out of 10,
God
you just
looked
kind of
confused
had
as
to
fuck.
jump in at some
Why am I
point
not
during
doing the
week
flash
and hope
kick?
that it
Oh,
was
no.
available. A lot of the times it wasn't. Now, to make matters even worse, it's not just DLCs that are
Is
an
it?
issue, but also the fact that
screwed it up.
sometimes certain consoles get certain
Call of Duty.
DLCs ahead of others
Advanced
due to
Warfare.
exclusive marketing arrangements. For example,
Nonsense.
until this past year, Call
Nice
of
blurry
Duty as a
ass picture.
franchise always had its DLC expansions available on Xbox consoles
Did he zoom in
about a
on
month
the
or so
picture?
before they would release on Sony consoles.
I guess
All
so.
of a sudden, this past year, that completely
What the hell is
flip-flopped,
this? Why
and
does
the
it look so
relationship is now that the
artifacty and
DLCs
weird?
are available for a month advance
Ah.
on PlayStation 4 before they're available on the Xbox One. That's ridiculous. If you spent the same amount of money as
You should
the
bring
person
this
who bought
channel
that
back.
game on the opposite console, you
I
should
don't
Day
get
one
this
Patchy
slideshow,
Beard
bruh.
tipped $1. Stupid game devs with their lofty 200 megabytes updates
You
to
know
fix
what?
their game are ruining my business. I can only stalk for tips for so long before my fans have to take their bubble baths and get in their jammies for
The
bed.
jammies.
Do you want me to play the love game?
You know what I just thought about? This dude basically uploaded PowerPoint videos. This is just the PowerPoint presentation. It's a slideshow and he's yelling over it. It's barely any moving footage. It's like not even enough to count.
both have access to all of the same content at exactly the same time. I don't give a flying
At least
shit
maybe
if
30%
Sony
of the
or
video was
Microsoft
moving
got
footage.
a payday from Activision, or if they paid
Maybe less
Activision
than
in
that.
order to get that advancement so they would sell more copies. It's a corrupt practice. It's not in the good nature.
Like, what the fuck are we looking at right now?
Gamers, and it just simply
promotion?
shouldn't happen. And then, of course, the final
He could have
straw that
used
breaks
Call
the
of Duty
camel's back
footage
when
for
it
this.
comes to digital releases, episodic games.
He could use
Because
footage. He
take a
played
look
these
at the
games.
history of these
Why do we have a
episodic style
picture?
games, from example,
Oh my
Telltale
God.
games, who over the past several years have had huge series like The Walking Dead.
He
or
played
The
all of
Walking
these. He
Dead,
could have used
amongst
footage.
many others. They don't have
man.
any kind of
Anonymous
a
tipped
release schedule laid
$1.
out
This
at
dude
all.
spurg out whenever
in fact,
there is
a
a
lot of the
slight
times,
inconvenience
they
in
don't
his.
have consistency in the time frame between
More
when
shit
the
he
episodes
played.
release, and then they only
Amazing.
give you a day advance notice of when it's
Fucking
coming out.
amazing.
So you may very well buy a season pass for one of these games and not
He
even
just
be
Google
aware
searched
that
the
the next
games and
episode of
downloaded
the
the
game
first thing.
released,
Oh, shit, video
completely
footage.
missing out on it and having to play it at a
Very
later
nice.
date because you just
The
didn't
most
get that
interesting footage
information.
in the world,
right now,
obviously.
I'm actually in the middle of playing Hitman. Now this
Christ.
game
Oh, hey,
decided
more
to take
interesting
that classic
footage.
formula of sneaking
Hitman
around
dude
doing
not doing
assassinations
anything.
in an open world, but change it from being a retail style game release
Look
to
how
a
having fun this
DLC-style
footage is.
episodic release game.
Is he gonna play
I
the
couldn't
game?
Tell you
Was he
when
doing a
the
shout
next
out?
episode's coming out, how many episodes are available. They've been releasing bonus episodes
My
that are
God.
only available to play within a certain time frame.
Yelling
and when
in
they
this
go
video.
away, it's just
Okay, I need to see something. Was he this mad in part 2? I gotta check the dates too. So this is July 28, 2016. July 29th, 2016. Is he yelling in this one?
It was really cool, high-level skin.
Maybe not.
Pull the lever and immediately you
Oh,
win.
it's a
You get
slideshow too.
a horrendous fucking mess. People who are buying digital content
This is
should
just
be
a pre-stream.
allowed to plan out and get the same kind of information as people who go buy that game at a retail store. Just because it's a digital release doesn't give a game developer the right to basically be wishy-washy about when it'll be released and to not have a kind of commitment to the consumer on when they can expect what they've paid for.
This
It's
is amazing.
absolutely
No one in the world they can't be wishy-washy, but if he get money, and he can just lie about everything, dude. And if you ask him later, you don't have the right to ask him questions, man. Mind your business.
ridiculous. It's not
I
acceptable.
paid for
and the
these
digital
games.
distribution of
These guys
content
need to be
needs
honest
improve
with me.
drastically.
Just because you
Number
sent
8,
me
the
big
availability
tips,
or lack
that
of
doesn't mean
of
you have to
nice
get
packaging
information
and
from
or
me.
nice boxes
Jay
and
tipped
presentation.
$1. Big fan
Big
of the
ups to this
lily
high
pad.
game.
Do you think the Saints needs another Katrina to win the Super Bowl?
Probably.
When you buy a physical copy of a game in the modern era. Hey everyone, remember when you
Probably.
used to be able to go to your favorite gaming store,
It's over
pick up
with,
a game
dude.
on release
When Drew
day,
Brees retired,
come
it's
home
over with.
and unbox
We gotta wait like
it?
10 years.
Remember the awesome amount of stuff that used to be inside of a game box?
I like how
and
he
the
just bought
quality
this
that
game,
would go on
and
the
he
artwork
just happened to
and
be
all the
able to film
descriptions
it
of the
here.
game on the outside
No,
of the
it's
box.
Big ups to Mafia,
Sometimes
too.
you get an
Struggling.
amazing
Didn't we play that one with Pandalay? I
Down
always
Forward
forget.
Punch tipped $1. Hey Turvin, you remember your Minecraft story mode
I
playthrough?
fucking hated that game.
Pepperidge Farms remembers. Your rage in the last episode was hilarious. Rip Piggy. Pig nose folded hands, pig nose
I
folded
don't think
hands.
she was there. I always get it mixed up with that other game. Yeah, she wasn't in this one. She would have been saying something by now. It's Pandalay.
Full color, multiple page pamphlet of instructions and supplemental
Pretty sweet
materials
manual, dude.
that could serve as a cool reading source so you actually get immersed
Nice
in that
advertisement
game
for another
universe
game.
before you ever boot the game. Hell, even some classics.
no, this is the other
as
game
far
too.
back
Hey,
as
Vice
the
City.
PS1 and 2 era came with giant
Why does he
fold-out,
still have
full-color
this?
maps and things that just made
He
it
really
feel
dug
like
this up for
that
this video?
game developer really appreciated your dollar. Well, say goodbye to that, because in the modern era, it's so damned bare bones. 9 times out of 10, I
This
ask
is so
myself why I
unfair.
bothered to drive to my local game store to get the game to begin with. There's
What about all the
nothing
Wii
in these
games that come with all
boxes.
kind of
Some of them
stuff?
have nothing but the game disc and a little warning pamphlet that may say something about epilepsy or something like that. Hell, some of them don't even have that pamphlet. And I'm gonna
Pamphlet?
be honest, sometimes I'm actually surprised when I open a game box to even find the
Yelling
game
again.
disc in there, because there's so little that's put into the effort of
Read.
packing these games and giving them presentation in a physical version anymore. Half the time,
Nice
I'm
stolen
surprised that
picture.
they even
Big
remembered
ups.
to put the game
Just
inside.
some other dude shit.
This is something that obviously is a pet peeve and it's a nitpick, but hey, back in the day, we were treated to a complete kind of presentation when we bought a video game. So when we laid down our hard-earned money, we felt like we were not only getting the game, but we were getting an experience with it, collectibles,
Federal
swag.
Burger Snorts
Now
tipped
it's hard to
$5.
get
Is this an
absolutely
illegal
anything.
stream and are
It's
these
few and far
illegal
between when you'll buy a
contributions
game and you'll
Yeah, the
requiring?
graphics look really
Stay
bummy on the
right
back
where
of
you
that
are.
case.
The wheelchairs are on their way to your location. Gorilla Pistol wheelchair symbol.
Federal Burger of
wheelchair
Snorts?
symbol. Gorilla Pistol wheelchair symbol. Gorilla Pistol wheelchair symbol.
What would this even be? A gorilla chasing a gorilla? No, the wheelchair said, oh shit. Never mind.
You'll even get a collector's card
No, you
inside
dumb
the
bitch,
box
it wasn't
as some
fraudulent.
kind of a thank you. It's a shame because let's
Hubert
be
tipped
honest,
$1.
Nice blurry picture.
Unfortunately, Hasbro Interactive abandoned me and my franchise
Lord.
after the release of QBERT for the PS1, and now I am forced to spend my waking hours
Nice,
formulating
we got the
theories about
update for
where
Hubert. Big
Catherine
ups.
St. Jean works IRL.
Wait a minute. You need to stop being negative,
a
Cuber.
lot of things are going
You need to
digital,
play
and less and less
Beatmania.
people actually are having big gameplay
What happened to
collections and
Beatmania?
physical game collections.
What happened to all of this?
anymore.
Why is this picture
and that
so
is
blurry?
A sad thing. It was a huge part of
Hey,
gaming
somebody
culture
else
for
stuff
quite
again.
a
Very
long
nice.
time.
Sweet
And
gamer
unfortunately,
room.
it seems that most game publishers are just doing away with that whole thing completely, knowing that
All that
eventually
Mario shit.
everything's going to be digital distribution.
I guess it's a
and that's
Nintendo
just
room, isn't
sad.
it?
All right,
Yeah.
so that was just a taste
Wow.
of a few of the things that I find as the
Oh, we can
worst
give 'em
things
money.
of modern gaming. Let me know what you
It's time for another fun countdown. This time I sift through all the pitfalls of modern gaming in a new multi-part top 10 countdown. Be sure to watch the next few parts too. Oh, I can't wait, buddy.
something.
Hopefully you yell
What
at
is
us
up,
again.
and welcome back, everyone, to my countdown of the top 10 worst things
burger is
about modern gaming.
a bad
If you haven't
thing.
seen part 1 yet,
Advertisements?
I strongly recommend you check it out and get
Metal
caught
Gear
up.
Solid
You can either
5 is a
click on the
pretty
screen
bad part
here
of modern
if you're
gaming,
watching on
won't lie.
PC on the annotation, or you can check the video description if you're on mobile to go ahead and watch that first. But without further ado, I want to continue on with the
Beatmania actually
countdown,
still exists?
So here goes.
What the fuck?
Number 7, popular games that have bad cameras but refuse to admit it or improve upon it.
This is a bad camera?
You know, we've come a long way. I remember back at Mario 64
What?
how terrible that camera was and how it would constantly get stuck and not show you the proper perspectives to see what you needed to do in certain situations. And admittedly, modern gaming is a lot better at that. You know, a lot of games are first person in this day and age, in which case the camera is controlled by you
This
100%
fucking dude.
of the time. And even in most
God
third-person
damn.
action
He
style
did
games,
everything.
the camera tends to be pretty good.
But he also hasn't done
There's
anything.
one series
Very
of
nice.
games from one game developer that infamously I have issue with the camera, yet it seems like they don't want to ever improve it. That's right, From Software. I'm looking
shit,
at
From
you.
Software.
I'm a huge fan of the
Leo,
Demon
look how
Souls,
blurry that picture
Dark
is.
Souls, and now Bloodborne line of games, and I've
The
played
Bloodborne
every
line.
single one of them. However,
And the Demon
every
Soul
time that I
line,
play
I
one,
love those
without
games. There's like
question,
7 of them.
I end up having issues with the camera, especially in particular if I'm getting
It's such a
attacked by a
fucking
mob
bullshit
of enemies
meme complaint,
in a
too. Holy
confined
shit,
space,
DSP, really?
or if I'm fighting a giant boss, and I
Really?
end up getting
And then he
pushed
got the
Random
Sonic
man
hat
guesses
on in the
tip
footage.
$2. Top 10 reasons I'm a living meme.
You sent that at the right time, too, because this is super mean. One of the worst things about modern gaming is the Dark Souls camera. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay.
into a wall or a cave or something like that. The
No, you
camera
dumb
We really
dips
put him on a
to
spot.
the wall. I can't see
Fuck you, From
anything.
Software.
$1.
Fucking
Dark
idiots.
Star
Souls,
of David
I get
Synagogue
pummeled into
Menorah
oblivion
Pig Star
within a
of
matter
David
of 1 to
Synagogue
2
Menorah
hits,
Pig Star of
forcing me
David
to
Synagogue
completely
Menorah.
restart whatever I'm doing
No,
from
you
the
dumb
beginning
bitch,
or
it
the
wasn't
previous
fraudulent.
bonfire or
Pretty boy swag Philly B
Oh,
tipped
shit.
$1. Back in my day,
Wait a
as
minute.
gamers used to be sitting on the block with our gamer swag like Mario shirts and love and be cold chilling. Drinking
a lot
40s,
going
rolling
on, yeah.
blunts with my basketball gorilla and doing these hoes raw. Flowers changed in the gamer life. It's all digital now B.
And we don't have enough time to melt butter. You can't fuck bitches. You don't have enough time to melt butter, dude. You definitely can't mess with women. So we got DSP Gaming, KO Gaming, and then the face cam behind the but not the thumbnail, behind the logo. He really couldn't move the logo for this one little segment of footage.
that
Unbelievable.
point. It's incredibly frustrating, and it's funny because whenever I play these games on stream,
God
and one
damn.
of these deaths happen, people literally will say, yep, it's another Dark Souls camera issue, it's another From Software camera issue.
Wait,
Yet,
huh?
Yep, because whenever I play on fire
This
or
is a
Checkpoint,
nice lie.
it's incredibly frustrating, and it's funny because whenever I play these games on stream and one of these deaths happen, people literally will say, yep,
The
it's
chat
another
says
Dark Souls
this.
camera issue, it's another From Software camera issue.
Wow.
Yet, they've never fixed it. It's almost like the cameraman for From Software games is like that inept half-brother who your mom tells you gotta give him a job
Horse, by the way.
because he can't get one anywhere else, so you can't lay him off or fire him. Even
Really?
though you
What is
cameraman
this
for From
tangent?
Software games is like that inept half-brother who your mom tells you gotta give him a job because he can't get one anywhere else, so you can't lay him off or fire him even though you know he does a terrible job. He's just gotta stick around and always do it for you. I mean, they can't improve this camera. They can't make it a third-person action game this popular that makes this much money that the camera doesn't get stuck in a wall or at least will rotate somehow naturally during one of these fights so you can see what's going on. The bottom line is, in a third-person
Love how Stone Cold wants to say people are inept as he put his fucking logo in front of his face in his footage. He really couldn't drag around his PNG file, not even a little bit. And then he got the DSP gaming watermark over there because he was still using that back then.
action game, if you can't see your character,
But
you
everybody
can't
else in that.
react. Why From Software
Obviously.
still hasn't fixed this, even up to Dark Souls 3 when it happened to me this year? I don't get it. It's unexcusable. It needs to be fixed. Number 6, random number generator purchases in modern games. Now,
Loot boxes.
this has been something that's
Big
irked
ups
me
to
in
Overwatch.
particular recently.
He loved
with
this though. He
mobile
bought
gaming.
loot boxes in
In
Overwatch
games such
multiple
as
times.
WWE
How dare you?
Supercard or Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle.
He spent hundreds and thousands of dollars on these games. What?
or even in a very popular game like Hearthstone.
He spent a bunch of money on that too.
In these games, you can't just buy specifically what you want. Instead, you
literally
have to buy
creating the
credits
problem
that are then used as currency
so he can
for just
complain
a
about it.
random pack.
These
For
fucking
example,
games
the
steal all of my
WWE
money.
Supercard. If you want an epic level superstar, you're not allowed to just pick the one you want and spend a certain amount of
This
money.
guy.
Instead, you have to open a randomized pack that may or may not even have a character of that rarity that you're looking for, and you don't even know what character it is you're going to get if you get one. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be disappointed with what you get and either dump more money into it or end up dejected and disappointed and just not spending any more money.
Modern gamers play phone
Dokkan
games all
Battle,
day?
it's actually called a group summon where you
Apparently.
exchange crystals in order to get 10 randomized characters. And again, they could be incredibly low level and worthless to you, or they could be incredibly high level. Of course, that's incredibly rare that you would get that. The same
Look
thing
at this
goes
hot
for
footage.
Hearthstone. You can't just buy the cards you want. Instead, you've got to spend your money on randomized pack drops with your fingers crossed and hope that eventually you're going
And
to
he
get
pretended
the
to
cards
try
that
to
you're
buy
looking
something to
for.
take this
It's
screenshot.
ridiculous. In what other industry can't you buy what
maybe
you
he just
want
stole
with
it
your
from somebody
money?
else.
It's the vendor's job to set a price that they feel is appropriate. So yeah, if that's a really overpowered in-game item or card, you should have to spend more for it, but not just spend randomly in the hopes that maybe one day you'll get it.
Gonna move
I
on
don't
from this
understand.
Hearthstone
And to make matters
screenshot?
even worse, it's spilled into the console realm as well. Look
Almost.
at games such as
There
Halo
we go.
5 with its wreck drops and cases that you open up and you get these randomized
Look at
items
this
and
game
things
I
that
didn't
you
play.
can
I hated
promote.
it.
Look at
But
Call
man,
of
I'm
Duty
fucking
Black Ops
pissed.
3 with its supply jobs. Oh, I got a really
Nice
epic
blurry
level
fucking
weapon. Well, no
stolen
one else got
pictures.
it, but you got it because you're lucky, or maybe because you spent $500.
How did he get images
opening
that
random
look so
boxes for
blurry?
2
What
hours.
happened?
And of course, the most recent game that is guilty of
You have
this
to go out
is
his way
very
to do this.
popular
Hey,
and called
Overwatch.
Overwatch. Yeah, if you want those really cool high-level skins and you want any kind of awesome colors or anything, you have to open up loot boxes that randomly will have good items, and most often than not, they'll have crap in them.
Are we gonna
so you
get
end up
real
spending tons
gameplay
and tons of
finally?
money.
Nope.
The problem with this practice is not only that you can't pick and choose what you want,
We
but it
can't
takes
even
the
hear the voice
control
line.
of the
He's
purchase
testing the
out of
voice
the
line.
hands of the
We can't
consumer.
hear it.
It makes it the equivalent of
At least show
gambling.
off
I mean,
skins.
if you go to a casino
There you
and
go.
you play a
Oh,
slot
never mind.
machine,
Back
and
to
you
the
pull the
picture.
lever and immediately you win, you get something great, you get a reward, you're going to get hooked and you're going to probably want to keep gambling. That's the hook of a casino. But casinos are regulated to make sure that it's fair and that it works. The question is anyone regulating this RNG number style purchases?
It's
in
wild how
gaming?
much shit he
Is
wants to
anyone
get
making sure that
regulated.
this is legitimate? And how many people
He wants
are out
everything
there
to be
dumping and dumping
regulated, and he
tons
hates
tons
people
of money,
being anonymous.
20 times as much
And
as
as
the
soon
value
as
of
something
the
get
game into these
regulated, he
games
tell
in
all
order
his
get
fans to
one
go
item
against
that
it
they
and to
want.
vote.
I think it's a slippery slope that's really dangerous. Now,
This
I'm sure
isn't
there's
good
gonna be
for me, you
naysayers out there
guys.
that
They're
say
trying
this
to
is a negative,
regulate
it's not a big
everything.
deal. Allow me to give you an
They
analogy.
need to regulate
Imagine if
everything.
you wanted to go to McDonald's today for dinner
McDonald's.
and you wanted to purchase a delicious Big Mac sandwich.
Oh, shit, there you go.
walk in, you put your money down on the
Big S to
counter.
the Big Mac.
One Big Mac, please, and the person
Yo,
behind the
wait.
Mac sandwich. You walk in, you put your money down on the counter. One Big Mac, please.
Listen,
Delicious Big
He
Mac
actually hits his real life table right there, or whatever. You can hear a little sound effect.
sandwich. You walk in, you put your money down on the counter. One Big Mac, please, and the person Big Mac sandwich. You walk in, you put your money down on the counter. One Big Mac, please, and the person behind the register says, "I'm sorry,
One
you
Big
can't
Mac,
just order
please."
what you want here. You have to purchase
gotta get
a
the
random
RNG burger,
food
dude.
pack where you might or might not get what you want. Okay, I'd like one random food pack, please. Oh, sorry, you got a McChicken sandwich this time. Would you like to just have that, or do you want to try again? You know what? I really want that Big Mac. I don't like the chicken here. All right,
How
$4
much am
more
I paying for this
All right,
food
here comes
pack,
a random
though?
food
Does it
pack.
cost more than a Big Mac?
Sorry, you got chicken nuggets this time. You're getting closer.
It's
If
a very
you just
lofty
keep trying,
idea.
Maybe you'll get eventually what you actually
wanna
want.
do this in a real
All right,
restaurant.
I'll try one more time, and dope, you got a small Coke. Sorry, bub. So you see what I
Bleh.
mean? If this was the same kind of practice in any other business, who the hell would do it? Who would walk into a restaurant and buy hundreds of dollars?
This is quality coming from the dude that come on stream every day and tell people his bills need to clear. I think that wouldn't be allowed in any other practice either, just like how the loot box shit isn't allowed in any other practice.
Of food in order to get the sandwich they want. Who would walk into any store and spend thousands of dollars before they get the item that they actually want to purchase? I don't understand why we put up with it in gaming. It's a curse on it, and we really need to step up and start talking about it collectively. Number 5, inconsistent performance of the same game
Look how good
across
his
different
webcam look.
platforms and consoles. This has always been an issue in gaming, but in the modern era when all the consoles are claiming to be of equivalent
Hey Phil, why doesn't your camera look like this anymore? If it's just lighting, he could have changed his lighting. You would think his lighting would look good one day over the course of like 2 years, but he just, I don't know. He looks blurry
just
now.
as good as the other. It is really a sad
might just be the
fact
lighting,
that a
dude.
lot
You
of
never know.
games don't perform the same across all platforms, even though these game developers and publishers charge the same amount of money for that game. Why is it that some games perform at 900p resolution on one console but 1080p on the other, higher frame rate, lower frame rate, more consistent frame rate? It's bullshit. Even though there are different hardware setups in these consoles,
You want the worst
if you're
version on
paying
everything?
the same amount of money for that game as someone who bought it on a different platform, you should get an equivalent gaming experience.
Oh, shit,
and it's
discount.
not acceptable in 2016.
Are we gonna do the
Still getting
discount?
Inconsistency amongst the different ports. The most recent game that
Nope,
had this
that was
issue
another
for
video.
me was Dark Souls 3.
I love the
played
discount
it on the
meme.
Xbox One,
That
and
would
I
totally
just
work
recently,
out.
a year
Well,
earlier,
yeah, the
played
Switch version
Bloodborne on the
fucking sucks, so it's
PS4,
$20
and I
instead of
noticed there seemed
$60.
to be
No,
a
you dumb
significant
bitch, it
amount
wasn't
of
fraudulent.
input lag in the Xbox One
That would be a
version. I
great-
didn't push the
Music
button.
Hall
a great
$1.
meme.
Tevin, quit being so butterfly.
Imagine Og
Dave
the
is
lad,
just
dude.
trying to be a positive streamer. He's just letting us know what he thinks. No matter how flawed and out of touch they are. Also, nice food lore in an edited video.
I like how is no positive stuff though. 3 videos, worst things about modern gaming. He never did a best thing about modern gaming. It's a lot of good things about modern gaming. It's really easy to play shit. You don't have some games costing $20 and some games costing $80. Well, you kind of do. It's really easy to steal stuff. You know what I mean?
Character would take a significant amount of time to react.
It's something
And I was
good.
like, it's not like this in Bloodborne.
You got
It was
analog
actually
sticks
pretty
now.
quick with the reactions in
You
that
can,
game. I don't understand
play
what's
games
going
and get
on.
paid
well,
for it,
yes,
allegedly.
It's been found that the Xbox One version of Dark Souls 3 does have more input delay than the PS4
Sweet gameplay.
version. So guess what?
Him not
You
doing
actually
anything
are
and
playing
talking.
a harder game if you're playing it on Xbox One. Simply
Oh, yeah,
because
this is
they
hot.
couldn't port it properly and make it work the same way on both consoles. That's bullshit, because I paid the same amount of money for the same game as everyone who bought it on PS4, so shame on From Software for
Shame
that.
on you, From Software. How dare you?
Number 4, everything in gaming has become some kind of a vile online competition, even if you're not playing a competitive game.
So
You know-
all of the games should be equivalent on all systems, which somebody got to suffer if they do that. But it's okay for him to have a 480p webcam and 720p visuals.
No, you dumb bitch, it wasn't fraudulent.
Well, I'll be.
Anonymous tipped $1. I donated $20 to Phil for his taxes, but instead he spent it on his marriage. RNG sucks feels bad, man.
No, I didn't know too much about this one
The
until I
donation
started on
RNG.
YouTube back
Nothing
in
you can do.
2008, and I just started to casually
does footage
record
look
my
so bad?
gameplay and upload it to my YouTube channel at that time as a hobby. Over the years, I found
It's
that there
not.
just seems to be this
This is a
one
YouTube
group of
stream and
people
everything. This footage
who,
ought to
no
look
matter
good. It
what
looks
you're
funny.
playing, seem to think that everything is this high-level competition, and if you're not
Time to get
playing
mad at the
their
tryhards.
level or in their way or the way that they think is the approved way to play a certain style of game, that it's just unacceptable and you're just
Are we
a
going to talk about
disrespectful
Kojima then? Because
slob,
we're showing Metal Gear
and
Solid
yada,
for a
yada,
reason.
yada.
The
Now, I
easy
can
game, by the way.
understand if there's
The game
someone
he
who's
said
saying,
was
I'm
easy.
going to be
Bitch,
great
it
at a
wasn't
use
competitive
footage of
game
this.
like a first-person shooter or a
Fucking
fighting
Anonymous
game.
tipped
Hey, Street
$1.
Fighter.
Dave Seidefeld stole all his
Footage
pics
from
from
the same
Google
match?
Images, but his $300 internet can't handle the full size, so he only downloaded the thumbnails.
It makes sense.
And then they never take the time to actually learn
He had to
high-level
download
tournament
them some
mechanics,
buggy
but
way.
continue to talk shit. Okay, then maybe you can call
Probably
them out
did
and
it in
say,
Internet
man,
Explorer.
that person really isn't very good at that game. But you have to understand that there is an audience of people.
This
who
is a
go out
section
there
for him
play
to complain
games
about the
who aren't
Twitch
in
chat,
it
basically.
To be the
Well,
best
YouTube
player,
chat.
who aren't in it for competition. Maybe they just want to play through the game at their own pace in their own way to have fun.
This is such
What a
bullshit.
novel
If you want to play the game at your own pace and your own way to have fun, then why the fuck are you recording it for YouTube? Okay.
concept to play a game just to have
I want to
fun.
play it just to
And
have
I'm gonna
fun
be
and do
honest
my
here,
own thing
there
and
are a
screw
few
around. And
communities
how
out
dare
there
you
that are
complain about it at all?
worse
But you better
than a
fucking
lot of
watch it, you
others.
faggots.
Yes,
And donate
and I'm
too.
bringing it up from software in the Dark Souls games. It seems if you're not some massive level player,
Play it in your
who
free
plays
time, DSP,
exactly
if you
the
like-
way
if
that
you like it so
call
much.
out, you should be fighting every enemy and mastering
Evil
every
AJ
aspect.
tipped
God
$1
damn
and
it.
33
Yeah, he picked the
cents.
quality
Elitism
meme for
within
this one.
games, and he shows MGS. So basically, this is how you don't play vids.
Pretty much.
No, you dumb bitch,
You
it
created
wasn't
the monster,
fraudulent.
dude.
Dragnuts
Yeah, this is
tipped
his sweet
$1.
unicorn
Big
pillow.
ups.
Panda
Your
Lee gave it to
style
him,
inspired what
allegedly.
I do on my channel. Shout out Dragnock Silvas, if it's cool. Keep on the pigroach, puppy hilarious.
Shout out to Dragnaut Silvers. spelled that weird way that you can just go to the chat to get. Shit, what did they say? Did they say puppy's hilarious?
of the combat and completely countering every boss, you suck. Even though you might beat the game by playing it in a different style, you still suck and you're horrible and you're going to be derided.
Looking
and
at the
called
chat
out.
as a style.
Another series that's very infamous for this is the Metal Gear Solid series.
Hey,
God forbid
blurry
that you
footage.
play through the
Very
game
nice. At least it
and
is.
not actually pay attention to something
Pretty
that's going
sweet.
on, or even jokingly
Of course,
make fun
nothing's-
of it or its
nothing's
creator.
really happening,
Because I'll
but
tell you
whatever.
from first-hand experience, even if you're just kidding around, it will blow up in your face, and these people will stalk you for decades. They have some kind of just a massive
They'll stalk you, by the way.
ego and just elitist attitude when it comes to their favorite games that God forbid that you would play it and not show it off to its utmost fullest capacity at a high ass level, which makes no sense because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Dark Souls and Metal Gear Solid aren't competitive games. They're single player experiences meant to be played however the hell you want because you bought them. It's that simple. If we could have a much more accepting community who wasn't always in it for this elitist ass
He
level.
wants an accepting community.
Afroman tipped $1. I
Holy
was
shit.
supposed to clean my room, but then I got high stupid RNG. I was supposed to go to Clunicorn, but then I got high damn RNG. I was gonna donate to Phil, but then I
Class
got
got turned
high,
into
but then I got high.
Clunicorn.
Now I'm blaming RNG and I know why because I got high.
I guess because ass got
Do,
turned
do,
into
do.
unicorn and then class was combined. He got confused, dude. Fucking
Of
robot.
gameplay, I think that we
Thankfully,
all
Afro
enjoy
Man, big
gaming a
ups.
lot better. It sucks when you hear about someone who maybe recorded a playthrough, put it on
I
YouTube
can't play
for the
this
very
game the
first
way I
time,
want to. What you
and all
talking
they
about,
get are these
DSP? Where my
negative
tank
ass
at?
comments about how they suck and they should have done it this way or that way. All that sucks when you hear about someone who maybe recorded a playthrough, put it on YouTube for the very first time.
You hear about this, by the way. This isn't just literally his experience and his situation. You hear about people just randomly putting playthroughs up, and dozens of people shit on them. Obviously.
And
They
all
get so
are
many
these
random new
negative-ass
viewers. This totally
comments about
happens in
how
real
they
life.
suck and they should have done it this way or that way. Come on, can't we all collectively
on.
grow up here and realize
Just
that
don't
gaming
say
is about
anything.
having fun at its core? I just don't get it. I've never been of that mentality except when it came to competitive Street Fighter. And you know what? In recent years, now that I'm out of that scene, I
Didn't he call somebody a noob when he was talking about Mario Brothers 1? Whatever.
realize just how silly of a mentality that ever was to have been in. Ooh.
This dude.
Well, that's it for
fucking
part
dog.
2 of the
Give him
countdown,
some money.
everyone. I hope that you enjoyed it. And once again,
Hope that you
please
enjoyed
leave
it.
a comment on
Even
the
if you
video.
didn't,
Let
make
me
sure
know
to give me
if
some
you agree
money.
or you
Oh,
disagree
wait.
with what I said in this video. I
I gotta leave my
From
comment, too.
software fans are
Do I agree or disagree? I disagree. There you go. I probably can't even fucking leave comments on this damn channel. I'm scared to refresh to see my shit not there. I'm gonna just pretend it's there.
All right.
So we don't like The Division. The game he didn't even play at this point. Evolve. A glitchy stuff, and then Batman.
What's up, everyone? Phil here for KO Gaming, and it's
Fucking
time
Christ,
for
I'm
the
glad Evolve is not
conclusion
talked
of
about
my
at all
top
anymore.
10 worst things about
He
modern
talked about that
gaming
game way too
countdown.
much.
If you already haven't, I again
was
strongly urge you to
past
watch
dead,
the first
just
2 parts of
under the
this
casket,
countdown
and he
by
still was
either
bringing
clicking
it up.
on your screen
It
right
looks
now or
terrible.
checking
It's a
out the
horrible
video
game to show
description
footage
so
of.
that you can watch
This
them
is
in order and they'll
disgusting.
make sense. Without further ado, here we go
Disgusting
with the
game
top
footage.
3 stinkers.
How
Number
dare you.
3,
No,
you dumb bitch, it wasn't fraudulent.
multiplayer-only games being released
Titanfall.
for
True
full
tip
retail.
remember
$1.
Titanfall?
You right, you shouldn't judge people for how they play games for the internet. That's why I always die to every Goomba in Mario.
No, you dumb bitch, it wasn't fraudulent.
It's good to know that
Anonymous
DSP
tipped
doesn't
$1.
judge people for
Wait
how
a
they
minute,
play games.
MGS and Dark Souls aren't compa joyful. What about all those speedrunner on Twitch K?
It's different, dude.
Price,
I meant
but
like
not
a
delivering
team
a robust
competition,
and
not like a
full-fledged
speed
gameplay
run.
experience. This one has become an
took me out of
epidemic
context,
in the
man.
past few years. When we started hearing with the launch of this current generation of consoles that there was going to be a slew
wonder how long
of
you're gonna
games
show
that would
this
be
Titanfall footage.
multiplayer only, we kind of said,
Some sweet
all
screen
right,
tearing going
well,
on
it
in
is
this
a new
too.
generation, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. But then game after game after game started releasing and not delivering on their promise to give you a full-fledged
dumb
Wow,
game
this is awful,
experience
dude.
for a full game price.
Down
For
forward
example,
punch tipped $1.
Evolve
Hey
launched.
Steve, have you
Oh,
met
and
the
it's
new guy in the
Evolve.
office? His name is Phil and he snorts
God
and
damn it,
laughs like
Evolve.
ack on conference calls. He put his Patreon link on his business cards and every day at 4 he asks for donations while carrying a cowboy hat.
No, you dumb bitch, it wasn't fraudulent.
Could you see Doc asking for contributions
Mighty
at his
D
job?
tipped $1. I tried to buy Phil a game off
Maybe.
of his wish list, but it ended up sending him some piece of Rainbow's hoary joystick.
Amazon
Amazon
wish
wishlist
RNG.
RNG. Feels frag man.
Feels bad.
With a pretty awesome beta that got everyone
Phil, I
excited.
tried to send you a
but when the
$100
retail
tip,
game
but it only
released,
came
had
out
a
as 20
handful
bits.
of
I'm sorry,
monsters
dude.
available,
RNG,
a
man.
handful of hunters available,
No, you dumb
and
bitch, it
before you
wasn't
know it,
fraudulent.
within about a month's
Despise
time,
Evolve
had
footage.
Disgusting
So
tipped
much.
$1.33. Evolve is one of the ugliest AAA games ever. And
Yeah, it looks
DSP
fucking
always
horrible.
seems really hurt
And
by
he was
its
really
taste
mad
of
at it too
change.
for a long
A lot of
time.
people had issue with that.
The whole
but
year he
instead,
was mad at Evolve.
hardcore style first-person shooter of games like Unreal Tournament from the
Why are we
past,
back to this now?
as well as recent Modern
Wait a
Warfare
minute.
games, combining it with Mech
He had
Warrior and
nothing to
other
show,
mech
huh?
style games. Nothing about
Yeah.
this game felt unique. It just felt like they took tape and taped together
tape
a bunch
meme.
of different other things that other people had done successfully.
Think Dark
and it
Souls.
really was an underwhelming package.
Think the
Again,
Bloodborne
people
series
played
of
the game for a
games.
couple of weeks till they got bored
Think
with
the
it
From
and then
Software
never
series
went
of
back
games.
to it. So once again, another game, 60
Think the
bucks,
Dark
full
Souls
price,
style of
not
games.
delivering on the promise of giving you a full-fledged gaming experience because you're tired of it after only a few sessions of gameplay.
Well, that's just your opinion,
To
man.
make matters even worse, there's a whole other style of multiplayer game again being sold for a full retail price tag
MMOs?
that really just don't
Well,
do
parentheses,
anything
parentheses,
to
quote,
add
unquote,
anything
unquote, unquote,
to the
MMOs.
gaming landscape or genre. They're really games that are made there to be more of a cooperative experience than an actual unique gameplay experience.
Couldn't it be a
calling
unique
out
cooperative
recent games like
experience?
Destiny, like The Division, where really
I'm
the
calling
only way
out
you're
this
gonna
game
get
I don't have footage of because I didn't play it. But I'm calling it out. Fuck you, Division. My God.
Now the problem here.
All right, let's talk about glitches, I guess. Oh, nope.
Pull
Bad
down our
season
throats.
pass.
I don't understand. Instead, we're wasting money on this repetitive crap that doesn't deliver, and that's a shame.
It is a shame.
Number two,
You should donate
season
that money to
passes,
Phil
in
instead.
particular, those that are being sold before the game even releases. Now, this is a practice that's become increasingly more commonplace with the digital era. Now that games are digital, you can easily release
He
DLC
was mad about this
content for it
DLC. He
without
still
having to
bring
worry
up the
about putting it
season
on a
pass,
physical
dude, to
disc.
this day.
And now, game publishers and developers have become incredibly
Like, he act like
greedy.
he
And I mean it when I say it.
Perfect,
because the bottom
like
line is,
personally
if there is
affected
a
by it.
season pass
He really,
or
really
DLC
expected it
that's
to be
being
good, I
offered
guess.
for sale before the game even released to the retail market, it means that that piece of DLC
pretty
was
sweet
already
game.
imagined, the groundwork was already written, and it very well could have been part of the main
Warner
retail
Brothers, by the
release
way.
of the game. It's
Keep
an
that in mind.
absolute cop-out.
He loves
that
Warner
these game
Brothers.
developers
That's why he
claim
shit
it's
on almost
something
everything
separate
they
that
put
they're
out in like the
working on
last 5
later.
years.
It's not, or
And he
else they
hate all of
couldn't
their business
pre-sell it 'cause they
practices.
wouldn't
And he
know that
still
it
buy all of that
exists.
shit.
They're
And he buy the season
absolutely
passes.
full of shit. Now,
They
the
cuck him
problem
every
here
year.
is some of
And
the
he don't
season
realize
passes
it.
are being sold in $20, $30, $40, $50, sometimes even $60, doubling the price of the game. And in a lot of cases,
got a
you don't even know
picture
what
of
you're
one that's
getting
$60?
when you pre-order the season
Dude,
pass.
the price
In
isn't
recent
even on
years,
screen and it's
there have been
blurry as
season
fuck.
passes sold for
How
various
dare
games
you.
where you're not even promised exactly what you're going to get. In particular, Batman Arkham Knight comes to mind, where we were promised an indefinite amount of narrative-based stories, plus there would be skins and challenge maps and new characters added to the game. And then over the course of the year, as the DLCs were released, we became incredibly underwhelmed, as only 2 different narrative packs were ever released.
Narrative
the 2
packs?
new characters that were added were only 15-minute mini-stories, and everything else ended up being a
It's something
fucking
weird he did in
driving
editing
stage or
that
skin
added
for the game,
screen
which if you've
tearing and it
already
made the
beaten
footage
it,
look really
why do you
bad in
care
some
about
parts.
that crap? But no one knew that's what it
It's
was
a really
going to
good
be
video, DSP.
when that season pass was pre-sold, so a ton of people pre-bought it, only to be incredibly disappointed. A season pass that I recently got burnt on was Fallout 4. Now,
Hey, Fallout
in its
4.
defense, at least the game developers
best
of Fallout
game.
4 didn't really promise much up front. They didn't say what it was going to be besides maybe at least one narrative expansion. And if you pre-ordered this season pass early on, you actually paid a much cheaper
Oh,
price.
shit,
than
I forgot they
people
did
jumped in
that.
halfway and ended up paying a
That
little
was
bit
a
more
sweet
as Bethesda
meme.
decided
We
to
won't tell
develop
you what's
more
in the
and more
season
content
pass,
for
but
the
it's
season
really
pass.
cheap right
But
now,
the
so
bottom
buy
line
it
is
before we
this.
tell you.
Fallout 4 has always had DLCs
You fell for the
based
marketing,
on
DSP.
narrative. What I mean to say is the Fallout
Like, you
franchise
actually
has always
fell
had
for the
DLCs
marketing.
based on narrative. Take a look at Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. Every
What about
single
Fallout
DLC
1 and 2?
was a new story introducing
I
new
thought you liked the
characters.
classics.
You got unique and epic
King of Retro?
to new locations.
Oh.
And that, simply put, is just not the case with Fallout 4 DLCs. It's now been announced there will only
What
be
the-
5
oh.
expansions. Out of those 5, 4 have already been released, and out of those 4, 3 of them are just new ways of crafting.
Crafting!
Whether it's crafting your own customized robot or new crafting so you can make a better house or living space for yourself. And the most recent one where you can actually make your own vault. Whoopity
You need to make it that
freaking
big.
do. I
We
hate
have
to say
gameplay
this,
footage in the
Bethesda,
background,
you
DSP.
lost
Get this
track
off
of what
screen.
your fan base likes, because the bottom line is the people who
Jesus.
play Fallout don't play it for the crafting. There's 5 million
got
other
Fallout 4
fucking
for free.
games on the
Not the
planet
season
Earth
pass,
we can
though.
play to craft in. Fallout is one we can play for the narrative.
Probably should have tried to get
for
the season
awesome
pass for free.
stories, the characters, the interaction, the immersion of the universe. Sitting in a fucking crafting bench making a neon sign is not my idea of a valid immersive experience for a paid DLC. And the bottom line is,
The bottom
I bought
line
the season
is-
pass of Fallout 4 with
I
the
love these
impression
Stone Cold
that this would be
reviews.
similar
It's
to
pretty
the
good.
DLCs of previous Fallout games, of which it was not. So far, there's only been one main story-based DLC, and apparently there's going to be one more, and that's it. So I basically paid a big amount of money for only 2 things out of 5 that I even enjoyed. Again, it's a bait and switch. It's incredibly fucking annoying.
A big amount of money. He admitted he bought it before they even said what was in it because it was on super discount. Big amount of money. Wasn't this shit like $20?
My final word
I
on
think
these
it was
season
like
passes
legit
and the reason
20
that I
before
don't
they upped
like
the
them
price. He said
is
in the
because
video,
consumer
big amount of
doesn't have
money.
control
How
over
dare you?
knowing what they're going to receive. If you're going to go buy a $60 game at the store, you know you're
Hey,
supposed
Dying
to be
Light.
getting a
Hey, The
full
Division. I
gameplay
thought the game was
experience,
bad.
and
We never
9
played it,
times out of 10,
remember?
You can either watch an advanced
We like it
review
now,
or
just
someone
for
who's
this,
got the game
just in
ahead
this
of you,
point in time.
and you can look at a little bit of gameplay and figure out if
Big
that's
ups
a
to
game
The
that's your
Division.
cup of tea. These season passes, there's no opportunity until the full-fledged release to know
$30?
anything about these
Yeah, $30 sounds
DLCs.
about right.
You don't know what you're getting,
20 or
and in the
30.
case of a game like Fallout 4, if you didn't
And then
jump
he got
on
the
and get
base
it
game
quickly,
for free.
you ended up paying more later.
And he
So
still
how many
did all
people
that
bought the
complaining.
season pass quickly
Feels
to save
bad.
money just to get shafted when they found out a lot of stuff in here they weren't interested in? Season passes, the bottom line is,
The bottom
should be
line.
a part of the retail release if they were already being designed before the game has gone gold.
The
and been
fucking
released to
bottom
the
line.
public.
No, you
It
dumb
is
bitch. It wasn't
completely
fraudulent.
100%.
The bottom
Double
line.
Sanity
attempt
tipped
for
$1. Dave wanted to marry Panda but got cat. Bugged RNG. He wanted a lot of money but got taxes. Bugged RNG. He wanted friends but got detractors. Bugged RNG.
You're gonna lose, you're
He
gonna
didn't
lose,
wanted
you're gonna
kids, but
lose, you're
dated
gonna
one
lose.
instead. Bugged RNG. He want games but got gout. Bugged RNG crying face.
It's nothing
No,
you
you
could
dumb
do, dude.
bitch. It wasn't fraudulent.
Why?
Consoles scrub tipped $1. The crafting DLC was for you console users Bexuse at the time you couldn't get mods.
I didn't know that. They got a special DLC on console because they couldn't get mods at the time. Feels
Game
bad.
developers and publishers to nickel and
Doc
dime
loved
the
the mods.
customer to squeeze
Didn't he do a
more
video
money
about
out
the
of them
mods?
for something
I think
that
I watched
may or
it
may
for the
not
other
be
one.
quality, and
Yeah,
a
it's
lot of the
way
times
before
feels
this.
like more of an afterthought than anything else. It's complete
I need to tighten this
greed,
chair up.
and it needs to stop.
It's
The bottom
extra
line is the
fucking
only
noisy.
way we're going to stop it is by not buying those season passes ourselves. So
Yeah,
you
don't-
know what?
don't buy 'em,
Next time
DSP.
I see one, I'm skipping out.
Oh yeah.
Number 1.
It's a good thing you
games
stopped
that
buying
are
season
sold
passes.
for full retail price, but are non-functional for one reason or another upon release.
No, you dumb
Now
bitch. It
this
wasn't
can actually
fraudulent.
go in 2 completely different
Yo, look how
directions
bad
depending
some
on
of
the
this
kind
footage
of
looks.
game.
$1. I'm gonna blow your
It's
mind.
so washed
you
out
see
and
it's
blurry
possible to wait for
and
games to come down in
artifacty and
price and grab it during a Steam
Skippy
summer
and
sale,
VSync
for example.
offy.
How much is Fallout 4 now?
It's probably less than $20. I think he complained about that a little bit in this, maybe in this section.
You're talking about.
I don't know if you talk
but
about the
bottom
price
line
going
is, in
down, though.
recent
The bottom
years, when
line.
you go out and you buy a new game, a lot of the times you almost come
Oh,
home
my bottom
feeling
line.
like, am I a gamer and a consumer?
And
or
he can't
am I
wait
just
for a sale, dude. He
first-rate
has to
game
play these
tester?
games when they first come
Because
out.
an
He's a Let's
alarmingly
player. He's a
increasing
gamer.
number of games have been released that when you bring them home, you put them into your console or load them up on your PC, they just don't function properly. Let's take a look. First of all, a multiplayer game that comes to mind recently that was hyped for half a year, had several waves of betas, only to be completely non-functional at launch, is Street Fighter V. To make matters worse, unlike previous iterations of this game franchise, Capcom decided to make this game primarily focused only on multiplayer competitive gameplay, being bare bones at launch with offline content. Well, the servers didn't work. You couldn't even do the offline stuff without getting disconnected the first few days of playing it, and most people that bought this game expecting a robust gameplay experience barely got a handful of matches in the first week.
This is lame because he kind of using this video as a platform to complain about really specific things and then stretch it out to make it a broad thing. Like, oh, I'm not just really complaining about Street Fighter. Sure, I'm using Street Fighter to complain, but I'm overall complaining about something else. But he could have used the other shit that did the same thing and had the same issues to make a way better point. Because Street Fighter 5, who fucking gave a fuck about this? Me, him, and other people? But it was other stuff that didn't work that was a way bigger deal than Street Fighter 5 not working. Come on, man.
Launch and ended up
what it is.
completely frustrated and underwhelmed.
You got to think about another
newest
situation that affects you, dude.
numbered entry in the
And then
series.
say, oh, that's
Now,
he
how
felt the
about
same way,
some
but with that
games
game.
for whatever reason, had online capability enabled all the time. Games like the latest Sim City.
The game you didn't
or
play?
Diablo 3. That's right. Games that are single player in nature, but for whatever reason, the game developer decided...
Yo, look how far he had to go back. This video is from 2016. This dude had... The fucking screenshot is saying 2012. So he had to go back at least that far to barely think of something. And this isn't even his take. The Sim City? This didn't affect him at all.
They would have an
But he did kind of do what I was
always
just complaining about.
component where if you weren't connected to the internet, you could never play
And a
the game.
screenshot somebody else
What ended
had.
up happening
Great.
was these games at launch were completely unplayable. With
I feel like
servers
going back to
crashing and
2012 was a little
overloading,
far, though.
and overall
Something else had to happen
consumers
between
feeling
then.
duped, thinking that they had bought games that
And
normally
Diablo
would have
3
been
was a long ass time
installments of
ago,
these
too.
ongoing franchises, but instead,
Like, I bought
they weren't
PC
able to play when
games
they
off of
wanted
Amazon
to.
back then.
It took weeks and
That's
weeks
how
for
long
these
ago it
issues
was.
to be sorted out, and it was absolutely unacceptable from a customer satisfaction
You gonna move on from the
standpoint.
screenshot?
But now let's jump to the other edge of the situation here.
Zoom in?
Single-player games that just simply
Zoom
don't
in
work,
transition?
or
Yep.
buggy, or
Very
just
nice.
look like crap.
Look
at
how
launch. You're
fucking
like,
shitty
what
this look. It
happened
looks
here?
terrible.
Recent entries,
Everything washed
one
out
would
and
be
shitty looking.
Dying Light from 2015, a zombie
did a bad
survival
job
game
making
where
this
you're
video.
in first person. It's open world. You're doing parkour across this cool open world city-like map. But at launch, the game was rife with bugs. There was clipping issues. Enemies would pop in and out of nowhere and not load properly. There were crazy game bugs that wouldn't allow you to upgrade your character or would completely empty out your inventory. In my case, it took away all of my upgrade points and then gave me a bunch of points that I could only put into one skill
I remember
tree.
this. This is
so I ended up
a hot
totally
little
having
meme for this
abilities in the
playthrough.
game that I shouldn't have had early on as I was. And
It
I
was a
just
game
went
bug,
turboing
dude. A
through the
game
because I
crippling
was
bug.
overpowered. I mean, it was completely unacceptable. They eventually fixed it, but by the time they fixed it, everyone who bought it at launch had already played through it, leaving us with feeling with an unbalanced gameplay experience. How about Homefront: The Revolution from earlier this year? My God. Now, if you ever talk about a game that was unoptimized for consoles or had problems,
The people
this
that
would
played
be
it
the
on PC
one.
didn't
This is
care
one of the
about it
worst
anyway.
games I've ever played, simply because you could tell that no proper effort was put into making this game function on the PlayStation 4 console that I
Yo.
played it on.
Could you imagine telling DSP you think he got the worst stream on Twitch because he don't put effort in it? Could you imagine how fucking mad he would get?
A sub 20 frames per
That is a
second
suspicious
on the PlayStation
looking
4
lady. What
console
the
that I
fuck?
played it on. A sub 20
Ugh.
frames per second frame rate for a large part of it. Game bugs, game mechanics that were wonky. It just didn't feel like the game was refined or polished at all, and that it really was rushed out to the public in an attempt to be a cash grab rather than anything else. Of course, some people now tell me the game's been fixed, but I don't care. I played it at launch.
I don't
It was a
care,
piece of
dude.
shit
That's
then,
why I'm complaining
and I have
about
no
it months
desire to
later.
go back to it, so tough shit. I'm thinking back now a couple years ago to a little game
No, you
called
dumb bitch, it
Assassin's
wasn't
Creed
fraudulent.
Unity, which is a game that is now...
Dark on day off thoughts tipped $1. Sitting here on this musty as couch with a jug of gin wondering where MUH wife is or who's she grinding on now. Every time she comes back I get a scent of cocoa butter, raspberry and shame. I got nothing left. Some days I look at the rope next to me and
I wonder if Doc ever go in his office one day and pretend to be streaming and he's just actually not streaming. He just don't want to be around Cat. You never know, dude.
Infamous amongst gamers.
You're gonna
as
tell us
being
about that
one
one
of
day,
the
like
most
5 years
buggy
from
at
now.
Launch. Entire
I was
faces
super unhappy,
melting and
man.
not loading properly and all kinds of physics bugs. I actually had a bug where a mission didn't load and I got stuck in the ground and the frame rate was completely inconsistent for most of the game. It's a shame because the game and the story of the game were actually pretty good. The fact that it just didn't run well on consoles being console exclusives, next-gen console exclusives, is just unacceptable. And it was just such a snafu that Ubisoft actually collectively came out and apologized for how bad the game was and said, listen, please give us the benefit of the doubt. The next one will be better. And you know what?
What are you talking about, sir? It's on
the next
PC.
Assassin's Creed was better, but a lot of people skipped out on it
Didn't
because
it
of what a shitbag
launch
Unity
on
was,
PC?
and that's a
November
shame.
2014,
Now, this year in
what?
2016, we're
Whatever.
not even getting an Assassin's Creed game as they're taking more time to develop the next one. Good, because if I play
It never
another
came
game like
out.
that that's a piece of shit at launch, I'm probably going to swear off the series at this point. The bottom line is, ladies and
The
gentlemen,
bottom
we deserve
line.
better as consumers. If we're going to put down our hard-earned money on day one, that game should be fucking functional. It should be working properly. It should be a fun and robust gameplay experience. And the bottom line is we are not being respected by game developers and game publishers at all. They're seeing us as an immature fan base who are just going to throw money at anything because we're a bunch of little kids who are ravenous for new games, and it's garbage. Gaming is now the biggest entertainment industry on planet Earth, surpassing movies, television, and anything else you can think of. We speak with our dollar, and we deserve respect when we go and spend...
You deserve respect if you spend money, by the way. Oh, if you spend money, you deserve respect because you spent money. Just for gaming, just if you buy a video game. If you give him money, you don't deserve his respect. But if you bought a game, you deserve respect from the publishers and developers. Activision really, really respects us because we gave them so much money.
Our
They call us
money
sir
on a
too.
brand new game. And when we bring home a stinker, a non-functioning piece of shit, a game that tries to nickel and dime us for everything that we're worth, we need to rise up collectively and give a middle finger to these companies that don't give a...
Look how fucking terrible that look. This is why he calls some of his pay pigs sir and shit when they show up, huh? Because he think you're supposed to respect people just because they give you money. God damn it.
Us the respect and the time
That's why I
of day
like
to
his
put
mama
out
so
a
much.
quality product
That's why I
by
don't talk about
not
his dad.
buying again and by panning
wanna
the
move the
shit
middle
out
finger?
of them on social media. It has to be done.
The
Let your
zoom in
voice be heard.
transition too
You
every
play another
time.
piece of crap at launch, speak out against it. And that is it for my top 10
This
worst
dude
things about modern
was going
gaming
hog
countdown.
wild in this video.
Hope that you enjoyed it, ladies and gents. And if you
Goddamn.
did, please leave a like here
So
on the
part
video.
one
Please spread the word amongst your friends so they can check
he
it out
spread
as
this
well.
out by a
Please
week,
leave
huh?
a comment to let me know
July
if you agree or
28
disagree with these final
was
3
part
entries in
2
the
then.
countdown. And let me know what
Wasn't
you
it?
think about this kind of countdown and if you'd like to
No.
see me continue doing them in
Part
the
1 was the
future.
26th then,
Also,
huh?
please check the video description
Yeah.
for a cool
What the fuck?
discount
Wait,
link
what?
where you can save
Part 1
10%
and 2 the
off
same
any
day?
new Loot Crate subscription,
Oh,
as well as
I
my
didn't notice
Patreon.
earlier.
Thanks a lot,
No,
everyone.
29.
Thanks for watching.
How did
See
I
you next
did I
time
open the
here
same
on
thing that
KO
many
Gaming.
times?
Peace out.
Dude. How the hell does that happen? So a day apart. And then part 3 was
No, you dumb
August
bitch.
1st.
What's up,
wasn't
everyone?
fraudulent.
Phil here for KO Gaming, and right
He
now,
didn't
Big
spread
Visor
that out at all.
later
What?
tipped $1.
No.
People in the chat bringing up my ex-wife. I don't talk about that stuff. I have
It's
a good
personal
life now
stuff.
with Donkiana, you know, my wife. Thumbs at the door.
No, you dumb bitch.
Man.
It wasn't fraudulent.
Batman? Nah, fuck this.
The bottom line tipped $1.
No Man's Sky,
the bottom
maybe I can
line
watch-
is that snort you know.
He ended
but
up
the bottom
reviewing the
line
whole
is
thing, I
snort you
think.
know. That's basically it, you know.
Maybe on the other channel. It's definitely not over here. Or was it? He said the bottom line way too many times in those videos. That was getting way too real, bro. You know what? I'm gonna watch some of this one. I don't want to deal with looking at No Man's Sky stuff for 20 minutes.
what's going on, everyone? Phil here for KO Gaming, and today I'm going to be
I
talking
know Phil is.
about...
Oh boy, here we go. I know Phil has gotten. Is he right this time? I know Phil has gotten shit in the past, but I think it needs to be said that his reviews are actually very informative and very helpful deciding whether or not to buy certain games. Trust me, I almost bought Homefront before his video, and his reviews are some of, if not the best on YouTube.
Game
Oh, boy.
everyone is talking about this week, the highly controversial indie game release No Man's Sky from Hello Games. This is a game that's been in development
Look at your
for over
game,
2 years.
Sean.
We've been seeing snippets
Look
of it
at your
E3 and hearing
game.
more and more about
This
it
is
over
your
the past
game,
couple of years as
Sean.
it's been in development. And on its surface, it seems like it's probably one of the most
At least he finally
revolutionary
gave the game a
games of all
second chance, I
time.
guess,
A
eventually.
completely
And
progressively
then he hated it
generated
again.
open galaxy where you can explore countless amounts of worlds with randomly generated fauna and flora. You can use minerals and things to gather resources to allow your ship to be upgraded, your exosuit to be upgraded, and your weapons and tools to be upgraded.
I want to
so that you
give
can
a
get
shout out
further
to
and further
Sean
galaxies.
Murray.
There's this kind of mystery involved with this mysterious creature called Atlas, and you're also interacting with all kinds of aliens, learning their languages. On its surface, that sounds great. Now, I've been playing No Man's Sky for around 8 hours now, and I can tell you that there's some things that I really like about the game, and some things that I don't like about the game. I'm also aware that there is a massive amount of controversy surrounding this game right now, as it seems that people are under the impression that the game developers were promising things in the game that were not delivered on. I'm not here to tell you if they delivered on their promises or not, because the bottom line is, I didn't follow along with their promises. I entered into this game completely cold, not really having any...
How? Yo, so that means he actually wholeheartedly, unironically fell for the market in the No Man's Sky in a worse way than the people that did research on it did. He just knew it was hype, knew it was $60 and bought it. God damn it, Stone Cold.
Preconceived notions of what it was going to be, and I think that was the best way to address it, because that way...
So if he went into it with no preconceived whatever the fuck you're talking about, why the hell did he make 2 videos on it and treat it like such a big deal, like he cared about it for 3 years before it came out? Whatever. It's because other people cared about his opinion, dude.
To be here. Instead,
the play button is like perfectly in between that too.
Here to make a video to tell you exactly what I know is in the game in the first 8 hours. Then I'm going to also outline what I like and dislike about it. So
see, nowadays, Phil changed you guys. He's a way better streamer now. In 2019, instead of just blindly getting No Man's Sky, he would have talked about it with his chat for 3 months and then got it gifted to him.
Only what to expect when you play this game, but also you'll be able to judge.
I don't know if I have the funds to buy the game, you guys. It comes out in a couple months.
For another 2 days.
Maybe if someone donated it to me, I'll check it out.
So here we go. When you first boot up No Man's Sky, you'll wake up stranded on some kind of a planet. You don't know where you are. Your ship is grounded. You cannot fly it. And you find yourself kind of in this open wilderness, wandering around trying to figure out what you're supposed to do. You quickly figure out, oh, I need to collect some minerals so that I can repair my ship, take off from this planet, and maybe go out in search of adventure. And so you're off. You're walking in a first-person perspective. You have a little side tool.
I think I can tell I'm in first person here, dog.
And a weapon to fend off enemies and things that may be attacking you in this world. And immediately you're going to have to try to find some minerals. And so, a la Minecraft or other games with resources, immediately you're going to have to try to find some minerals. And so, a la Minecraft.
We got our first Allah tonight.
Minecraft or other games with resource management, you're going to use this laser beam to be gathering various types of minerals and elements into your inventory, which then you can use to craft things and fix your spaceship. In addition, there's a loot system similar to games such as, I'd say, Borderlands or Destiny, where you're going to find these random boxes on the ground. You open them up. There may be some loot in there that you can sell later on, or there may be just some more elements and things that you can use. Eventually, you'll find other items, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. As you explore a little bit more, you may run into some creatures. And the cool thing is you can actually use a set of binoculars that you have to scan these creatures into your encyclopedia.
Okay.
You can even
this is the informative part of the video. Good God.
Just be exploring these planets.
What's the actual opinion at, dog?
More of this element, more of that element. I need more fuel. I need something else to repair this that was damaged in combat. I need more of this. And it really just becomes a constant collection quest more than anything else. Now, if you land on a planet that's fun, meaning, wow, there's a lot of vegetation here that's really unique and beautiful, and there's a lot of animals here. For example, around the end of my 8-hour run, I found flying whales. That was pretty damned cool, and there was so much different kind of animal life on that planet, I didn't mind walking around and exploring because there was other stuff to look at. But the bottom line is a lot of these planets end up being barren and destitute.
He had this many complaints after 8 hours.
There's not a lot going on besides you collecting resources.
He knew he was going to fucking hate it from the start. Come on, man.
And then you move on to collect more resources. And the question is, how much of that grind can you put up with?
I found a whale.
Randomly run into something that's fun.
Phyllis Burnell tipped $1. I finally found myself after being in a dead-end marriage to Ket. She helped me realize I meant to be a woman.
Oh God,
we were
it's
together,
the other coming out
she
story.
always pegged me and I liked it. Now I need your help with my transition. It's not cheap, but I deserve to be happy.
Hell! After a few hours of gameplay, that's the question that most gamers are going to be facing themselves.
Could you imagine that pre-stream?
So what do I like and dislike about No
These
Man's
people,
Sky after 8 hours in the world?
they don't want
well,
me to be successful.
One,
They're trying to hold me back from being who I really am.
Progressively generate these worlds on the fly. Now, ultimately,
The trolls won't be stopping him from
but
saving
looking
his
at
house
these
anymore.
varied
They're gonna
color
be stopping his
schemes, the
transition.
difference in the worlds and how they look. Some worlds have toxicity,
You
some have
finally got-
radiation.
Wait, some
have
worlds
schemes,
have
the difference in the
toxicity?
worlds and how they look. Some worlds have toxicity, some have radiation, some have
Just out of nowhere, I hear him
schemes,
say
the difference in
that.
the worlds and how they look. Some worlds have
Toxicity.
some have radiation.
The
some
trolls
have
live
cold,
on that
some have
world.
heat, and the varied amount of kind of animals and stuff in these worlds.
Toxicity.
It's pretty neat, and it definitely, on its surface,
The
is a
trolls
really
are
unique
trying to
premise.
stop
Have you
my
ever played a
fucking
game where you were able to
transition,
just go through this
man.
insanely huge open world and everything
Oh.
generated itself on the fly?
He could definitely make a lot
Absolutely
of new
It's
friends.
definitely a
if he's,
revolutionary jump
went down
forward
that
in the
path.
game. Number two, when you finally start getting bigger
Toxicity.
inventory space and you have more freedom to make choice, the game does get better. You can either choose to follow along these pre-guided paths.
Some
where you
unique
want your
graphical
galaxy
effects
map.
on this
You can choose to
when he's
follow
getting
this
close to the
atlas,
ground and stuff.
red orb, whatever the hell it is.
Look
or
pretty
you can
bummy.
just go out and adventure out and explore for yourself. And it's totally up to you. That freedom of choice in a game like this is key, and I think that's going to pretty much be the selling
What if
point
trans
when it comes to a
DSP did
game like
make up
this.
better than
And
Cat?
number three, when you finally encounter
Oh,
something
no.
that's unique or different, like the first time I ran into an Atlas interface, the first time I ran into a spatial anomaly, the dogfights I had with the pirates, and some of the really cool animals and things that I ran into, those were kind of once-in-a-lifetime wow discovery experiences, and those are basically those moments that are going to stick with me and make me glad that I ever played this game. Now let's talk about some of the negatives, and a lot of these are going to be common things that you've probably heard other people say if I'm not the first person that you heard criticize this game. First and foremost, the game is
Fuck is this
primarily
footage?
grinding through resource management.
Jesus
you
Christ. All right,
5
what's all
hours
the
of
big
playing
text?
No Man's Sky.
Look at
I
that
basically
bottom
did the
text. God damn. It's like
But
half the
I wanted to
screen.
know how to upgrade my inventory, so I went online and I found an article explaining this.
DSP,
Why
the
hell
originator
couldn't
of
the game
bottom text
tell
reviews.
You?
Big
Sorry,
ups.
but when I paid $60, I expected a game that at least gives you some kind of education on how to play it. As a gamer, you should not have to go do hours of research before you play a game that's supposed to be fun
How
and
fucking mad he
relaxing.
is.
To be frustrated over a game because you don't understand game mechanics that were never explained to you is not fun nor...
The funny thing is, this is the same dude that played Minecraft, what he said, 70 hours, 80 hours, and he still don't know how to play because he got handheld through the whole 70 hours. But he also doesn't want to do research of hours and hours. And he doesn't want to play for hours either to learn. Why the hell does he even play games at all?
Frustrating, and that is one of the major pitfalls of this game.
Yeah, No Man's Sky
Number
definitely be a
three,
chill
the
game now.
really
He tried to
doesn't
make it a
deliver
chill
enough
stream.
variety for me in the amount of time that it takes
It
to
didn't
get
work
something
out.
interesting. In the
Let's
first
see how easy it is to
5
find it.
hours of playing No Man's Sky, I basically did the same
probably a
thing
different playlist.
almost
I hope it's a
endlessly, and
different
it wasn't
playlist.
until the end of the 5 hours when I finally
fucking
started buying inventory
demolished
spots, I bought a new
thumbnail.
spaceship, that finally I started running into more unique things that made the game a little bit more interesting. A 5-hour
on.
minimum time investment to even get to something.
I forgot about this. I knew I was remembering a thumbnail with a dog pooing. He used it for his gameplay. No Man's Sky playthrough part 38, the last straw. F this game. Parentheses, final insult. Parentheses, final insult.
All right, so that...
Look at your game, Sean.
Can I at least hear that part?
You can,
Oh, that's smack. I hope so.
You would need to do... Utokakos...
Yeah, this is a sweet little meme segment.
Let's go to Utako.
I probably watch this at least once every 6 months, randomly for whatever reason or whatever.
This will be my final planetary journey.
It's a sweet
Here we go.
little
Utokako Sopian.
thing.
Will it be lush with plants and awesome
I
creatures?
need to find that other playlist though, when he went back to the game.
Fucking giant tigers. You know what it looks to me? It looks like it's kind of fucking empty like every other fucking planet. Look at it. Look at it.
Critical mass.
Sean, look at your game, Sean. Look what you did.
Look at what you did,
$60,
Sean.
Look what you did.
Look at what you
Here it
did.
is.
You're talking to him like you're a dog.
Here it is. I'll show you what you did, Sean.
Look at what you did. How dare you? How dare you,
Shit.
Sean? Look at it. It's on the carpet right
Same
now. Look
fucking
at it.
crystals I saw 2 seconds into the game. Flora, none. Fauna, absent. This is your game, Sean. This is your game.
He was hamming it up so fucking much. He knew this is gonna just blow up on his channel.
What the fuck?
This is your game. Look at your game, Sean.
I'm sorry, but now I've played this for 15 hours. 15 fucking hours of No Man's Sky. I really tried.
I wonder why
ladies and
15
gentlemen,
hours
to
is such a
like
big deal at this point in
it.
time.
I tried my. I don't think anyone could accuse me.
Like what? That's half a month of pre-streams now.
I played it for over a week, 15 hours of gameplay, and there is absolutely nothing that I've done in this game that was worth my fucking $60 or my 15 hours. It's just that simple.
Now, if this game came out a little bit later, if it came out in August of 2017, I think he would have been on Twitch. If this would have been a Twitch stream game, it could have had a completely different life on his channel. He would have definitely not quit on part 38 if he was playing this on Twitch originally, because it would have been him looking up cheers and shit and being chill and all of that stuff. But because this is a YouTube stream, he had nothing to make him feel good about it. So the game was boring. He fucking hated it. He loved boring games now. That's like half his shit.
Of something that's awesome on
That's the
paper
chill streams.
is insanely poorly executed. You should have
Look how
given
much
the
time he
idea of
put
this
in the
procedural-
what was the water game? Water Minecraft. Subnautica. Look how much time he put into that. And he never understood it, and I don't even know if he finished it or if he just quit it.
generation, right? The idea.
And I think he liked No Man's Sky more than Subnautica, and he definitely spent more money on it.
Should have given the idea to someone who had a better execution, someone who could have taken it and put it into a game that could have been fun. But I can tell you right now what happened. The guy's a bookworm. The guy's a nerd, right?
Nice harassment
He
segment for
doesn't
Sean
have
Murray.
a real-world application with mainstream people, mainstream gamers.
He never
He
worked
just
with
thinks
real
that this game
people.
that's so mathematic and scientific is
I
going
think
to blow your mind.
the group
It
of people
doesn't.
that made this game is
It's
bigger
the
than the
most
group of people
underwhelming game
DSP
I've
ever
played
interacted
quite
with
some
for the last
fucking
10 years.
time, and
If
it's
you
a
count
shame.
everybody and
Because
add them
all
up.
the years we heard about it, all
But Sean
the
Murray never
information we
interacted
got
with
about
real
it was
people,
like,
dude.
No, you
this
dumb
could
bitch, it
be
wasn't
good
fraudulent.
if it's put into the
He's a
Trapping
bookworm.
DSP tipped $1.
He's
Kevin,
calling
could
him a
you please
nerd.
Clip DSP saying,
He's
"Look
a
at your
nerd.
game, Sean. Look at your game."
Let me see. 3217. I could.
This is it. The same fucking crystals I saw 15 hours.
Was it before this?
On.
Yep.
Will it be lush with plants and awesome creatures, dinosaurs, fucking giant tigers? You know what it looks to me? It
A
looks
month
it's
from
kinda
now, you're gonna
fucking
hear, "Look
empty
at
like
your
every
game,
other fucking
Sean."
planet. Look at it. Look at it. Sean, look at your game, Sean. Look what you did. $60. Look what you did. Here it is. Here it is. I'll show you what you did, Sean.
You could definitely use look what you did. I'll show you what you did
Shit.
for DSP streams.
The same fucking crystals I
Look
saw 2
at it.
seconds into
Look
the
at what you
game.
did.
Flora, none. Fauna, absent. This is your game, Sean.
That's ridiculous.
This is your game. 15 hours. Should have given the idea to someone who had a better execution. Nothing. Textbook case of something that's awesome on paper is insanely poorly executed.
I wonder how he talked about this on
Should have
pre-streams.
given the idea of this procedural generation, right? The idea. What the fuck?
What day was this?
Should have given the idea to
No, you
someone who
dumb
had
bitch,
a
it
better
wasn't fraudulent.
execution. Someone who could have taken it
Why
and put
not?
it into a
No
game
name
that could have
Sean
been
tipped
fun.
$1. Another
Look
stream
at
with
your
poo and
game,
puppy
Sean.
jokes, begging, low contributions, and boomer rants. It's the same stream over and over again. Same wheelchair symbol and troll tips. Look at your stream,
Hello,
Phil.
everyone. Darkside Phil here.
Yo, in the title
This is-
too. No Man's Sky begins. 18-minute long pre-stream. Could you imagine?
Lean in manual races.
Could you
and
imagine?
Tip $2. Round 1.
Alright.
Dog
Wow.
Dirt Sean versus the Pig Roach.
18 minutes. Unreal. Want to save money with a new Loot Crate subscription? Visit that and use discount code SAVEME10DSP to save 10%. You can also use the code for Loot Gaming, Loot Anime, or any kind of Loot Crate subscription you like. Oh boy.
Right,
And I can
hello,
buy some
everyone.
soap. Holy shit.
And welcome. DSP here. And welcome to my very premiere stream, the first one I'm ever doing of the new Universal Exploration game, No Man's Sky.
Nation.
He was
Now,
so excited.
Just to make it clear, this is the first of 2 streams that I will...
harder. This your Patreon Dave. Look at your Patreon Dave. Only $470. What happened? You had over $1,000. What happened? You should have did Project 7 instead of jacking off.
Oh, that's just mean.
Be doing today. This is the first time I'm ever touching the game, but I will also be playing it later tonight.
He used to get so
right
much
now
on
we'll have a
Patreon
stream
too.
of around 3 to 3
Yeah, of course, he
hours,
told his viewers
and then
to
I'll be
give
taking
money
a
on
break
Twitch
for
instead.
dinner and to do chores around the house and stuff like that. You know, the usual stuff.
Chores?
And then I'll be coming back tonight around 7 number of worlds, although I doubt it really
Sweet
is
vintage
infinite,
pre-stream,
but you know
though.
what I mean. A ridiculous amount of worlds. He is infinite, but you know what I mean. A ridiculous amount of worlds. And, you know, at its face, sounds really cool, right? Now, of course,
no matter how far back you go, you still got snorts.
The truth of the matter is going to be in the implementation. Can you take that formula, that idea of universal exploration, and can you translate it into a game that not only is addictive but fun and wants a player completely unique from something else?
How did he finish these off?
Like, I can see it kind of backfire.
Plug segment?
Overwhelmingly.
Oh shit.
Directly,
Yo. He even got a
funding
separate
from
slide
anyone.
specifically
He
for
does
this.
it all on his own. He's a one-man show, but I want to see him continue stylized videos.
A vintage plug segment, 2016 plugs, very nice.
And putting it into a more production value deal. As I said, I'll be doing a video on No Man's Sky tomorrow, so maybe after you watch it an hour or two today and you're like, okay, I get the gist, but I'd like to see maybe what Phil feels overall after a couple days. Check out KO Gaming tomorrow. So you can find that at youtube.com/KOGaming1. It's done very well today, this year actually. Done very well. It certainly is a cool thing that I like to do, different from the raw stuff daily. So please check it out. Patreon. Patreon.com/DarksidePhil. Your monthly pledges to my Patreon go above and beyond just the normal role of a viewer.
Go above and beyond, you
I love what
guys.
Phil does.
I love what
understand
Phil
that he's an
does.
independent guy. He doesn't have massive sponsorship. He doesn't have funding from anyone. He does it all on his own.
He doesn't have funding from anyone. That's what the Patreon is. What the fuck? He doesn't have sponsorships? Loot Crate? Oh, how dare you.
One-man show, but I want to see him continue to do it because I love the style that he does it. Okay? You get personal perks when you pledge to my Patreon, like getting text or verbal thank yous, getting your questions answered on my bi-monthly show, Ask the King. You can even get a private Q&A video made. But in particular...
Yeah, he still got a Patreon.
The reason you'll probably
when he get really,
want
really
to,
desperate, he bring it up, but
month,
nothing happens to it.
Is because
People
this
don't
month's
fucking care
goal
about
is
it.
an interesting
Yo,
I've
he could have played
directly
Crash Bandicoot
listened
Warped.
to the feedback of my viewers.
Wait a minute,
Didn't
I
have changed up
I don't think he
Patreon
played that at all,
completely
huh?
To be exactly what they
Or was
want.
that just Crash
all right?
3?
My viewers have said overwhelmingly, when you do Patreon goals, do a full playthrough.
Look
as
how
a
much
reward.
fun he was
We don't
having.
just want to see
He
a
got his little
marathon
sunglasses on,
or a one-off
a
event. We
dinosaur
want to see a
down the
full
road.
playthrough as a reward because it's disappointing when you only play 6 hours of a game and then you never finish it. So that is what I'm doing. If we hit the funding goal on Patreon for this month, which right now we're only about $200 below
So
the
it is
funding
just
goal for
Crash
the
3.
month, so it's very doable. I'm going to do a full playthrough of one of these 3 games.
I don't know what the hell it look like with this going on.
All right? If you pledge $5
It's been a very
or
long
more,
time
you'll be
since
doing,
I've seen this
a
how
vote.
it
You'll be
work.
voting on a
I used to
poll.
see it at the rental stores all the
It's either
time.
Jack 3 HD from the Jack HD collection a few years back on PlayStation 3.
I think he
Banjo
played this.
Kazooie
Yeah, he
HD
played
from
this.
the
He played
Rare
all of these
Replay
eventually then.
collection on Xbox One from last year, or Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped from the emulated PlayStation.
You know something I just
One
thought
of those
about? If you really care, I guess you would pay to make this happen, but all of them happened anyway. So, you guaranteeing a full playthrough. But he fucking played all 3 of them anyway. And then he played the remaster version of Crash 3. And Banjo Kazooie was on the Rab collection, I believe. And Jack 3, I think Banjo might have won this. And then Jack 3 was like last year, I think, or the year before that. I forget now. And then Crash 3 was for the remake. So this should all happen anyway.
Games will be the winner, and I will play that.
Pledge
in September.
today.
All right.
I wish that Rad Collection was on a PC,
if you pledge
Xbox thing.
$5 by the end of the month, you'll be in on that poll if we hit the funding goal. And the bottom
Unless
line
they just
is,
put it on now.
we could
That was
definitely
a sweet game, dude.
hit that goal. There is no reason why, no real reasoning why we wouldn't have that goal hit this month, because it's so early. These are things people directly want. This is what I've been asked for to play for a year.
Provided some kind of explanation as to why he can't mute his mic when he unicorn us with his made-up nose disease. He seems to lean in for the burps and smacks SMH.
No, you dumb bitch, it wasn't fraudulent.
Why?
Oof,
Yeah, it's the one he got from
Jack
Harry
3
Lord.
from the Jack collection he stole from that one
He
wheelchair.
did explain it to us before,
Feels
but I
bad,
forgot
man.
what he said. I don't know. It might have been a little bit kind of like, oh, you guys, I've been doing this for 10 years. You should have got used to the snorting by now. Which is a terrible thing to say.
For a year.
Should be used to my snorting.
So, this is the way people have asked me to do it for a year.
People asked for it for a year, dude. That's why I waited a year.
Consider pledging if you have not.
Consider pledging.
And,
Pledge today.
Just to give you a
The
perfect
N-word
example
incident
of how
took $1, so like
plugs.
Twitch gave me a permanent ban, but when PewDiePie says the N-word, he doesn't even get banned. It's like people
I
are
love
just
how
out
he
to get me,
segmented this
and
out, too.
brainless morons started #RacistVille
Wow.
trending when I'm not racist. I had a moment
You know what?
of
He should have
weakness.
said that one day.
No, you dumb bitch, it wasn't
People even
fraudulent.
call PewDiePie racist, and he said
Dave at
the
dinner tipped
N-word.
$1. Oh
I
my
did
God,
it 10
Cat.
years ago.
It's same tuna unicorn again? Is this all my money
Might be
can
too
afford?
late to say that now.
Every night it's some sort of frozen dinner microwave. Look at your dinner, Cat. Asterisk snort asterisk.
have pledged and
Oh,
are ongoing
God.
pledgees.
Look
You
at
guys
your
are
dinner,
awesome.
Cat.
I would not
Look
be able
at what
to
you
do this full
did.
time.
It's not.
And then, ladies and gents, last but not least, my girlfriend has her own business called The Black Current, which you can find at etsy.com/shop/The Black Current. She sells handmade glycerin soap and waxed heart melts. Everyone who's checked it out.
The cat used
has
to make
liked it.
soap.
If you
That's
don't
pretty
believe
cool.
me, you say, oh,
Why
you're
did
a
she
boyfriend.
stop?
Of course you're going to say that shit. Check out the website yourself. These are people who bought the product, and she's got nothing but positive reviews. People love the quality of the stuff she puts out. Great sense, higher quality than most of the stuff you'll buy at the store, which can't even be called soap anymore. If you don't believe me, go look at the stuff in the
Now
store.
I love this. You should buy Panda soap because the soap at the store isn't even real soap. That's how bad it is. Well, what are you taking baths with now, dog? You using fake soap to take baths? You and your wife taking baths with fake soap? How dare you?
Most stuff, beauty bar.
His fucking
detergent
plug-in he
bar,
used to
'cause
do
they
for
don't
the
even
soap was
have
insane.
The primary ingredients of soap anymore. They're just cheap shit, which is why it's so inexpensive, but it's also bad for your skin. It's why when you wash with that stuff, you feel oily or dry after
Did he
you get out of
stop
the
caring
shower.
about his skin after Panda
Her
left?
stuff's not like that. Her stuff is made to
Apparently.
be healthy for your skin. She also sells waxed heart melts, which are a great alternative to burning a scented candle because there's no open flame hazard.
Gamer soap, you guys.
So definitely check it out. Give it a look. Etsy.com
Gamer
/shop/.
soap.
All right, that's it. Let's end the pre-stream.
Holy shit.
We got a ton of people on stream. Holy crap.
Oh, a ton of people on stream,
The guy's
huh?
a bookworm. The guy's a nerd. Right?
You checked the
Doesn't
view
have
count
the
right before the
real-world
pre-stream over with.
application
We got a
with
ton of
mainstream
people on
mainstream
stream.
gamers. He just thinks that this game that's so mathematic and scientific is going to blow your mind. It doesn't. It's the most underwhelming game I've played in quite some fucking time, and it's a shame. Because all the years we heard about it, all the information we got about it was like, this
Wait,
could...
I thought DSP didn't know anything about the game before he bought it. Now he's mad because we got a bunch of information and the information was incorrect. Now hold on a second, Doc. This goes against what you told me in this exact video. How dare
be
you?
good if it's put into the hands of the right person. Sadly, it was not. The game developer didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And now we've got this boring, empty piece of crap. That's it. I'm done.
In
I'm not
2019,
playing
this
any
whole
more
video
No
will be a
Man's
bunch of
Sky
T-poses.
official. This is the end of
T-poses
my
and him
playthrough.
flipping off the camera.
The last straw for me is, between the fact that upgrades that I've earned for my ship are completely disappear out of my fucking
I didn't look
inventory,
anything up
and
about
I
the
can't
game,
even
man.
apply them to the fucking ship because the game's a
We
piece of
saw
garbage.
everything for
The
years
fact
about this
that
game.
The fucking game won't allow me to
Look
now
at
do
your
the
game,
payoff for all the
Sean.
Atlas interface missions simply because they didn't fucking tell me I needed to save the Atlas fucking stones. That's it. I'm done. I have no desire to try to get further towards the center of the universe. I have no desire to waste any more
I think
of my
he set his
time.
controller
The bottom
down.
line is, I got one life to live, and I got better things to fucking do with my time than waste it on this boring shit.
Thanks for the meme,
This is
DSP.
it for No
Better
Man's
things to
Sky.
do with this time.
I'm sorry to everyone that
Like sell
fucking
soap.
turned out to be such a disappointing game.
Obviously.
I'm sure you're just as disappointed as I am if you were someone who was looking forward to this game after so many years of development. What the fuck? And I guess that's what we get.
He didn't even know how to wash clothes back then.
That's it, everyone. Is a little hefty in my opinion.
I got better things
If
to
they
do,
had given
man.
Some things with more variety at the beginning of the
Like,
game.
look at the pizza in the
maybe that
freezer.
initial planet that you land on actually has some really cool animal life or something unique or some kind of a scripted instance that makes it interesting. But no, it's all just randomly generated. So you may
That
start
was
on
an
a really
amazing,
awesome.
but no.
I'm not just dominating my viewers with one kind of thing. I don't want
Oh.
to give up on the game. I'm gonna play it balanced with other
No, you
stuff.
dumb
So
bitch,
that way,
it
for
wasn't
those
fraudulent.
Why?
Negative tipped $1. All people on YouTube want is rant negative and I'm not that type of person.
Thankfully, this is a very positive video. See, he put question marks after No Man's By. That's what other people
find the
said.
gameplay incredibly boring. I'm not just dominating my viewers with one kind of thing. I don't want to give up on the game yet because there have been some awesome moments, but I am questioning my own sanity and saying how long do I want to spend in this game when I don't know if I'm going to
Yeah, I
find
guess
anything more interesting.
there's really no point in
without
watching
all
the
this
actual
wasted
review
time.
than after
And
watching all the
ultimately,
other
I
shit.
think that's what's going
It's
to happen
obvious
to a
he-
lot of people as well
hated the
when they
game.
decide whether or not they want to buy this game.
Poor dog.
What's going on, everyone?
What's going
Phil here,
on?
and welcome to KO Gaming. You know,
Amazing
recently
intro.
it was just announced by Sega
It's like
that
a fucking surf
2017 was
review.
going to
What's
be a
going
huge
on?
year for Sonic the Hedgehog. There were going to be two very high-profile
What was
new
Project
games released
Sonic?
that were going to
Oh,
reboot
God,
the
Sonic
series
Forces?
and bring it into the modern
Get
era.
outta here.
After the character had basically been kind of through the ringer in the past decade or so through various iterations and series that really didn't catch on with the mainstream consumer.
He should do more videos like
But
this.
Did you
For all the
know
bullshit he
that
played
10
20 years
years
after
ago,
it came
Sega
out.
already had tried to do exactly
He can
the
do a video
same
like this in
thing?
Final Fantasy IX.
That's right, ladies
Sonic
and
Head.
gentlemen. Recently, I had the pleasure or displeasure, I guess, to play the Sonic the Hedgehog reboot from 2006. Now, I want to basically put you into this perspective because it really was a different era. The Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 had just
They should have
launched
called this
within the
Project
past
Sonic.
year. The game developers had
Instead
not
of
yet
Sonic the
gotten a
Hedgehog.
grasp on the
'Cause
new
now we got the meme
technologies
name
that
of
these
Sonic
consoles
06,
could
dude.
handle,
It's
and
like
a lot of
Madden.
games that were being released in the first year or so just were very subpar and not very good. So when it was announced that Sonic the Hedgehog was getting this current generation reboot,
I like how
and
he's
that they were
telling
gonna
us
do
about
revolutionary
information from
things with the
2005.
series that had never been
Not even
done
that,
before,
probably shit
people
people
were
was thinking
blown
about in
away, and
2003.
They rushed to the stores and
Whoa,
droves to
man,
check out
Sonic's
this brand
coming
new
back in a
series
few
of
years,
this
dude.
long,
He's 3D.
much loved
Pretty cool.
mascot
It's
from
gonna be on the
Sonic.
Xbox
And
360.
unfortunately, the game kind of went down to live in infamy as a game that
Had to
had
get paid
so
to
much
play it, of
potential
course.
that was completely squandered by a game that felt unfinished, unpolished, and just downright buggy and broken in a lot of places. What happened with Sonic the
Would've
Hedgehog
helped if he showed
2006?
buggy footage.
Well, way back when,
And not just
in
general
2007, I actually tried this game out
Oh,
for
there we go.
myself when I had purchased
Shadow got
the
something
PlayStation
going on.
3. It was one of the very first
He's
games I
just
ever
having
played
fun.
on the console, and I couldn't even get past the first stage because it was so broken. So recently, thanks to the demand
stage
of my
that plays
patrons and
so-
viewers, they said, we want to see you try out this game because you've never done it for
Okay,
YouTube
sure.
before. And
What an
I
amazing
played
story.
a
That's
full
totally true.
playthrough of it over on my DSP Gaming channel. What I like to do in this video is outline my experience with the game. What I liked about it, what I didn't like
11 year
about it,
legacy.
my
You had to get
overall
paid by his
feelings
viewers
about
to
it,
play
and
Sonic
then I'm gonna
06. Very
a
nice.
combination of different kind of wanted you to do rather than just kind of rush through the game. And it is unique in the fact that each character has a little bit of difference to them. You know, Sonic is the fast-paced runner.
He looks wonderful in his footage, by the way. All gray and shit.
Who will move through these stages really quickly and can use his homing dash,
Freshly
which he's had
shaven,
for a few games
as you can
now,
see.
to bounce off of certain enemies and move on floating through the air. Shadow has that ability as well, but also has this meter that charges up, and when he uses it, he gets some superpowers that he can use during combat. And then you've got the new character, Silver. That's just such a unique and different thing from Sonic and from Shadow. He does not have any kind of super speed at all. Instead, he has psychic capabilities, which he uses to pick up crates and other objects and throw them at enemies.
How is this a retrospective? This is a
his
review.
abilities to catch the enemy's ammo, such as missiles, and throw it back at them. Later on, he gets a stun attack, which allows you to then grab the enemies themselves and throw them at each other. And he also has the ability to hover long distances,
Oh
allowing
shit, he
you to
shaved
cover
for this
gaps
little clip. Very nice.
go over ledges and things that
I guess he
basically
had an
Sonic
update
and Shadow
before
just
this.
don't have the capability of doing. So really, when you're playing the game with Silver,
It's weird because when
does
Panda Lee was around, I don't think he
feel
shaved
like a
for his off days.
completely
It
different
just was
game than when
random,
you're playing
or
with
once a
Sonic
week
and
if anything.
Shadow.
And I was
And at its
specifically for
core,
off
it
days he
seems like it
shaves.
sounds like a good idea. You know, you're running fast, you hit a speed pad, you're going at the speed of sound.
And now we
Sonic,
got
you're doing
shitty looking
loop-de-loops,
DSP
and you're
again and the
dodging left and
camera
right, you're
position
bouncing off
change
enemies, and
for
all of a sudden
reasons.
you go through this little area where you got to fight
I guess
off
because
a
it's
few
from
enemies,
early
and
in the
then you kinda go around
playthrough,
a
look
corner,
like
you
it.
collect some
I like how he
items,
starts
you find a
off these
secret, you hit a
playthroughs
checkpoint.
looking like
It's
shit,
kind
by
of
the way.
classic Sonic gameplay.
He's gonna get
but
the
then
most
there's
views
just
for the
certain
start of the
parts of
playthrough.
game
That's when he looks
that
the
don't
worst.
make any sense. Like, for example, whenever any of these characters hits one of
My
the speed pads,
fight money!
good luck actually controlling them, because if you either tap left or right on your thumbstick, your character will careen in that direction, making it almost impossible to control them during any of these situations where maybe you have to dodge something while you're running at that speed. Maybe all of a sudden there's a gap coming up where you have to jump. And it's kind of weird because if you technically try to control your character during these segments of the game, you're going to die more often than not. And what you're going to realize
Yeah, him and the
is,
quarter
oh,
and got the
I should
same
just
hat.
leave my hand off the
I wanted to
controller,
make a
I'll hit the
thumbnail
speed
with the
pad
two
and let the
pictures
character
side by
run
side
through
one
this
day.
little
Forgot
segment,
about it.
and then when they're done running, I'll pick it up again and I'll start playing. But then the game later on starts giving you these kind of beginner's traps where if you're not ready
It's
to
a
jump or
sweet
dodge or
Sonic
do
hat.
something during that speed session, you're going to die instantly, and it really becomes
I like how
a
he didn't
double-edged
use the strap
sword.
either.
It's kind of ridiculous. Like, if you want them to move
Fucking
fast,
potato
then make
head.
a game mechanic that allows you to control your character properly, and they don't do that. Now, to make matters even worse, in a lot of situations in the game, there are these speed pads, but if you hit them, you will
his head
die.
is super round
It's
in this,
almost
isn't it?
like
It's just
they
a
thought it
circle.
was a good idea to put that speed boost pad there, but
My God,
and
this
all
fucking
over the
review.
place. So
When does the retrospective part of it start?
now, I
What
just
was that?
ridiculous because ultimately there's only
Huh?
even same stuff over and over with slightly different twists. So the first time you play these stages,
Huh?
you're like, wow, this is new and different. But by the third
Oh.
time you're playing the stage, even though playing
Well, that
with
was
Silver
different.
versus playing with Sonic
This is different.
and Shadow is very different,
This
you're
is
still
very
like,
different.
I've been here, I've done that, I've seen this, and it ends up making you feel like you're wasting your time and just grinding and going through the motions to beat the game rather than actually seeing anything unique and
Man,
different.
if he
And
had
that's
the, if
unfortunate.
only
It
he had the
basically
DSP
becomes
watermark
glaringly
when he played
obvious
this,
by
then we
the
would
time
have
you
the
finish
watermark
Sonic
on screen
06
3
that
times
this
too.
dev team didn't have enough time.
Why did he do this for so
resources,
long?
Or money to finish
get
the
it,
game.
it's 3 different
and therefore
characters.
they had
You
to
already
reuse
reviewed the game
a
for
ton
me.
of stuff in order to have the game be as long as it is, clocking in at anywhere between, say, 10 to 15 hours of gameplay.
Oh, sweet project length.
Now, I just went through a lot of negative stuff about Sonic 2006, but I just want you to understand, I actually don't hate this game as much as a lot of other people. In fact, I'm happy that I played it. The reason being, because there's actually a lot of cool stuff in the game that I thought, wow, this could have panned out to be an
Crazy
outstanding
Sonic
game
06.
that would have been an amazing reboot to the
Feels
Sonic
good,
the
man.
Hedgehog
It only
series,
took 10
if
years for
only all
DSP
of
to
these
realize how
negative things
amazing the
didn't
game was,
exist.
dude.
For example,
Sega
the fact that
personally
this game
thanked
has
him
a
after this
long,
video.
intertwined narrative story between 3 completely different
Oh, this
characters
just all
with
looks
time
stupid.
travel and time manipulation mechanics that you can see from 3 different perspectives. It's never been done in a Sonic game
Nice
before.
face
It
cam
was
for the
something
cutscene.
completely different that I would expect, again, from like an RPG like Final Fantasy, and certainly not from a game like this. The fact that there is an open world to explore, and instead of being on rails like a lot of Sonic games, in this one,
Oh.
there's a lot to do. There's a lot of hidden
What's the
secrets.
percentage that if he played No Man's Sky, for instance, 10 years after it came out, after patches and shit too, he would have loved it? Could you imagine the 10-year retrospective on No Man's Sky, but he never played the original though? That's pretty much what he did with Sonic.
There's
Big
a lot
upstart.
of your feeling of movement,
And then he kinda
kind
wanted
of
to be a
being
meme a little
unique
bit and
in
go
an
against the
organic
grain.
world,
It
rather
wasn't
than
really
just
that bad,
2D,
you guys.
go from
Come on,
point A to
man.
point B stage. I
It
like
just was
that
buggy.
feeling. The fact that each character actually has unique bosses that they fight, and yes, some of these bosses are reused, and each character, some characters have to fight them, you know, the same boss more than once. For example, Sonic and Shadow have to fight some of the same bosses, etc. But it does need to be said that the fact that each character does kind of have its own final
Sega
end
should
boss
give
that's
him free
completely
games
different
forever
from
after
the
this
others
video.
is really neat, and actually going through
At least
the
give them
story
all
of
of the
this game
Sonic games
and
for
say,
free.
wow, this character interacted with this boss, but then this character interacted with this other big villain. There really are 3 big villains in this game, and that's pretty cool for a Sonic game. The music, I love the soundtrack of this game. I mean, I don't know how anyone could either listen to the title screen or the final boss fight of Sonic 2006 and not rock.
The End of Thoughts tipped $1. Remember when
Loves the
DSP
soundtrack.
used 2 watermarks on his videos? Also remember when he said RE6 was good just because everyone hates it?
Panda Lee did
Out
that
to the
too.
tunes. It's awesome. A rock music
Him and Panda Lee
soundtrack
troll a whole
with
internet
orchestral
about Resident
elements,
Evil
and it
6.
really makes you feel epic.
And at that
And
point
it's
in
a
time, they
shame
hadn't
because it's like,
they had
man,
never
if
played
this
the
was
old
put in
games.
another game that didn't have all this unfinished
Panda Lee
stuff
probably
and these
still never
bugs,
played the
the
old
game would
games.
have felt like such an amazing achievement and this overwhelming feeling of yeah at the end when
He
you're fighting
loves
this
the
giant
soundtrack.
boss and this music. And
Yeah.
dun, dun. But then you're yeah at the stuff and these bugs.
It's
the
like
game
you
would have
playing
felt like
Doom,
such an
dude.
amazing achievement and this
Yeah.
overwhelming feeling of yeah at the end when you're fighting this giant boss and this music is dun dun dun. But then you realize all the suffering you had to go through to get to it, and it's just such a waste. I mean, it's just such a dichotomy. The great graphics,
Dichotomy?
the intuitive stuff that they do with this kind of RPG town, the upgrades that you can buy, side content, 3 stories, so many positives, but then just weighed down by the overwhelming amount of negative crap. And you really have to ask yourself after playing this game, what the hell happened here? Well, keep in mind, it is 10 years later, and a lot of what I'm about to reveal to
Why is he
you
gun
is
shielded Sonic 06?
speculation, was never officially confirmed by inside sources at Sega or anything like that. But rumor has it that this game was being rushed for a holiday release.
No
And when
fucking
it went
shit.
to the
No
game
shit, it was
testers
rushed. Look at what
to
they
try
put out.
the game and see if this game was fit for sale.
It's
they
really good
overwhelmingly
gameplay, by the
came
way.
back and told management, no, it's not. It's broken. It's messy. It feels like there's parts that were tacked on. It really needs to be made better and more polished. And then the management team fired the game testers.
Whoa.
Completely ignoring their feedback and saying, well, screw you. We care more about our year-end profits and rushing a game out for holiday sales than actually making a good or functional game that gamers deserve for putting down their hard-earned money. Now, here's the thing. This happens all the time. Games get rushed out before they're ready.
Dark
The
Side
difference
Phil here with the
is
inside
that Sonic
scoop.
the Hedgehog's reboot came out in 2006. So once the game was released, that was it. There was no chance
you
for them
dumb
to do
bitch, it
patch
wasn't
after
fraudulent.
patch. You know, if this game were released in 2016
Micro
in the
Penne
modern era,
confirmed tipped $1. Dark threatening to kick Dr. D's puppy if he ever filmed him in the bathroom struck me as an overreaction until I remembered the guy with microphallus from Scary Movie 1. A small bunnies is like a disability, man. I'll kick the unicorn out of you, alright?
No, you dumb bitch, it wasn't
Are you
fraudulent.
saying because his
Question
penne is
marks
small,
tipped
he would have been
$1.
more upset?
RPG Town? It was a Rainbow's hub world.
Feels bad, man. Yeah, RPG Towns and Hub World's the same thing now. It's weird because when he played Destiny, he said it was a hub world, but in this is an RPG town.
day one, there would have been a 5 gigabyte patch that would have fixed the frame rate issue, fixed the lock-on, removed the speed pads that run you to your death.
This game
and
do
certain
have
things,
patches,
would
though.
have been
It's
fixed
not a
at
lot,
launch,
though.
undoubtedly,
Maybe.
because that seems how a lot of
I
games
know I
work in
remember
this day and
not
age. The
downloading
games are
one on
released
purpose when I
to
played it.
retail unfinished, and then you have to get this giant day one patch for it to work. And then in some cases, it
Should
even
they
takes a week or two,
remaster
and then
Sonic
there's
06?
Even more
Should they
additional
remake
stuff that
Sonic
are
06? Is
expanding
that what you
to
want,
make it
DSP?
better in the long run. We feel like
Johnny
we're like
14
game testers.
tipped $1.
Sonic
18
the
naked
Hedgehog
cowboys with
remastered?
18-inch wieners sucking wieners on their
guess.
knees sucking wieners big hard throbbing wieners hard as rocks folded hands folded hands.
Than actual consumers in a lot of cases, and it could take weeks for a game that you buy at retail today to actually be the finished version that feels like a functional game. But Sonic the Hedgehog from 2006 didn't have that luxury. What was out there was out there. They couldn't fix it, and therefore
This
it
is
ended up
bullshit.
being
What
a
is he talking
stinky
about?
Fucking turd.
It's a
Now,
360 game. They had updates.
I
How
sympathize
dare you.
with the people who worked at Sega at the time, who worked on this game. Can you imagine being someone who worked on the music or the graphical engine?
You feel
and all
bad
of a
for them
sudden
because
you
people
find
troll them.
out
They're victims. That's
at
why I
games that
feel
are-
bad for them. They're just like
there
him,
hasn't
you guys.
been another Sonic
They
game
got
on this
years
scale.
of
Yeah,
negativity
there have
too.
been games that have attempted some unique and different things, but nothing on the scale of what Sonic the Hedgehog's reboot attempted. We've had games that are 2D side-scrollers, and we've had games that kind of had 3D elements, but nothing has ever tried to be like Sonic the Hedgehog was again now. This may change for, as you know, 2017 is a big year for Sonic. we've got two completely different styles of Sonic the Hedgehog game coming out.
Yeah, Sonic
and I think that
Forces
Sega is
wasn't
trying
that
to
good.
bank on the fact that there's still a nostalgia around the character, and that people
No
are
shit, they
still
trying to bank
looking
on
for that
nostalgia.
great reboot that they were promised
That's
10
pretty
years
much what
ago,
Sonic been
and were
since,
not delivered.
like 4 years
so
after
I
he
guess
started.
it remains to be seen in 2017. Will Sega actually give
Sonic is a
time for their
great
games to
franchise,
be
by the
done
way.
and ready? Will they actually listen to feedback from game testers, or will they go for the
Clown
cheap
World.
payout again? I guess it remains to be seen. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed my retrospective on Sonic
Well,
the
that's
Hedgehog
illogical.
2006.
You don't have to read chat to read
If
money
you did, please
attached to it.
consider
You
giving
can
it a
have a
like here
separate
on
tab
YouTube,
open for
and
that,
please
dude.
spread the word about KO Gaming. Also, please check the description of the video
No.
for a link to my raw full playthrough of the game over on DSP Gaming, as well as a link to my discount code for Loot Crate and my Patreon. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you right here next time on KO Gaming.
That was... Oh. I want to see what the score was for this. I forgot what it was. Was it a 6?
People like this before who are highly and
4?
playing this game
Oh,
anymore
no.
because I'm bored to tears and I've got far more productive things to do with my
Oh, he said the same shit in another video.
$60 retail release. At its core face value, this game is probably worth $15 at best for what is in it and for how buggy, messy, and unfinished it is. I give No Man's Sky a 4 out of 10 score. That's my final review. I'm not playing this game anymore because I'm bored to tears and I've got far more productive things to do with my time. And that is it for my review of No Man's Sky. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like here on YouTube and consider sharing it with your friends so that other people can check it
Oh.
out as well.
I definitely shared it. I definitely shared it with all of my friends. You know what? Fuck these impression videos. These are scam videos. But he didn't review Battlefield 1 at all, huh? Nope, he did. Has the COD killer cometh? Nice fucking meme. I like how every Battlefield game is a Call of Duty killer. And King of Fighters 14. Better than Street Fighter 5? I want to see what score he gave it.
Better design
'Cause I think
of the
I watched
characters,
this maybe for
more
the first
gameplay
back in time
variety,
KO
a
Gaming.
better gameplay engine,
Or
and
did
more
I?
offline content. Sorry, just comparing
Why do-
apples to apples.
It's a funny sounding video.
Than the King of Fighters 14 overall, but the King of
Oh,
Fighters
I was
14
I was
is
actually, I
much
was
better
salty
than
for
Street
some
Fighter
reason too
5,
when he
and
uploaded. I even gave it a
overall, I'm
thumbs
giving
down.
the
What the
game
fuck?
A 7.5 out of 10 review score.
It's 'cause of that
So
title,
here
dude. I
comes
was
the
being
controversy.
toxified.
I gave it a bigger score than Street Fighter 5. I'm sure some people will be up in arms. Too bad. Being a longtime fighting game player, I gotta tell it like it is. King of Fighters 14 overall is a better game
Nobody fucking
on
plays this game
paper,
anymore. Get the fuck outta here.
factually.
No, you dumb bitch. It wasn't fraudulent.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Why?
DK Music Hall tipped
I want to
$1.
definitely watch
Rip
the 400
Sanic
review,
06.
but these
They
impression
did
videos
Sanic
just,
bot.
they
All
just
the
take up
trolls
space.
bullied Sega into bankruptcy. Just like
Didn't he
some
review that for
flowers
real?
dude steals and laughs from me daily. I feel your
Oh
pain,
shit!
brothers.
Wait a minute. I need to watch my stupid For Honor 4 Worst Things video or whatever. Unless I'm not seeing it here. These thumbnails, I don't... It's hard to explain. It might not be hard to explain, but if you see what I'm looking at, it might be kind of easy to explain. It's a little rough to see what the fuck I'm even looking for here. Because it's so much text on every thumbnail. And then you gotta like dig behind the text to see what fucking game it was supposed to be talking about. Feels bad. I gotta find this For Honor video. I'm gonna just look it up another way. Because this is not working out. And it might not even be on that channel. DSP For Honor 4 Things? Maybe. I think this happened. This might be real. Oh shit, it actually was on KO Gaming. What the hell is it? For shame. This was the review, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the review. I actually straight up don't see it. Huh. Was it way before this? Because this is the alpha. So it should definitely be after this. It's buried in between this other shit. Oh my god. It's next to this other shit random dudes made. Okay. Well, that's way later. That took way too long for me to try to find that fucking video. I knew it existed. I don't want to watch these stupid impression videos. You tell us the same thing twice anyway. Oh, Mafia 3. Why not?
What's going on, everyone? Phil
Hey,
here, and welcome back to KO Gaming.
That one
you
video
might have
sounded really
realized
weird.
that recently I haven't been putting up many videos here as of late. It's mostly because I've been very busy with the raw gameplay streams and playthroughs over on my partner channel, DSP Gaming. But the good news is, starting right now, there's so much new gaming content coming out that I'm going to be giving you non-stop new reviews,
The Trolls Bullied
impressions,
Sega.
countdowns,
That's why I felt
year-end
bad
series,
for him,
and
dude.
all kinds of stuff full force right here on KO Gaming.
I
And
didn't
this
like this
video
game.
is the start of the opening of the floodgates. Today we're going to be reviewing think to be like good enough for an open world game like this, because the bottom line is, yeah, there will be chases.
Nice fucking
The
logo
cops will be
covering up
after
the
you,
whole map in
criminals
the
will be
review.
after you, and you're gonna have to be driving at high speeds. And when
Amazing
you hit
logo.
something and something
A
absolutely
very
silly
interactive
like that
logo.
happens, it's just jarring. Something else that's just really silly about the game: bushes act like walls that
Look
cannot
how bad the rearview mirror look. Why did they even put that in the game if it's gonna look that bad? Come on, y'all. What are
fall.
you doing?
And it's really
It's like
odd
a
to me after
PS2
just
game
playing. I
in
just
the
played
rearview
Forza
mirror.
Horizon
Not
3,
even
a
that.
game where like all the things are destructible, and then I play this
Oh.
game and I hit a bush and my car acts like I hit the side of a dam and the whole thing just shuts down. I'm like, why did they do that? It's almost like having an invisible wall and boundary in front of
Wall?
you, and it's just really silly.
It
so
is
There's
silly.
a lot of
I
things in
agree.
the game like that that are
No,
just
you're
jarring.
knocking that
Like,
car around is
why,
pretty silly
with all the
too.
effort that they put into designing
Date
this
tips
era of
$1. If you only one fighting game, can you call yourself a fighting game fan?
American history.
You mean if you only
couldn't
want
they
one
have put
fighting game?
more effort into the
Or
physics?
play
Why
one
couldn't they have
fighting
caught
game?
these numerous ridiculous game bugs that happened during the game?
Well,
It
technically.
honestly kind of dampens the experience.
If you only
when
watch
realize
Star
how
Wars, you can
silly
say
it
you're a
all
sci-fi
is.
fan. You're just a sci-fi
At
fan
the
that
end
only
of the
watch
day,
Star Wars.
Mafia 3 really falls victim to being a game that has more quantity than quality, and that's not
This had
necessarily a
quantity?
good thing. As I said previously, I really feel what happened here is that the game developers of Mafia 2
don't
listened to the
believe that. It
feedback
sound
of
like fake
people saying
news.
Mafia 3 would have been an outstanding 15-hour-long gameplay experience if you didn't have to do any of the grinding. Why not make that grinding optional content? If you want to unlock additional trophies and achievements because you went for 100% domination of every district, or maybe if you were going for more kind of
No, you
money
dumb
income,
bitch.
Allow him to
wasn't
skip it
fraudulent.
so he can
then
never show it in
require
his
the gamer to do
playthrough.
all that repetitive and grinding
Johnny1488
takeover
tipped
gameplay.
$1.
Don't make it
Determine when will we
mandatory
see the
that they
Turban
do it in
Gaming
order to
channel?
just advance the basic
I bet it
story
would
of
be
the
lit,
game.
dude.
Well, I
much
had one
rather
for a
would have
few
played
years and
an
it got
awesome
deleted. It
10
was
to
called Twitch.
15-hour Mafia 3 experience featuring the story, the
Well, let's get
characters,
you up
the
on
better
leaderboard.
missions, and all of that, rather than a 25-long-hour gameplay experience where 10 to 15 hours was boring as hell. And that's where the game fails. Force-feeding the gamer repetitive gameplay to say that your game is longer is no longer flying in the year of 2016. We've got other games that do it better, that do more unique stuff. I mean, I hate to make the direct comparison, but I have to. Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh,
did
you hate
this
to
a
make it,
hell
right?
of a- You're in an endless loop of
wait.
Groundhog Day, and you have
Grand Theft Auto did this better. This shocks me. No way. Who would have guessed Grand Theft Auto did Grand Theft Auto better than fucking, what, Mafia 3? No way. We need a DSP to tell us, and he hated to tell us, too. He didn't even want to tell us that.
to do the same thing until you can finally break out of the loop at some point and do an awesome mission. That's unfortunate. So
My
weighing
goodness.
and balancing everything about Mafia 3,
I hate to
I'm
say
gonna
this,
give the
but Grand
game
Theft Auto
a
is
7
better.
out of 10. It's
No
certainly not a
way.
bad
You-
game. It's actually
it
a
shocks
pretty
me.
damn good
I would've
experience.
never guessed.
Especially like I said,
I
just the
wouldn't have given it
story
a 7 out of
itself
10.
seems
How
like it
dare
would
you.
make the game a Game of the Year contender, but it's all the other issues that bog the game down and make it
What
not
else?
feel as good as it potentially could have been.
Whatever.
I give Mafia 3 a 7 out of 10.
Where can I go to
Definitely check
give
it
you
out
money
if
for
you're a
this
fan of
review,
Mafia
DSP?
2, but don't expect too much in the realm of quality, because most of the time you're just going to be doing low quality gameplay
So it sucks,
at a high
but
quantity.
you gave it a 7
because
out of
that's
10.
for whatever reason.
Low
what they
quality
went for.
gameplay. 7 out of 10.
All right, and that is
Go to my
it for my
Patreon.
review of Mafia 3. I sure hope that you enjoyed it, being that this is the first review that I've done in quite
It's
some
so
time. If you did like it, please
clunky
consider
when you
giving it a
reckon the
like
stuff in
right
this
here on
game.
YouTube, and also spreading the word that I am back in full capacity, covering all the new releases.
Spread the word. KO Gaming 1 is back in full capacity, doing all the new game releases. Sounds good. Sounds good. I definitely spread the word. Smiley face. What was that shit at? Okay, VR. That ought to be a hot one.
What is up, everyone?
Oh, we got
Phil
music
here,
too.
And welcome to KO Gaming.
I wish this was shorter because I want to watch the
some
whole
of the
thing.
most fun experiences that
Because
I've
you know how this turned
had
out.
doing YouTube for the past 8 years is covering new hardware releases. Whether it was movement peripherals such as the Nintendo Wii, the PS Move, the Microsoft Kinect, or console launch.
Yo, he couldn't even get PNGs, bro.
Like the Wii U, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4.
Oh, maybe he did, but he couldn't
This
get
past
transparent
week,
ones.
The PlayStation VR was released. This peripheral promised to bring virtual reality gaming into the mainstream. Anyone who owns a PlayStation 4 and has a little bit of space in their room can have a virtual reality experience like never before. Now, I had stayed away from things like Oculus Rift.
On the PS4, have a little bit of space and have $400? Oh shit, we got the little this situation going on.
And the HTC Vive, simply because I didn't want to have to buy a super high-end PC in order to.
He already has a
VR
high-end
capabilities.
PC.
Being able to
From
experience it
4
with the existing hardware I already had for a
Zoom in
400.
transition tipped $1. What would you do if Dave was to stream snipe you? I doubt Dave would find the cannolis to do this. He would probably boomer his way to make a Mixer account.
I was about to say it would be kind of retarded because it would be him stream sniping me, stream sniping him. So then it would just be like, oh, hey, Phil. But if he was to do it on Mixer, then, well, that would mean he has to watch video games. That would be the ultimate trolling if he was to try to stream snipe me on Mixer, because they would be making DSP watch video games.
Dollar
And he
price tag here in
despises
the
those
United
things.
States
They're disgusting.
seemed a hell of a lot more reasonable. So, this
Oh,
past
this
week,
is
I
a
did a
Tevin
live
stream,
unboxing
huh?
as it arrived at my
Bleh.
home on its release day.
Oh,
on
look, he
Thursday,
has trolls
as well
in his
as
chat.
a live setup video where I
Bleh.
kind of walked through the steps of what it was like to get this thing working in my office.
We need
And
him
then
to stream
over the
snipe
next
somebody
4
one
days,
day.
I played a ton of PlayStation VR
Yeah,
games.
just a bunch
which,
of go
quite
labs.
honestly, in a lot of
Yo,
cases,
look at this
I have a
dude.
hard time
Look at him
justifying
go.
that title. They are more like little kind of tech
He was
demos
having
or
so much fun.
experiences rather than full-fledged games.
Hey, it's
at
that
least
game
from
they
what
put
I
on the Switch.
experienced. In this video, what I'd like
I
to
did
do
not know it was
is
originally
let
a
you know
VR
a
game.
little bit about my initial impressions of the hardware, the setup and the functionality that I found for the PSVR through experimentation, and also talk a little bit about the games, as well as a mini montage of some of the best moments of the past 4 days of gameplay. So without further ado, please enjoy my PlayStation VR initial impressions and a little bit of fun montage.
I kind of wish I had a VR setup.
So first off, I opted
They obviously
for
cost
the
a lot of fucking money,
$400
though.
version of the PSVR rather than
I
the
wouldn't
more
wanna spend
expensive
money on
version, simply because
PlayStation
I
VR, fuck
already
that.
owned the PlayStation camera, which
Amazing
I purchased
images,
with
by
launch
the
of
way.
PlayStation 4
They're not
back in
blurry at all.
2013, and the more expensive version came with another PS camera that I obviously wouldn't have needed. Now, it is important to note that a lot of games for PSVR are better with the PlayStation Move controllers, and I no longer have them.
I do need to
actually
get some
bought those
PlayStation
years ago when they were
Move
brand
controllers,
new,
though.
and I did extensive
I meant to buy
coverage of
some
them.
like a year ago. I
Sadly,
keep
after
forgetting
only a couple
because I
weeks,
never
there
used
really
my
weren't any
PlayStation
games
3.
that supported them anymore, and they ended
But maybe
up
if I
collecting
buy
dust.
some Move
Eventually,
controllers, I'll use them.
thinking they'd never be used again, I threw them out. So right off the bat in this video, I have to give a super special thanks to viewer Michael, who actually
Thanks a lot, Michael. Thank you so much, Michael. This totally worked out.
got me a pair of PS Move controllers and sent them to me.
Fucking
rather than
stupid,
having me go
Michael.
out there and waste another $100 on these things that
The
I was
price
already
got
burned
raised on these dumb
And let
things
me
so
tell
much,
you,
too.
I really do think that using
And
the PS
fucking
Move
Michael gave them
controllers
away.
adds to the experience of a lot of these games. So if you have the funds to do so, I
Oh my
strongly
God.
recommend that you
What if? No.
pick up a pair of them. Now, it is possible
what if
to
it was
play
kicking?
PSVR games with the controller as well. However, a lot of
I
the
think you
games
would have called
seem
him
to just
kicking.
work a lot
He was
better
kicking
having
then still,
two
maybe.
different things to
What the
move
fuck
around,
was
one
kicking
for
doing in
each
2016?
hand, rather than trying to maneuver only a singular
Playing Smash.
controller. So I do have to recommend it. So, getting the $400 version of the PlayStation VR, I did a live unboxing, and
Yeah,
let me
Michael
tell you,
probably
it was
is
kind of
banned now.
interesting. Although at first it could seem like a very daunting task because the
fuck you,
PlayStation
Michael,
VR
and you're
has
banned.
a ton.
You're not
of
welcome back
cables.
on my
It's got
streams.
Cables going from this little PSVR box that does all the 3D
Oh my God,
kind of
this setup
generation
video.
of graphics to your PS4. It's got wires going to the headset. It's got wires.
He
going
could have
between.
unplugged
There's
it and
USB
like
cables. There's HDMI
looked at it
cables.
in a
There's
separate video and
proprietary
made a
connection
special
cable
video
of
for
which
this
I've never
video.
even seen the
Whatever,
kind
fuck it.
before. And it is a little bit confusing at first. Luckily, it does come with
caveman
step-by-step instructions that, yes, quite honestly,
Interacting
even
with
a
new
dummy can
technology.
figure out. And I got it hooked up within about a half an hour's time, which wasn't
Why
too
is this
bad.
block circular?
Then actually initially doing some
Huh?
calibrations and testing.
What do you mean, wheel?
I ran into my first
you're a moron. And you're banned.
First off, just getting this unit on your head can be quite a daunting task if you have a larger sized head like I have. In the instructions, it almost seems like they're under the impression that if you push this certain button that the entire band of the headset will become incredibly loose and just fit around your head. This is not the case. It's actually almost elastic, like it's pulling itself closed constantly.
Look at this footage.
So
If you missed it the first time, we show it to you again on KO Gaming.
Around your head, and then there's
The
a little
caveman
adjustment
footage.
knob on the back that you use to actually do fine-tuning tightening. Now, also the visor itself, the two lenses are connected.
Are we
via
going to
this
talk about
kind
the
of- I don't
sweaty,
even know
the
what to
sweaty
call it,
eyes or whatever?
scope, I believe it's called in the
Hopefully.
instructions. And there's a button under the PSVR that you press to kind of adjust whether it's close
Oh,
up
you have
to
to
your
let it
face
warm
or
up
further
like a
out.
car.
And
Like a
honestly,
old
reading
car.
the initial instructions, it wasn't very clear. It actually took me a few minutes to kind of figure out, oh, this
Wait
is
a
how I'm
minute.
supposed
Wait
to
a minute. Hold on. The instructions wasn't clear to something that DSP was doing. No way.
tighten it.
That's never happened
and try to
before.
Get this close to my face. Also, there are these rubber tabs that are over your nose, and these rubber tabs
Oh
are
my
kind
God.
of loose.
Speaking
so it's
of nose.
uncertain when you
Yeah,
put
the nose
PSVR
shit
up
was
against your
amazing.
face if you're supposed to be having these rubber tabs flattened and folded, or if you're supposed to unfold
When
them
he
and have them
tilted
kind
his
of
head
spread out
back to
across
show
your
us his
cheekbones.
nose.
In my
Just in case
after
we didn't
doing it
believe it
several
was
times,
that.
I realized just
No, you
having it
dumb
folded
bitch,
and
it wasn't
flattened seems
fraudulent.
to work a lot
This
better.
fucking dude.
So after
Dark
a few minutes of
restreaming
He put a
test
lot of
with
footage from
$1.
this in this
Look,
video,
guys,
too.
he's playing the quiet man. You just know he bought that with money he stole from me. This is basically my game. He's a criminal. Guys, I'm gonna make nachos. Nachos? You know how unhealthy that is for you?
Oh my God,
It's
that
just
could be
cheese
the
and chips,
restream.
God.
He's eating nachos? Does he know how unhealthy that is? What?
And quite
What a
honestly,
fucking
after trying
idiot.
it out a few different times,
Yeah.
I think I perfected the way to get it
Oh
on.
my
And
God,
now it's
wait.
pretty easy to get it
He
on
did
and
it.
off,
This
although
the nose
initially it can
shit.
be a little bit of confusion.
Is he going to tilt his head back? We
Now,
didn't get
one
the
initial
head
problem that I
tilt
ran
out.
into that it seemed
Ah.
no one else on the internet was having was that the lenses of the PSVR were fogging up.
Okay. I'm gonna get a running video of this, and then this could be like 14 fucking thumbnails. Just him screwing around with this stupid VR thing.
Repeatedly as I attempted to calibrate it and play my first set of game demos. Now, I couldn't explain why it was happening. The lenses were blatantly fogging up and I couldn't see anything through the VR because of it. Now, people on my live
Fogging
stream
up?
were actually saying, well, we can't hear anyone else who's having this problem. It's only you, so you're making it up.
Mock.
It's just silly, some of the stuff that people say in my stream chat. But anyway, it was actually discovered after a little bit of research
Silly
and a little
stuff
bit of
people say in
experience
my stream
that
chat.
The reason that the lens
Saying
fog
it's
up
just
is a
his issue is
temperature
silly stuff.
differential between the human body and the actual PSVR unit itself. Meaning, if you just turn on your PlayStation 4 and the PSVR and you try to put it on, obviously the equipment's colder than the human body, which creates fog in the lenses, much like if you were to go into your automobile and the inside was warm,
gotta
but on the
warm it up
outside
like a
was
car.
cold, you're going to get fog on your windows.
Oh, that's a great
so
picture
it just
you
makes
used, DSP.
scientific sense. The way to get around this issue is to actually windows.
Sweet quote.
So it just makes scientific sense.
It makes
The way
scientific
to get around
sense.
this issue is to actually turn on the PlayStation VR for about 20 to 30 minutes and let it warm up, per se, so that the temperature inside the unit is higher, and therefore it won't create this temperature differential and fogging of the lenses. It is a little annoying if you forget to turn on the unit right away, or a few minutes before you're about to play a game and you try to jump into a game right away, because you will get an initial fogging period of about 10 minutes until it finally gets warm enough and it doesn't happen anymore. So fair warning to anyone who is trying this thing out for the first time, make sure that it was warmed up or else you're going to get condensation all over the lenses and it's not going to be a fun time.
That's what the pre-stream
so
is
one of the
for,
major
dude.
concerns
You
that
can
I
let
had
your
about
PSVR
virtual
warm up.
reality was, number one, having some kind of equipment
Oh,
on
shit,
my
he
head
moved
for an
it.
extended period
God
of
damn it.
time, and number
And I
two,
moved it too far down. Now I can't end it.
eye strain. Well, I have a few pieces of feedback in regards to both. First of
There's
all,
probably a
the
button
unit
that could do that, but whatever.
itself is not
I'll
very
figure it out
heavy.
one day.
The
This is
PSVR
really
actually
blurry.
quite
What the
light,
hell?
And yes, it does feel like there's a little
Thanks,
bit of a weight and a tug
Sony.
on your head when you put it on, but it's not so much that it feels like it's really bogging
Nice
you
black
down.
borders.
And
Oh, this
even
is
after
sweet.
extended play
Next
sessions,
generation right here,
my
baby.
neck didn't really feel any kind
It
of
looks better
physical
on it. It looks
strain or
better for
anything
him, at
like
least.
that. But the
Thankfully,
one
he
major
has a
complaint
better
that I do
experience
have
than
about
the
unit
viewers.
At this point is that it just seems like it's not designed well when it comes to ventilation. I mean, the whole point of VR is to isolate your eyes in this darkened area so that it seems like you're surrounded by 3D graphics, and I understand why they need to have rubberized pieces go around your eyeballs and your face. But what ends up happening is after about 15 to 20 minutes of wearing the PlayStation
Oh my God, he has
VR,
to actually move his
my
head.
face starts to sweat.
What about his
and
back?
having sweat build up under my eyes and on my forehead isn't exactly the most comfortable experience for a virtual
And no, these
reality
videos are
gameplay
professional, so he didn't do him. He
and
didn't
it
do
just
anything over.
starts to get really
One
annoying.
take,
It's to
Drake.
the point where I actually have to take breaks about every 15 to 20 minutes that I play the PlayStation VR. But it's
He can
not
redo
for
his
the
voice
reason that
lines during
initially
those
I thought
15
it would
minutes.
be. I've actually had
Oh, well.
0 eye
Nice
strain
shaky hands.
since playing the PlayStation VR for 4 straight days since its launch. In fact,
Look at
it
this
just,
Muppet on
it
screen.
completely threw me for a loop because I had heard reports that people had played certain games and they had felt motion sick or they had had these kinds of, nauseousness. And I didn't get any of that whatsoever, which is great. But then again, I'm not a kind of person that gets nauseous all the time over things. So in that regard, it's not surprising. But the fact that I still have to take frequent breaks when playing the PSVR.
Oh, it's actually extremely surprising that DSP didn't go out of his way to say,
Dude, the PSVR made me fucking puke my ass off, man.
it's actually extremely surprising he didn't say he got sick from this.
Because of the amount of discomfort because of the sweat is kind of a really
He
bad
sweat.
thing.
He was
I mean,
sweating
they
though a lot,
couldn't
of
test
course.
this thing enough.
They should
with
have
enough
tested it
people
on
to
greasy
see if it was
people.
going to make people sweat. And by the way, I'm not the only person reporting this. Several people,
Of
who
course,
also have
several
PSVR
people.
kind of contacted me after
They
my initial
contacted
coverage
him.
to tell me that
People
they were doing the
emailed
exact
him and
same
said,
thing,
"Phil, I get
experiencing
sweaty as well."
The exact same discomfort.
Well, of course.
And that's unfortunate. Now, some recommendations. Someone said, "Gee, if you have a fan on in your
What a
room and you have a
mess.
lot of ventilation, it could definitely help with that." In my particular case, I'm in an enclosed office. My window is wide open, and my office is actually cold. So I don't think it's the temperature at all. I just think it's the fact that you physically have this
It's funny because now his office is 90 degrees every other day. And this is just October, but
unit
whatever.
rubbing against your face constantly. It creates a buildup of air pressure and condensation within the lenses, and it also causes sweat of the human skin. I don't think there's a way around it right now. I'd be very interested to see if they design any improvements in the future to stop this. But for now, the PSVR is something that needs to have frequent breaks in order to be a comfortable gameplay experience. So now let's talk spatial requirements.
What is going on? Phil here.
Device. There was actually a So now let's talk
He
spatial
really didn't
requirement.
even, he just dragged in his new video and started it off that way.
Get comfortable gameplay.
What's going on? Phil here.
So now let's talk spatial requirements
Ugh.
for this virtual reality device. That was actually a major concern of mine because I have a relatively small home office out of which I do all of my gameplay streams.
can't
and
live in a
videos,
PSVR
and I
box?
wasn't sure that the PlayStation VR was going to be compatible. for
Also,
me.
why
Well, I'm happy to
would you show the full-on footage of you talking, obviously saying different stuff, as you play a voiceover of you talking about what you did after you recorded the footage with you talking? What? It's nonsense. He should have just
report that
showed
about
gameplay.
80%
What the
of
fuck?
games that are currently available
This is
for
confusing,
this
DSP.
unit are actually pretty
All
much
right, back to
playable
gameplay.
just from an easy sitting position. Right now, on my
Why do we
little
need
love seat
footage
in
of
my
him
office,
sitting
I've
on a
got
couch
about
looking
2
at a
feet
box?
in front of me of free space and about 2 feet on each side as well. And I was able to easily play games such as Drive Club VR, Until Dawn Rush of Blood, Riggs, Eve Valkyrie.
Also
and
enjoy
a
that he
ton of
couldn't even
others.
move his
In
KO
fact,
Gaming
out
logo.
of all the games that I played, there were
So
very
it's
few
halfway
that
on the
actually
game
gave
and
me
then
any
halfway
kind of
off,
issue with the
sitting
controls.
in
Headmaster,
purgatory.
which is a game that simulates you
Headmaster.
actually heading a football or soccer ball,
sound
actually had a little bit of problems because it wasn't really tracking my
Animation.
head movements as well as I would like it to
Sparks
have
tip
been,
Thank you for
and
the
I
420.
couldn't really control where
Human
the ball
money.
was going.
Harder.
So for that
Here's
game,
some
I didn't
human money.
particularly like it too
Let's
much.
get you up there
For
on the
Batman
leaderboard.
Arkham VR, this was the
Oh,
first
this
game
looks
where I
awful.
experienced some issues because I could not get this to trigger and actually
Look how
calibrate
fat he
while I
used
was
to be
sitting
back
down.
then, dude.
It basically
Thankfully, he
forced me to
lost so much
stand
weight
up
thanks
in
to
order
Cat.
play the game, and unfortunately,
Even though
because I
I-
don't have a ton of
I
space,
don't know, his
things that
stomach
were
stuck out
far
more, I
to
guess,
my
but
right were
I think
incredibly
he-
hard to touch during my playthrough
looked
of this
different
game,
now in the
forcing
bad
me to
way.
recalibrate several different times,
well.
trying to move a little bit more and a little bit more to the left so that I could actually touch things on the right side of the experience. But overall, by far, the game that just seemed to defy the parameters that Sony gave for the PlayStation VR was
Look how much
Job
fun he having.
Simulator. Now, this is a shame because Job Simulator actually was one of the more interesting games that I experienced for the PSVR. but it's just baloney. What Sony said are the actual space requirements for this unit are not what Job Simulator needs. It needs a hell of a lot more, to the point where I couldn't even play it standing up in front of my love seat. I had to completely readjust my office to make room in the center, reposition the television and the camera, and basically stand up in the middle of my...
He wanted to buy a $400 VR setup and didn't want to reorganize his room at all. How dare you?
Open
Wait a minute, I thought he didn't have enough time to reorganize his office. Oh.
Office for about 2 to 3 hours.
He did for this, I guess, because he already wasted his money.
It would not recognize things
He
on my
had no
far
choice.
left,
He was
on my
forced.
far right. It wouldn't recognize when I was crouching. It was giving
He
me
was
a
forced to
lot of issues.
reorganize his
So
room
it
to play a
seems
demo,
me
by the
that
way.
The actual spatial requirements for the PSVR
He played the demo before he bought it.
A solid or static
So angry
thing.
about
It's going to be
reorganizing his
something
office.
That's going to
He had to
change
move like
all
2
the
chairs
time.
probably.
It's going to be something
Could you imagine
that's
that?
going to
He had to move his
constantly
camera.
fluctuating dependent on the style of game that you play. Some are going
Black
to be
on the
more
wall
for just
for his
kind of
YouTube
couch
subs.
potato, relaxing
It's a good
and
thing he
playing
doesn't
like
care about
video
YouTube.
game, while others are going to force you to
the
stand
one
up
thing
and
on
be
the wall
more
in his
active
office
and have
besides
people
soundproof.
around you. It's a shame that these games right now
Actually
don't
tipped $1. Why isn't he snorting?
This is a great
I thought
question.
It's uncontrollable and we're all used to it over the 11 years, dude.
If I remember right, during the first KO Gaming Back in Time stream, which was fucking months ago, I think he left the snort in one of his old videos. So it is some unedited snorts in these videos, but he snorted in between doing his jump cut editing.
Actually tell you.
But he never recorded any lines twice because he fuck up a lot. So he obviously edited out snorting, but he didn't want to redo any lines.
The
Well, there you go.
requirements for each and every one. You're going to end up buying them not knowing, can I
he's a
work
hard
with
worker,
this
dude.
with the space that I have or can't I? Now, obviously, this is the launch of this peripheral, and in the future, sure, I'm sure game developers are going to do a better job of not needing as much space, or if they do need a lot of space, maybe they'll start putting it on the boxes or on the back of the warnings, where they have all those warning labels in the back of a box. Maybe they'll say, you need this
What
much
boxes?
space.
You're not buying any of
Right
these
now,
physical.
we have no guideline. We're all kind of flying by the seat of our pants, and that's a shame
No, you
because
dumb
it is
bitch,
very
it wasn't
different
fraudulent.
experiences depending on what game you're playing.
CS Paw Gaming
I thought
tipped
the game
$1.
told
Oh
him,
look, he's playing chopped
space
and screwed
requirement
music.
already.
Woohoo ack ack. It's not the early 2000s anymore, idiot. Does anyone even listen to this? This website is awful. EU. Look at these stickers
Holy
and
shit,
emotes.
did you hear the way he said
Wahahaha
EU?
ack ack.
I don't know. I guess we do have some ideas for a DSP Tevin restream. Well, if he restreamed me. Dude, this website's so buggy.
PlayStation VR has a surprisingly
Inverse?
large
Dude,
number of
that's just
titles
like
available,
bits. They
although,
copy
as I previously
Twitch.
stated in this video, they're not all necessarily full
Why the hell was
games.
he a
A
zombie?
lot of these could be considered
Wheel
maybe
walking
1 to
animation.
2 hour long tech demos and or maybe kind of initial experiences so that you can get the gist of what VR's capabilities
It's so
actually
shaky,
are.
too.
But they're not full-fledged games. In fact, of all of the launch titles available for the PlayStation VR, only Battlezone and Eve Valkyrie have a full price tag of $60.
Damn.
And I honestly have a really hard time justifying.
I mean, you
putting down
just spent
$60
$400
for
on this. Why you
anything
want to be a Jew
that's
now?
VR right now, simply because I know that after about 20 minutes of playing, I get uncomfortable.
Sure, I just
and
spent
need to take a break and take this thing
$400
off
on
my
this
head.
thing to put
So
on my
if
head
I'm
that
gonna
makes
buy a
me
game that's,
sweat.
say, 8 to 10
But
hours
hold
long,
on a second.
how long is it gonna take me to
$60
play that
games.
game? I'm gonna have to take
I
so
don't know
many
if I
breaks.
can
It
do
might
that
not
one,
even
sir.
Be a fun experience.
Might
So
be a
I'm
little bit
really
too
wary
far for
about
me.
Buying a full price game right now, but some of the notable experiences and games that are
It wasn't
out
gonna
there.
be enough of an
Until Dawn,
experience,
Rush
dude.
of Blood,
Knack
which is
was
a
way
on-rail
better.
shooter
And
featuring a lot
Killzone,
of
the
horror and
PS4
scares from
Killzone
last
game,
year's survival horror
way
game
better
Until
purchase for
Dawn.
$60.
It is kind of a what-if scenario. It's not canon with the game itself. It's more of just a rail shooting fun with, by the way, a lot of really neat 3D
It's kind
jump
of sad
scares.
that
There's
Virtual
parts where
Cop
the
never
enemies are
came
actually
back
to
for
the
this
left,
VR
right, or
craze
above
for the little
you,
tiny
and you
bit.
have to actually move your
Virtual
head around
Cop
to even
remastered
see
in
them
VR.
and
This
be able
should be
to shoot
fucking
them.
sweet.
That's really neat, and it was actually a lot of fun.
Who
Even though,
owns
quite
Virtual
honestly,
Cop?
it was just a cheesy
Sega?
on-rail shooter at its core.
Bitch.
Another game
Sega,
was
you
Job
better not own
Simulator, which
Virtual
I've
Cop.
already mentioned, where you simulate 4 different jobs using VR to kind of move around and do these cartoonish versions of being a chef or a store clerk. And it's kind of fun and neat. There's a lot of quirky humor and stuff in that game that I very much enjoyed.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
think that that's one that probably a lot of people will get a lot of enjoyment out of because there's 4 different
Aw,
things.
man,
and
it
there's
is
actually
Sega?
replayability with some hidden achievements and stuff in there.
What the
so
fuck?
It's pretty cool. Some games that I really didn't particularly like,
bullshit, dude.
Rigs. This game just looks
never
like kind
gonna
of a
happen
mech
now.
combat game.
The opportunity
controls are a
already
little
passed.
wonky. They expect you to double jump to score and drop through hoops, but the double
We got a
jumping
tweet Sega
itself
to bring
isn't
back
very
Virtual Cop.
precise. Almost feels like you're kind of
And put out a
floating or
non-VR
gliding
version too,
around
so I
when
can
you
play it.
jump, and you can't really get the height that you
And,
need in order
put
to
Ogdalad in it
score. So after playing
as
the
a
demo
DLC
of that
character.
one, I wasn't very much impressed. Drive Club VR, it's cool that
No,
there's
you
a driving
dumb
game
bitch.
No,
off of
Ogdalad
VR that you
stage.
can play in virtual reality.
Even better.
However,
Nova
the
tipped
controls were
$1.
really dumb.
Quake Champions will be $60 on PS5 with the PlayStation VR 2.
It's
Down
sad I can see
after
that
playing
happening.
Forza Horizon 3 in
Nah,
the past
they-
couple of weeks
nah.
and then jumping
They
into
couldn't
this
do it
game,
now, dude. It's
it
free to play.
really feels like it's
No,
not
you
even
said,
a
well,
simulation,
it could be
but
Quake
more just
Champions
kind
too,
of
huh?
oh, it's going to push you along and help you drive because we realize this is VR
Quake
and it's
2.
kind of disorienting.
Just call it
In
Quake
addition,
2.
there wasn't even
It's
any
Quake
music in the
Champions
demo.
2.
Now, I don't know
But we
if
want
there's
you to fall
actually
for
gonna be any in
marketing.
the full game, which is $40
DSP
by the
can buy
way
it that
right
way.
now. But I just wasn't blown away by
Dude,
what I
this
saw
isn't
in
like
the demo.
classic
and I had
Quake at
no
all.
kind
This
of
sucks,
intent
man.
to go ahead and buy this game. One thing that I was a little bit disappointed about was that there is a Resident Evil 7 demo slash kind of tech demo VR
like the
kind of
Switch
experience
version of the game.
that comes with
Goddamn,
a
it
demo
looks
disc that
terrible.
comes with your PlayStation VR, but it's just you sitting in a chair, basically getting chopped apart by this ghoul. There's no gameplay
What happened to
at
that
all.
gimmick,
You're
by
just
the
sit
way?
there and watch.
It
And
was
that's
something
kind
they
of
did in
disappointing, in my
Japan. You was
opinion.
able to play this
There's also
game
this cool, unique
over a
game
server.
called Here They Lie. It seems like it's survival
Never
horror,
brought it to
but
America.
quite honestly, I can't really put my finger on what the hell it is yet because I haven't played it. I bought it after playing the demo because I liked it so much.
Wait,
but I
huh?
haven't actually gotten a chance to play it yet. So
Oh,
I'll
no,
probably
never
have
mind. I
further
remember
feedback
playing this.
on that in the future.
This
Of course,
is a
you got
sweet
your
playthrough.
oddball
So many
stuff
people
like
remember it.
Hatsune Miku VR Future Live demo, where you literally just bounce your head and pound your fist and watch this anime girl dance around on a virtual stage. I'm sure some people will be absolutely nuts for something like that. I'm not in particular one of those people. But one of the things that I actually
seemed like
liked
he was
the
nuts
most
for
out
it.
of everything that I've tried was the game called PlayStation VR Worlds. This game is a $40 purchase, and it is basically an amalgamation of
I'm not
different
going
experiences
crazy
in
for it
virtual
like other
reality.
people as
So
he
far,
shows
I've
footage of
played
him
one where
bouncing
you're
around
under
on
the
his
sea,
couch.
and there's a shark attacking you while you're in a cage and you're kind of looking at different fish and stuff around you on this kind of adventure. However, much like the other games that I've mentioned where you don't do anything, there's no interaction. You just stand there and watch everything happen. You don't actually even need a controller
Well,
to
this is
play the
worth it.
thing. But then there's something called the London Heist, where you're simulated being a
nation.
thief in London. You're basically breaking into a house, you're looking through
$4.20. Puff harder. I know what I'm talking about because I used to build VR headsets in high school and have LAN parties. My nose flaps were far superior.
a desk
Oh,
trying to steal a
God.
diamond. Then there's a shootout, and then there's another shootout on a highway, and then there's kind of an ending mystery. where
I
you have
used to
make a
be
choice,
one of you.
And you have 3 different possible
I used to
endings
do like
depending on the
VR
choice that you
LAN
make.
parties,
This
dude.
game
It was
seems
way
like it may
different
be
back
the
in,
best
like
one
the
for newcomers
90s.
to virtual reality because it's giving you a
Yo,
wide
90s,
variety
early
of
2000s?
experiences. Some you just sit there,
Yeah,
and
man.
you don't have to do anything, and you can just enjoy the ride.
used to play
while the
Quake,
other, there's
dude.
interactivity, and it's like a game with challenge levels and stuff. So I
He looks
really
so
like this
stupid with
game,
that
and I'm
shit on his
looking
head.
forward
That's
very
part of
much to
entertainment
diving
value.
back into it at a future
See
game.
how stupid you can make streamers look.
Now, the one game that everyone was a buzz about for the PlayStation VR
Everyone?
was Batman
How dare
Arkham
you.
VR. Because let's face it, it's made by Rocksteady, the same studio that brought us the past 3
Don't think
Batman
they can put
Arkham
that
games
gameplay
were
in this game,
absolutely
dog.
amazing over this last
Don't think
gaming
they can do it.
generation. It has the voice talents of Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy reprising their roles as the
He
Joker
should sell
and
his
Batman,
VR thing.
respectively. It's
He has
pretty
no
damn
meme excuse to
awesome
why
when
he
you think, I
can't
could
sell
play
it.
the Arkham
What would he
games
say?
in
It's not worth
VR.
any money.
But that's
Snake
not
sound.
really what the game is at
This is
all.
the original
Only a
Snake
$20
sound.
price tag, and
Now he
quite
got the
honestly, the
stupid
game
snake
can
laugh.
easily be beaten within an hour, although if you take your time looking around a little bit more,
That's
you'll
half of
probably
his
get about
reviews,
90
is him
minutes
doing that
out
shit.
of it. And there is some replayability because at the end you unlock
like
some
you lean into the
Riddlers,
microphone to do it.
riddles, right? Just from the Batman Arkham series, those riddles are iconic and synonymous with the series, and yes, they do exist after your
Cape
first run
Town.
through the game. But the
Blech.
game has really nothing to do with Batman Arkham's legacy
Oh,
at
it sucks
all.
then,
There's
great.
zero combat whatsoever in this experience.
Thanks,
You
Kojima.
basically play the role of Bruce Wayne /
negative
Batman.
dick.
First, you're kind of dicking around in Bruce Wayne's mansion, and then you actually go underground into the Batcave. You become the Batman. You get to be the
What
Batman
condition
for the
does
very first
Batman
time.
have?
You're dicking around in the Batcave, doing a little bit of investigation into the disappearance of
Oh, that's
Nightwing
pretty
and
cool, dude.
Robin.
Very
You
interactive.
eventually
Look
try
how
to
much fun it was
investigate and
having.
see what happened to the two. There's a rescue mission.
I thought
There's a
VR
little
was
bit
a
of
stupid
interaction
gimmick. Why are you
with
having so much fun
Penguin,
doing it?
And then at the
This
end,
whole
there's kind
video
of a
is him
big
bouncing around.
resolution
He's
that's
standing
like,
up so he
whoa,
gets
what
some
the fuck
exercise.
moment. But it is fun.
See, it's
as
fun.
long
He
as
loved
you're
it.
not going into into it with high
But he can't interact
expectations
when
of
he
it
play
being
VR
a
games.
Batman Arkham game, because it very much is not. The visuals are the same, The cast is the same, but none of
He
the
should play
gameplay
VR
that
and
we
have
expected
Kat
in
sit on the
Arkham
couch
series
and she
in
can
this
read the
VR
shoutouts.
experience. And I think a lot of
And he
people, after
forces her
hearing
to
about
not
this,
look
kinda
at the
got
chat.
turned off,
He
said, "Oh,
literally
it's all
closes
overhyped,
the
they're
chat
overrated."
and only leaves
I don't
Streamlabs
necessarily
up.
think so. I think that Rocksteady was tasked with basically trying to
Then he can still interact
adapt a game series
and play
into a
VR
VR
games.
experience. And I think they did a
That
good
sound like an
job.
off
Is
the
this
idea.
necessarily worth $20? I don't know. Unless you're going to go back and really search out all the Riddler riddles, there's really no reason to ever play this thing again. And therefore, $20
No, you
for
dumb
only an
bitch,
hour
it
of
wasn't
gameplay.
fraudulent.
And I used to watch people do VR
DSP
streams, and they was able to read the chat,
$1,
but they was
Hello
playing on
everyone,
PC
waving
too.
hand. Phil here.
Feels bad.
Bethesda just sent me the only copy of Quake Championship. Dude, it's a piece of gingerly. There's no
They're
single
gonna give
player
him the
and
one
no one's
physical
online.
copy?
Foo Bethesda, you think you own me. F you Todd Howard. Throws it in the trash F you.
Look at your game, Todd. Look at your game. I can't even go online, Todd.
I can enjoy Batman.
Speaking
Arkham
of Quake
VR.
Champions, I ain't bring this
My
up on stream
overall
yet.
impressions of the PlayStation VR
I downloaded
after
the
my
Bethesda
first
app version.
gameplay experiences are as follows.
Turned it on.
I actually think that the
The
device
footage
is
was fucked up.
revolutionary.
Like
I
half
think
of it
that
was
VR
on one
does
monitor
have
and the
a
other
place
half was
in
on the other half,
gameplay's
but it was still
future.
showing 1080p.
But is it necessarily
It forced me to play a
now?
tutorial.
I honestly, after
It
experiencing
didn't.
the PlayStation VR,
I guess
have
it didn't
to
sync
say
to Steam,
probably
so
not
it didn't.
yet.
It didn't remember
For the
anything,
most part,
and it
the
crashed my
gameplay
computer.
experiences that I have were over
Not a blue screen, like the
tech
computer
demos
just turned off.
and or kind of limited time experiences.
And then when I turned it back on, my
mostly because I
resolution
felt
was
so
wrong.
much discomfort wearing the headset.
So
for
I
longer than
just
20
installed a
minutes
Steam version
that I had
after
to
that.
take it off and take a break.
And it worked like it's supposed
I
to.
realistically do
So I don't
not
know what the
see
fuck
any
that was about.
AAA studio
Thanks,
designing
Bethesda.
a game exclusively for the PlayStation VR.
Not a
or
crash,
any
it just
VR
turned
headset
off.
If you have to take frequent breaks in
I
order
thought it
to
was
play
like
Imagine
loading a new,
buying
resolution or
a
some
$60
shit.
retail game
Nah.
that says it's 20 hours long, but you can only play
Computer
it in
just
20 to
turned off.
25 minute
Feels
increments
bad.
before you have to take an extended break to get the sweat off your face and kind of get a breath of fresh
Sweat break?
air, and before you jump back in. It could take you so long to beat the game, and honestly,
I
it
don't
could actually
understand.
bog
Why would
down
you need
your
a breath of
experience
fresh air?
if
Your
you're in
nose
the
isn't
middle
inside
of
of the
an important
machine.
part of the game or a critical firefight or something going on, and now all of a sudden you're feeling discomfort and you need to take a break. It's not
Snake
necessarily
sound.
going to work. If anything, I think what's going to end up happening is that game developers are going to start making unique style games for virtual reality that
So
are
shitty
not
short
similar
ones?
to those of the ones that we've seen in the past that are going to allow themselves to be played in small episodes. Imagine if you had kind of a mystery or a thriller game where the episodes were only 20 minutes long apiece.
Oh,
and the game had
yeah.
maybe 20 or 30
That's
of them.
gonna
So that
really,
way you can
really
sit down,
make
play an
VR
episode,
sell.
take a break, play an episode, take a break, and it works. It's easily digestible. and
DSP
it doesn't
wouldn't buy
bother
that,
you
though. What
too
the
much
fuck
that
is he
you have
talking
to keep
about?
taking the damn thing off. Unless they
I looked it up,
completely redesign the
and
hardware
apparently
to make no
it's
discomfort
just a bunch
whatsoever,
of
which I'm not even
20-minute
sure is
episodes.
scientifically or physically possible.
I'm
I
sorry,
don't
but I'm
see
not going
VR
to buy a
being feasible
20-minute
for the
game.
mainstream hardcore gaming audience. If anything,
But he
this
is excited
kind
for
of
that
a
12-minute
gimmick.
game that you
Much
replay
like
over and over.
motion controls, much like 3D television, and much like all those other
He bought a
gimmicks
3D
that we've
TV.
seen in the past several years.
And he bought all the
that kind
motion
of had their
control
height of
stuff.
popularity and then
But don't
fizzled
worry,
out
you guys,
into
he hated
oblivion
it.
after people got their taste and realized it wasn't such a special thing. I think VR is kind of going to be the same thing. Everyone's
bought
going to
this
get a
too,
taste,
and
say,
he
wow,
fucking
this is
hated it.
amazing, and then after doing it for a little bit, realizing
he
there's
hates
not
it
much
now, at least,
substance there,
'cause he
they're going
can't
to kind of
interact.
give up on it and go back to the standard. And it's unfortunate because I actually think there's potential for growth here if the game developers can do something that works and makes a game that the formula works.
never gave
with
Michael
having
his
this big
controllers back
peripheral on
either.
your freaking head. But right now, out of all the games that I played during this launch window,
What the
I
hell
didn't
is
really
this?
see it. What I saw were games that were just, overpriced 1 to 2 hour experiences just for the sake of saying, oh, here's a VR game, rather than saying, here's a game worth playing. And even though I enjoyed
So let me get this straight. One of the issues with the start of PSVR was that it's just like 2-hour experiences. But he wants game developers to make episodic games and to give you 20-minute long episodes.
It was like Until Dawn, Rush of Blood with these crazy jump scares and survival horror and stuff like that. How many times can you say, okay, it was a 3D jump scare, but before the gimmick wears off, and you realize you're just kind of playing a pretty boring rail shooter that doesn't have anything complex to it whatsoever?
I don't want a 2-hour experience. I want multiple 20-minute experiences to eventually give me 2 hours.
And that's going to be the problem.
Snake
that
sound.
doesn't have anything complex to it whatsoever. And that's going to be the problem, in my opinion. The longevity of the unit. The initial shock is great, but after a few months to a few years, is anyone going to care about the PSVR or any of these other VR units? I really don't know. I think it's really going to depend on Sony and the game developers to make unique gameplay experiences that we really feel we need this proof
I like how he
for.
pretends PC
Right
and
now,
don't
I'm
even
not feeling
exist in
it.
this scenario.
I'm certainly not
It's
writing
up to
it off.
Sony
In
to
fact,
save
I was
VR
pleasantly
now.
surprised with my initial impressions of the
They
unit,
obviously did a great
but
job
remains
of
to be
it.
seen what happens in the future. Well, that's it for my initial thoughts on the PlayStation
Still
VR.
waiting for that
I sure
Microsoft
hope
shit
you
to come
enjoyed this
out.
video, and if you did,
I
everyone,
think they
please consider
pretended
giving it a like right here
to
on
forget about
YouTube,
it.
as well as spreading the word that I'll be covering the PlayStation
Feels
VR in
bad.
the future, and that this video exists, and that
Look how
people
much
will
fun
start
you having,
coming
dude.
to KO
It's like
Gaming
you look like
to
a
check out
boxer right
future
now.
coverage as well. Please check out the video description for a Loot Crate discount code,
Loot
as well
Crate.
as my Patreon
I love
links,
Loot Crate.
and of course a link to all of my raw gameplay of the PlayStation VR over on my partner channel DSP
Well, that's new.
Gaming.
He got all of this.
Thanks a lot for watching,
hotness.
everyone. I'll see you next time right here on KO Gaming.
He does the fake voice for a whole video.
What's
too.
going on, everyone?
What's
Phil
going
here,
on?
Welcome back.
Phil here with KO Gaming.
One chill DLC. Oh, it's before that word got ruined for him. Oh shit, I disliked this video too.
What is going on,
What the fuck?
everyone?
I was being
Phil
super
here,
negative.
And welcome back to KO Gaming.
What's the
Usually,
description
I
for this?
don't cover
Please
DLC.
enjoy my review of the first major DLC for Dark Souls 3, Ashes of Andrea. No, Ariandel. Note, I played this on Xbox One. I'm sure he's going to tell us all about
unless
it.
I feel that it is something that's significant and
Did
important.
he review the other
And
DLC?
today's subject, the Ashes of Ariandel DLC for Dark Souls
Did it
3,
only have one
is that,
DLC?
at least from a gamer's perspective,
Don't
because
know, but he
Dark
didn't
Souls
review anymore.
DLCs always
If he did, I don't see
historically
it.
are pretty epic and are a pretty large addition to the lore and the
That's fucking
gameplay of the Dark
buzzwords.
Souls universe. So Ashes of
Like the
Ariandel
Epic Game
was
Store.
just released. It's a brand new DLC, the first of all the upcoming DLCs for Dark Souls 3, and this one's a little bit unique because although there is a major story focus, a story-based campaign that is between anywhere from 5 to 6 hours long, there's also a PvP component. Now, I'm going to be
I remember watching a
completely
little bit of
honest
this when
with
he
all
first
of you before
played it
I
on
even
stream.
get into my thoughts on this DLC. I don't particularly
Of course, the first
like
stream
the
of him
PvP
playing
of
this is
Dark
boring as
Souls.
fuck.
I've always thought it was
Because
cheap, it was laggy,
look
I
at how
never
he
really
plays.
enjoyed it. Ridiculous backstabbing and all kinds of silly
He doesn't
stuff that
want
I
to just die
don't
a bunch,
really
dude. Sure he is anyway,
enjoy,
but he doesn't want
although
to.
I am
That's not
fully
fun,
aware
man.
that there are lots of people out there who are huge fans of it. So if you're here to find out about the PvP of the new Ashes of Ariandel DLC, sadly you have come to the wrong place because I didn't even check it out. I basically played through the fun story and new boss fights and epic content of this DLC, and I am not interested.
Did he say epic
and new
content?
Boss fights and epic
Epic
content of this
content.
DLC, and I am not interested in the least in the PvP. So for all intents and
Epic
purposes,
content.
this video is going to walk
Nice lead up in the video.
humanoid creatures. Some really unique enemies are in this DLC.
Epic,
My favorite of which was
content?
actually this bird that looks like
Bird?
almost a ninja creature
That's-
with claws that
that's
has
definitely
fast
a
stabbing
unique bird.
attacks. It really was a cool style enemy.
Pretty
and it
cool
was
enemy,
something
dude.
unique
Look at
from
him.
anything that had been in Dark Souls up to now, so I very much enjoyed it. Following
Like he
along
should be
with
in
the
another game, to
Gothic
be
style
honest.
architecture and art style
Oh,
of Dark
Gothic
Souls, there are
style.
many temples,
Think Dark
chapels,
Souls.
and one huge church in this DLC.
Think the
in
From
which you'll find the
Software
NPCs
series
that'll
of
basically
games.
explain the plot of what the heck is going on in this area. In addition, in the basement of that church, you will find a corrupted area full of fly-like mutation creatures. that will
Mutation
afflict you with
creatures?
bleed, one of my most
So that other thing
hated
was a
afflictions
bird,
of the original
but
Dark
these
Souls
obvious
3 game,
bugs
because
are
it makes your
mutation
HP drain
creatures.
gradually. So
Wasn't
pretty
Tarnation.
awesome art style and variety of locations in this DLC. Now, in addition, the loot. The loot is pretty damned good. You're going to be getting all the unique loot
What the
pieces
fuck?
from the enemies in the DLC, including these zombie-like warriors
Yo.
that are out in the frost. You'll get
Wait.
the armor sets and weapons. You'll get a torch that allows you to breathe
His
fire.
chest was
There's
way
also the
smaller
weapons you're
than-
gonna get off these
Wait a
dark
minute.
Viking-like
I thought you lost so
enemies
much
who are
weight.
humongous and slow and lumbering,
Ah.
but very damaging. These weapons basically allow you to do area of
Thanks,
effect
Cat.
attacks, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, there's the weapons from the crow-like enemies, those ninjas that I had mentioned before. One is just kind of a double dagger set of claws that you can use, but another one is a long rapier and throwing daggers, which is a pretty unique combination because you have both ranged and close-up melee combinations, so some pretty awesome loot. Now, there's also different magic and stuff. You get a spell that lets you cast a frost affliction on any weapon in your right hand, which is one of the...
$4.20. Puff harder. I really like the bird. Caw. And his catchphrase, meanwhile cat is getting blacked in a yellow thong.
It is
debilitating
a
things
pretty
from
unique
Dark Souls 3 that
catchshrase.
really wasn't implemented that much. So
Specifically
it's
a
interesting
yellow
to see them
thong, too.
kind of
Sometimes
have
the
that
color
show up.
changed, though.
And I do have to say that the boss weapon that you can get
Why
seems
did he
pretty
put
unique
menu
and
footage in
interesting.
here?
I don't want to spoil too much
Come
about
on, bro. You
that,
put out a
but it does
13-minute
seem like
long
a kind
video.
of cool
You can't have
weapon
menu
that
footage in
someone
that.
might want to even respect their character to check out. So
And because
definitely
people
the
don't
loot
think this
worth
is
it. Of
interesting, you
course,
say they
the
have a
most
short
notable
attention
loot here is
span.
probably the fact that
Why the
there's a
fuck would I want to look at
brand new
menus in a
pyromancy,
13-minute long video?
Conjuration
Multiple
item. There's
times.
also a new pyromancy
How dare
spell,
you?
and of course,
It's
the
because he's
ability
showing
to
a
go to
spell off
new
it.
PvP
Sure, you can
arena
actually
if you
just
find
do
a
the
super
spell, but that's
secret area
stupid.
and get these ashes
Gotta
that are
look at a
hidden.
picture
It'll
of it.
enable a new PvP arena. If you're into PvP, you can go there. I particularly, as I said, don't really care too much about that. But hey, there's a lot of loot to be had in the
I guess
Ashes
yellow
of
thong would
Ariandel
make sense though
DLC.
because the beak is yellow.
Now,
if you
spoiler
really want to
alert,
put
I'm
some
gonna
lore
talk
behind
about
it.
the bosses. Now, one of my major gripes of this DLC are basically the very large lack of boss fights. In fact, in this DLC, there are 2 NPC-style characters who you'll fight, and in particular, I didn't find either of them too difficult. It's basically the same as all the other NPCs of Dark Souls. You basically have to figure
NPC
out their
fights are
attack
easy in this
patterns
game,
and
though?
find out how to counterattack around them when they're done swinging.
Oh yeah,
or
look
they
how
deplete
easy it
their
was.
Stamina, or even find a way to break their guard, to break through
Such
and
an
wail
easy
away on
fight.
them
Let me
until
show the
they're
footage
dead.
of me not
So
knowing
no
what the fuck
big
to
deal
do.
there, but there are 2 big boss fights. The first of which is kind of
He could have at
surprising
least gotten the
because
footage
at
when
first
he
it seems
won
like
the
it's super
fight. Come
easy,
on,
and then all
man.
of a sudden, a certain
Give us
party
the-
shows
give
up
us
to
the
scare
good
the living
shots,
crap out of
jeez.
you, and then you realize this is the
If he
real
edited
boss
porn,
fight.
it would be
I
like
definitely
45
enjoyed
minutes
this
of people
one a
looking
lot.
at each
And
other.
then there's the final boss, of which I'm not going to totally spoil. I'm only going to show you the few
Ugh.
clips from this first boss phase. There's actually more than this, but this was a fun boss because it's all about learning the patterns and actually adapting to them. Unlike other Dark Souls bosses where a lot of times they're just like meat sponges and you just keep wailing on them and they ignore all of your attacks,
sponges, by the
this
way.
particular boss actually staggers if you time your attacks correctly, which
I'm
basically
sad
makes
now
it
'cause
one of
I
the
made
most
up this
skillful
weird
fights in the
reality
Dark
where
Souls
DSP is a
series
porn
because
editor.
It's more about learning when to attack and
It would be so
counterattack
much
rather than
footage
just
of, like,
finding
the
an abusable
dude
pattern, like, oh, run behind the
trying
big toe
to
of this giant lumbering beast
organize
and wail
himself.
away until he melts into a pile
Probably
of
like
nothing.
10 minutes
So
of the
I
lady taking
definitely
the
like
clothes
boss
off,
fights, but
15 minutes
it
of
needs
people
to be
checking their
said,
phone.
Why were there only 2 of
Some
them?
dude ordering
Most
pizza in the
other Dark
background.
Souls DLCs leading up to now have had multiple
No music.
epic boss encounters. This one
What do you
really
mean, man?
felt
This is
pretty
the raw
underwhelming,
footage. This is what
especially
those
when it
other
comes to the
porn
fact that
directors,
it's only
they
about
don't
a
show you
5-hour
that,
long
man.
DLC.
I give you
Outside of
guys,
the bosses,
give it to you
there's
guys
just
raw,
really
just
not
like
that
you,
much content.
Just like
Once
you
run
like
through
it.
this area once, you're pretty much going to get all the loot. And it does need to be said,
I
there
give
are
it to
2
you just like
secret
you like
areas
it.
in this DLC
You guys
that actually
like
have
this.
some of the best loot. I actually
My
thought that I
raw
had completed
footage,
this
you guys
DLC
like it,
after only
right?
playing
It's
it
pretty
for about
cool.
3 hours. I was ready to move on
We're
to
gonna
the
get the
final boss,
behind
and
the
everyone was
scenes
like, no,
footage.
no, you missed out on these 2
Him
giant
following
areas.
people
You
in
have
the
to go
bathroom
back
and
and
shit.
find them. I eventually
Making
did
fun
and
of
found
Dr.
out, wow,
Disrespect.
these actually are big optional areas that you could easily miss out on if you didn't know you have to do these
That's it.
certain
Raw,
tricks to get
unedited
to them.
sexual
So I am
content.
very happy that my viewers actually told me about them so I could get the most
You
out of
guys,
DLC.
those fucking
But it
people with the
still
short
needs to be
attention
said, only
spans,
around
they
5,
want
maybe 5.5
flashy
hours
fucking
of
porn
gameplay
and
for
music.
this DLC, while other
I'm not
Dark Souls
doing that,
DLCs
man.
in
I
the
do
past
it
have
different
run
over
anywhere from
here.
7 to 10 hours.
That was a nice
only
death.
2 boss fights.
Nothing he could do.
I
And
do
he stares
find
down the barrel
myself
of the camera.
criticizing this one a little bit. Even though I enjoyed the time that I
God
spent
damn it.
in it, I don't think that there was enough to it.
Shout out to having
Now, another
not
criticism
having
that
a
I have
leaderboard
about
back
the
then.
DLC, I'll be honest, outside of the boss fights, it actually
You
felt
should be able to
pretty
jump through
easy,
windows
which is
in,
very
from
different from the
software
DLC
games. They should add that in
experiences
the
I've
next
had
one.
with Dark Souls in the past, which have always seemed like a difficulty spike from the standard campaign.
Put a bunch of
now, it
houses
is
in it, too.
recommended
Think
that you
Grand Theft
don't play
Auto.
this DLC until you've gone to Lothric Castle, which is near the end game of the original Dark Souls 3 campaign. But the bottom line is, I never grinded when playing the original Dark Souls 3 campaign at all, and my character was around the low to mid 90s in level when I started the Ashes of Ariandel DLC. So some people might say maybe I was over leveled. I don't know. I just played this naturally without grinding or anything like that. Right after I had beaten the campaign of the original Dark Souls, and it just did seem easy. You know, yes, I did die several times to kind of those gotcha mechanics, those beginner's traps that they always put into the Dark Souls games. You know, guy drops down out of the sky, lands on your head, and wails on you until you lose 90% life. Those kind of things are always going to be apparent in the Dark Souls franchise. But outside of that, the actual combat, the enemies, didn't really seem to challenge me that much. Maybe it's just because I've played Dark Souls now for so long and I'm getting good at the actual combat. combat, but it just did not seem that it was really challenging me. I never really felt like I was struggling, except for maybe a few times when I was surrounded by multiple mobs of enemies by accident because I was rushing through rather than taking my time in a few instances. I don't know, it just did seem overly easy to me. I don't know if this is a new pattern for From Software, and now they're making the DLCs easier so that people feel they're more accessible. I really don't think that's going to work for them because I think people enjoy the challenge of the Dark Souls.
Wait a minute. You know what I just thought about? When he says Phil here with KO Gaming, was Stone Cold the other dude that worked with KO Gaming? And he wrote the script. So that's why DSP always read out, that's the bottom line, and the bottom line is this, and this is the bottom line, and that's the bottom line, and this is the bottom line, and the bottom line is this. We finally fucking figured it out.
And would much rather
Holy
see
shit.
a more challenging DLC than one that everyone can get through on their first or second run.
No
So,
way. That's
I don't
pretty
know
cool,
what
dude. He got to
happened
work
here.
with Stone Cold.
I didn't enjoy the fact that there was only 2 major bosses. I didn't enjoy the fact that the DLC was so easy, but overall I did enjoy it.
Well, he got a lot of Superman curl going on in that
It
clip.
was so easy, but overall I did enjoy it.
Extra greasy.
And so, even though I'm not going to give the
And this
Ashes of
out of order
Ariandel
editing is
DLC
kind
a
of
number
annoying.
score, simply because
Death
I'm
count
not a
1.
PvP gamer, and I didn't really...
Death count 6. Death count 0? Look like 0. Death count 3. Death count 14. A minute into the video, he's showing shit that happened like an hour into the stream. And then he loop it back around almost at the end of the video, showing us stuff from basically the beginning of the footage.
care to even test
nonsensical
out the PvP content.
meme
I don't
editing.
really
What's
feel
going on here?
it would be fair for me to say, oh, it's this number grade on a scale, simply because I don't have that kind of experience and I didn't really fully play the entire thing and all of its content. But for the story-based aspect of the Dark Souls 3 Ashes of Ariandel DLC, I enjoyed the locations. I did enjoy retreading into the world of the Dark Souls franchise. I did like the loot that came out of this DLC, and the boss fights that were there were actually pretty good. In fact, I'd say the final boss of this DLC is probably in my top 3
he doesn't say
Dark Souls
anything in
boss
his
fights
footage.
that I've
Jay
ever
tipped
done because
$1.
it is that
Plot
epic
twist
and
Phil
that well
didn't work with Stone Cold. Phil is Stone Cold.
Oh, God.
done, in my opinion. But the fact that the DLC is on the shorter side, the fact that
Would
there
explain
are
the
only 2
drinking.
bosses, and it seemed overly easy,
I
kind
don't
of
know,
tips
but
me
I
towards
don't
the
know.
side that
I
maybe
can't.
this
I
isn't the
can't
best
see Stone Cold
one,
as being
you know
a
what I mean?
gen guy.
Now,
You know what I mean?
quite honestly, towards the side that maybe this isn't the best one. You know what I mean? Now,
You know what I mean?
Quite honestly,
Look
to
how
be
big
fair,
the death
maybe
count
the
was,
reason
too.
is because they actually
And
put
still
in PvP
blurry,
content, so they
of
actually
course.
put dev time into another
I
part of
think
the DLC
eventually
that
he
I'm not
figured out
going
how to
to
make text look
experience.
good. No, you
To which I
dumb
have
bitch.
to
It
end
wasn't
my kind of
fraudulent.
mini
I don't
review
think he
saying
did.
this. If you're into the
Kitten
lore,
tipped $1. Every single male actor would be required to have a
Want to have a
goatee.
law
There would
discussion?
also be awkward gay jokes. Think Project 7. His first movie would be about a buff guy with a goatee cucking a fat guy by buying an apartment from the dude's wife. Sounds good?
I wouldn't even
No,
want
you
to
dumb
imagine
bitch, it wasn't
DSP's
fraudulent.
discussion on the set.
Filzer's
as he
Productions
films
tipped
porn.
$1. Okay, honey. Are you ready for our big scene? Now, sit here in the couch. Tyrone will be here in a few minutes. What I want you to do in the meantime is look deadpan at the camera and explain your legacy to all the wheelchair symbol. Remember, it's all gonna be one take.
Holy shit, porn pre-streams. They kind of exist.
and you're into the gameplay
But
of
his
Dark
would be
Souls, you'll
worse
probably
and
like
longer.
the DLC, but
Of
feel
course.
like it came up a little short because of the
So,
shortcomings
tell
I've
me all
mentioned.
about yourself.
If you're
Where,
into the PvP,
why are you
this
here?
may be your favorite
The-
DLC ever, because the DLC Arena may be the
That
best
shit's
thing ever
on the
made,
go.
but I wouldn't know. So you may want to be skeptical if you are one of those
And
people
him
who
turning
isn't
the
into PvP
questions
like
and
me
us
about
being
dropping
being about
15
himself.
bucks or
So,
25
why are
bucks
you
if you're
here?
getting the
The-
season pass for Dark Souls
Well,
3
the
in
reason
order to
why
buy this
I'm
DLC,
here
especially
is
you know
because,
it's gonna be one of
okay,
the easier ones.
I lost my
I
job
really
in
don't feel
2010.
cheated. I definitely
And after
enjoyed
that,
the
I started to
experience, and I
do
think that if
YouTube
you are
full
the kind of
time.
person that likes
And
the Dark Souls
in
lore, you're probably going
2015,
to enjoy
false
this DLC.
copyright
But
strikes
one
screwed
final
me over
thing,
on DSP
the
Gaming.
DLC didn't really tie in
So,
concretely
the bottom
with
line
the
is
plot line
this.
of the main
I'm
game.
here
In fact,
now.
there are references to like Pontiff
Oh.
Sullivan and some other characters from the main Dark Souls 3 game, which I enjoy.
He wouldn't be able to do
but
it,
it
dude.
didn't really concretely
He
explain
would need to hire
how
too
it
many
tied
people,
to
and then it
I wish
wouldn't work
maybe
because he
it
wouldn't want
had
to
a
pay
little
him.
bit more so that you can know what is this painted world, why does it exist, and what's
You
going on
expect
with
to
it.
get
I mean,
paid?
there's never a full elaboration.
You're just
and having
having
that
sex,
little bit of this
idiot.
uncertainty in my head is a little bit annoying
you dumb
because I would have
bitch,
liked
it
to
wasn't
have a
fraudulent.
definitive explanation of what's going on. Maybe that'll be in
Jay
future
tipped
DLCs. I don't
$1.
know.
Honey, while
but
we're
for now,
filming, try to have more of a personality.
there wasn't, so really it kind of left me with a little bit of a lack of a resolution. Overall,
I want you to
like
make
Ash's
look a
Ariandel.
little more
You like
excited
Dark
for the
Souls
camera,
3,
honey.
You will as well. If you like PvP, you'll probably like it even more. So definitely check it out. But be warned, it's a little bit short and a little bit easy. That's it for my review of the Ashes of Ariandel DLC, everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a like here on YouTube, and if you're not already, consider subscribing
totally
to
liked the
KO
video. I
Gaming
love the
right
video.
here, and also spreading the word about the channel to your friends. In addition, please
He
check
really
the description
was,
of this video.
He really was going with the spread the word to your friends thing. God damn, he got some real winners coming up, huh? Holy fuck. Battlefield 1, Titanfall 2. He never did review Call of Duty. Because I remember this year, he got Battlefield 1, Titanfall 2, and Infinite Warfare. And the dude donated him Infinite Warfare, and he gave him the most expensive version to review the game. He never reviewed the game. Thanks a lot, Doc. I need to do a part 3 for fucking KO Gaming. KO Gaming might get a part 4 or a part 5 at this fucking rate. He got the most disappointing shit, then the game of the year, then weirdness, and then it got really weird because he started to take other people's videos. Then you got on the couch reviews, and then you got the drama from last year, and then it finally got killed. Good God, I need a last video. What could be a good one? It's so many fantastic ones sitting there in this little lineup. Obviously. I don't know. I kind of want to hear him shit on this game.
What's going on, everyone?
What's going
Phil here,
on?
and welcome to
Phil
KO
here
Gaming.
with KO Gaming.
Last year, in early 2015, I had the opportunity to play and review
KO
a game
Gaming has
called
too much
Dragon Ball
content, dude.
Xenoverse,
It's too much
which
to
took
handle.
a unique hybrid of
I wish I could have started
RPG-style
the stream earlier,
elements,
though.
including a leveling system with equipped abilities and loot that would upgrade your created character, along with the wide cast of characters and lore
Sparks
of the
tipped
Dragon Ball
$4 and 20 cents. Puff harder.
Oh.
Idiots are saying I
Was.
never paid my flowers actresses. Guess what? They never expected to be paid. We had multiple meetings where they specifically said they want no money. Do 5 seconds of
Oh
research.
my God, that's
No, you
exactly
dumb
what he would
bitch,
say.
it wasn't fraudulent.
We never even
Spread the
talked
word
about
tipped
money.
$1
They never
and 33
expected it.
cents. Spread the word to your friends. Can you imagine trying to explain the Dark Surfer saga to someone you know in real life?
I want to tell somebody in real life to watch KO Gaming videos.
Universe.
Hey,
Now, this
bro,
game,
I know
although
you're
it was
interested in that
pretty
game,
interesting
Dragon
for
Ball
people who were
Xenoverse
huge
2.
fans
You
of
should
the
watch
Dragon
KO
Ball
Gaming review it.
franchise, ended up coming up short for pretty much everyone else, because if you didn't
Really
know
odd
who these
music for
characters
this. I
were
guess
and you didn't already
Noah's
have
music he added in.
previous knowledge of the entire Dragon Ball plotline, you probably would have absolutely no
I thought I had
idea
a
what this game
weird
was
ringtone
about.
or something at
And
first.
quite honestly, I do feel that the game
It's
had a
weird
lot of
music beat.
shortcomings, things that could have been improved, technical aspects that definitely should have been tweaked and maybe brought into a more modern era of console gaming. And so here we are in late 2016 with the release of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. And at first glance you may say, wow, that was pretty quick, only a year and a half, and there's already a sequel out. So, does the sequel improve upon the things that definitely needed improvement from the first installment? Does the game find a way to break into a more widestream audience? Let's talk a bit in my review. There would honestly be nothing more pleasing to me than to
No,
be
you
able
dumb
to tell
bitch,
you
it wasn't
that the game
fraudulent.
developers of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2
Emergency.
directly
Piracy tipped $1. Alright, so the bottom line is, these sick mother butterfly are uploading my gingerly to Toxic Bunny sites that accept stolen videos, and I talked to my guy at Joyful.
Shit, I
and
didn't
they
even
said,
think about
"Listen,
that. All of the
Phil,
people
we
that
love
would
your
steal his
content,
pawn."
but we can't do anything
Damn.
about this."
He definitely couldn't do it. He'll want to pull up at people's house over that dude.
They're stealing my stuff and they're making money off it. Don't watch.
He would have to tell us to not watch whole websites because they're stealing his pawn.
listened to the criticisms of the first game and responded. And you know
Toxic
what?
Bunny
Honestly,
sites.
in a lot of ways, I think they did. First and foremost, the graphics. Even though they look almost identical to those of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 during screenshots, as you can see here in this full quality video,
In
the
a way,
game
if you
now
just knew
runs at
this was a
full
dude
60 frames per
and it
second.
wasn't
This is
Darks
awesome
Defil
to
with
see your
KO Gaming,
favorite
you can
Dragon Ball
kind
Z
of think this
characters
was a
in
up and
full
coming
motion,
channel.
having so many frames and just
But then you
looking
would be
really
like, wait a
spiffy
minute,
with all of their
20,000
combat
subs. None of this
animations.
is worth
This was a
20,000 subs. What's going on
huge
here?
complaint of a lot of people last year, and so it was one of the biggest improvements
bad,
in my
man.
opinion. In addition, there is now a tremendous amount of
Oh, no, this is a
moves,
pretty good review.
equipable items, outfits, and
Very
ways to
informative,
customize
too.
your character that definitely expanded upon that formula from the original
When the first
Xenoverse game. So
Xenoverse
in a
game
lot
came
of
out,
ways, it definitely makes sense. In
I thought
addition,
it was
the
gonna
Hub
be
City
fun.
is, even
I was
though
like,
it's
whoa,
supposed to be
Dragon
based on
Ball
the
Z,
same
dude,
city
it
from
looks
the
pretty
first
cool.
game,
You can
was
make your own
dramatically
guy.
improved. You're not hearing
And
the
then I
same
watched the
exact
Surfer
song
play it.
playing throughout the entire game,
And now I never
droning
wanna play
on and
another
on
Dragon
ad
Ball Z
nauseum like it was last time around. And there are other little
Really
things
weird
here and
background
there
music
that
for
are
this
definitely
video.
improvements. More trainers who'll teach
I
you
feel like
more
I wouldn't
abilities
hear
for
it
your
if I was wearing
warriors.
different
More
headphones. So
side
it's kinda
content,
freaking
including
me out.
not only those parallel quest grinding style missions that were present in the first game, but also now there's separate worlds, 5 of them in fact, that have different kinds of side content, other people who will send you off on missions for specific plot lines and what-if scenarios, and basically there's just a heck of a lot more to do in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 than there ever was in the first game. So if you're a fan of the first game and you played it and you were looking for lots of improvements upon that existing formula, then this is definitely going to be a positive.
Oh, shit, he
However,
changed his editing
much
for
like
this.
Dragon Ball
This isn't the
Xenoverse
zoom
1,
in. Somebody
this
complained about the
sequel,
zoom in
once
probably.
again,
So now he got the
kind of
slide for every
assumes that
transition.
You have
Very
previous
nice.
knowledge not only of the Dragon
Those fucking
Ball Z
trolls complaining
franchise
about
this
my
time
zoom
around,
transition.
but that you've
I'ma get 'em
already
this time.
played the original game.
Knock their
That's
socks
right.
off.
A huge assumption of the game developers is that you liked the first game and wanted to play the second one. In fact, lots of critical things to know about the game, including the basic game tutorials to learn.
It's an OBS slide
Farts
like
tipped
that.
$4.20.
I
Puff harder.
probably
Please turn off antivirus and
wouldn't be
click
able
on
to
the
do
ads.
it.
No, you dumb bitch, it wasn't fraudulent.
Oh god, yeah, you got
Anonymous
vertical,
tipped
left to
$1.
right,
You
top,
wanna
left,
be
all kind of
paid.
shit.
You're being paid in exposure. So expose those butterfly doohoo-hoo-ha.
Now, it is possible, but I would have to go through so many to find the one I want. But it's like a fucking OBS transition, but he edited it in. Oh.
Different
Please
kinds
turn
of
off
combat
antivirus and
abilities
click on the ads.
are hidden
He would
in
definitely
a
love
side content menu
oh,
of an
could
NPC.
you imagine the ads
if
on
you
the
didn't ever
DSP,
talk to that
the
NPC,
DSP porn, the
you
dark
wouldn't
porn?
even know half of the way to play the game.
He could do
It's just
sponsorships
assumed
probably.
You already
Finally, he
been
can get
playing the
sponsorships.
first one and you knew how to do it from the get-go. It's really
Maybe.
jarring.
Do
No
porn people
backstory
get
is really
sponsorships?
given at all besides an intro cutscene about why you're traveling
like
through
dildos or
time,
something?
who the actual antagonists
something. He
are
can
of
figure
this
something.
story
Ray
and
Wine tipped
why the heck they're
$5.
doing what
Hey
they're
Tevin
doing.
7-7-11
And just-
Tevin 11
thank you
7
for following,
Tevin
great
Tevin
win.
7-11 Tevin 7-7-11 7 Tevin Tevin 11 7 7 Tevin Kevin Kevin 7-7-11 Tevin 7-7-11 7 Tevin Tevin 11 7-7-11. Thank you for the stream, man. Hoo-hoo.
You better take a sip.
Even the main character from the last game who makes a surprise appearance, especially if you've imported your game data from Xenoverse 1, they'll actually retain their appearance from the original game, is here without any kind of an explanation. And it just kind of makes me throw my arms up and say, why assume that there aren't people who want to jump into this franchise with the second part instead of the first? Why not assume that maybe people who aren't
Did he put a
giant
story
fans
segment?
of Dragon Ball Z,
Whatever.
who
Screw
know
it.
who this wide cast of characters are, might want to get a little bit of an explanation. It kind of baffles me that the major criticism of the first game, that without previous knowledge you couldn't really enjoy it, has again been completely glossed over with Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. It's really frustrating. Now, that being said, if you are a fan of the Dragon Ball Z franchise and did play the original game, you're probably going to feel in familiar territory here and really enjoy the sequel.
You're probably gonna what?
Game. You're probably going to feel in familiar territory here and really enjoy
Feels
the sequel.
familiar?
The improved attack animations, the wide variety
damn
of
it,
new
dog.
attacks, the new
Fucking-
customizations
it's like a
for your
20-second
characters,
edit.
etc.
Just say it
are a
again and then use the
welcome
second
addition.
time.
In addition to that, there's all kinds of new style of missions.
This wasn't a
including
stream,
giant
DSP.
battle
Come on,
co-op
man.
missions against Great Ape Saiyans and the like, and there's also new online capabilities, co-op missions against Great Ape Saiyans
Oh my
and
God,
the
he's
like,
falling
and there's
apart in this
also
video.
new online capabilities of the game that are pretty neat. So if you have a bunch of Dragon Ball fans in your friend base or your family and you want to team up to do co-op online or even duke it out with your favorite warriors against each other in online multiplayer, all of that functionality is available in the game from the get-go. In addition, there is a ridiculously large amount of characters in the game that are all unlockable through various means. Some will be unlocked while you just play through the standard story mode, while others are unlocked by doing various side content missions in the game, whether they're the parallel quests that are what if scenarios that you just simply play through, and by
Did he like download the
performing certain
soundtrack to the
criteria
game to
during
put in the
fight,
video?
at the end you'll get an unlockable. A lot of the times
Don't
you'll
sound
get
like
some
something
things,
he would
notable side universe or
get
side
from
content
Machinima.
in the game. So there's
Back
a
then,
lot
at
in
least.
there, and by the time that you finish your
I'm
experience,
kind of
you're
shocked he
probably
never
gonna
got
be
in trouble for that.
ecstatic that
I wanted to bring that shit up like
Phil's
2 years ago. I
YouTube
forgot
voice
one
is
day.
something else. If Phil does flowers, would he get Kekon and Brian to help?
Maybe Brian. Not probably a no for Kekken. Probably a no. Something I forgot about this like years ago, legit. Machinima gave him music, and I remember I used to get shit, Fetty Wap. Big up Fetty Wap. Nigga put up 1738. DSP, 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 DSP. Frag 5. Frag.
DSP 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 DSP
Sweetie, sweetie
Frag
Mo name, by the way.
5 tip $17.38. Praise be to the Almighty. Take my illegal positive contribution and don't worry, I already spread it to all my friends. Folded hands, big ups, folded hands.
Big ups. But goddamn, what I was saying? Oh yeah, I used to get Content ID match for his music that he got for free from Machinima. And when he left Machinima, he still was using the music, and he never got in trouble for it. Like he didn't get a Content ID match that he, at least not that he complained about. And he still allegedly made money on the videos. So that's pretty good. Machinima let him get away,
some
dude.
of your favorite characters in these really fun
Every time I used to watch his weekend previews
However,
and stuff,
it
I would
does
get
need
Content
to be
ID match for
said
that fucking
that once
dumbass
again,
music.
the game is incredibly repetitive,
What
just
was it
like
that?
the first game.
What did he use the music in?
Once you're done creating your original character in Dragon Ball
It's been so
Xenoverse
long,
2's
dude, I
character
forgot.
creation mode, you're immediately thrown into the open world city, of which is going to be your home for the majority of the game. You're going to be wandering around different locations and talking to different NPCs, some of which will have different side missions for you to perform that are as silly as just performing a pose that you learn by talking to other people. Or you might have
this
some
is
characters
sweet
who want
footage,
you to
by
go
the
on a
way.
fetch quest to get an item or swap an item to get a better item.
It's like an indie
typical open
JRPG
world
trailer
RPG style
where
stuff,
they just show
especially
people
the
running
kind
a
of stuff
straight
you would
line.
see in an MMO. So again, I have to make the comparison that Xenoverse 2 almost feels like an MMO that was turned into
That's
a
it. It was the music
standard
at the end of the
action
weekend
RPG
preview when he did
hybrid game,
the scroll
and
with
it
the
is a little bit
Patreon
bizarre
names,
in that way.
the Star Wars sound
but
and stuff.
ultimately, what you're going to
That was
realize
what
with
it was.
Xenoverse 2 is that it follows the same formula as the original game.
I knew I remember
Talk to a
music,
few
but I didn't
people,
remember what
unlock some
context it
missions,
was in.
Do the missions, do the next story mission, and it's going to
He
be a
stopped doing
lot
that
of
too again.
combat,
I
repetitive,
guess he
just
forgot about it.
mashing buttons, and yes, the
'Cause he was
combat
supposed
is
to do it during
refined
the
to some
streams
extent.
now.
They did actually change a few things up in the combat engine and
You
not make
remember
it so
like
it's not
once-
the same
once a month
repetitive thing
sometimes.
over and over and over.
Once every
and
other month,
there
you
is
remember.
potential for large variation in
He has a
combos,
professional Patreon, you guys. Don't worry.
Except that unfortunately, when you're fighting against the AI in this game, about maybe halfway through any established combo that you're doing, eventually it's going to do a reversal move and escape that combo. So it's really frustrating when you're trying to learn the combo system of the game and build up large combos, especially because there's some side missions in the game that require you to get a certain amount of hits, and all of a sudden the computer just decides, well, I'm just going to escape that combo and escape this combo. And
Why
ultimately
can't
what I found in the game,
somebody
which is
just
exactly
make a
what happened
game
with the
with
first
the
game,
gameplay?
instead of doing more advanced combos and
Like,
strategies,
just get Arc
I just
System
found
Works to
a
help you
very
make the
short
third game of this.
combo that was
So you
very
got good
repetitive,
gameplay, and
it was
then you got
incredibly
the
effective
open
because
world
9 times out of 10 the AI of the game would not
online,
escape
whatever
it.
the fuck
It would
it's
allow me
supposed
to
to be.
deal the damage I needed, and then I could move on
That's
to
not
the
like a
next opponent and or just keep
bad
repetitively
idea
doing
for a
the
lot of
same
people,
combo to
probably.
the enemy. Anytime
It
I
would
tried to
become
do
too
something
difficult
with
to play
flair
then, and
or
then the
something of a
tournament players will
difference,
fuck it up.
it ended up kind of missing, or the character would escape it. And it's very frustrating, especially when you spend a lot of time grinding to maybe get enough of in-game currency to buy
Justin
that new
Wong gonna come
super-powered
online
finisher that you
with his
really
weird-looking
wanted.
fake
Or
Captain
maybe
Ginyu or
you're
some
really
shit.
trying to get that achievement of, oh, I need to get a 50-hit combo, so I really need to keep this combo going. And then all of a sudden you throw out this super-powered move that you've been working towards for hours. Oh, it misses almost all the time because the computer doesn't just stand there and take it, and there's really no way to stun the opponent to get them to
Budokai
stand there
game
and
should
have
get
them hit
remastered,
them in the
dude.
face.
And then
It's
DSP
pretty
can play 'em
ridiculous. And the
after
same
people
thing
tell
with
them
the
that they used
combos.
to be
You have all
good.
these new abilities. Half of them
Well,
don't really do
apparently,
anything
my
because half the
viewers,
time the AI
like,
is
they
just going to
played
get out of
the
the way.
original,
Also, I did find that
Budokai
sometimes
games,
even if
and
you
they say
had a
they're
bread and
pretty
butter
good.
combo
So
that would work
I might
9 or
check out the
10% or 9
remaster
times out
if
of
you
10,
guys
excuse
want.
me, sometimes that combo would not work.
Of
The
course,
computer
if
would
someone
inexplicably
gifted
get out
me
of
the
it
game,
anyway,
then I'll
even if
definitely
it
be
didn't have the
willing to check it
stamina
out.
required to do a reversal. Sometimes they would just fall out of the combo where they normally would land. They didn't land for whatever reason. Sometimes the scenery would get in the way.
They
So
remastered
ultimately, although the
1
combat of
and
Xenoverse 2 is a
not 2 or
small
3?
step up from that
It's
of
like a lofty
Xenoverse
idea.
1. It still has many, many ways in which it can be improved. And
But these are the
ultimately,
same dudes that
after
remastered
finishing the
those
game, I kind of felt
dot hack
underwhelmed.
games, I believe,
Yeah,
but
it's
they
nice,
remastered
but
like
at the
half
same
the
time,
series
it
or some
wasn't
shit.
a big improvement from the
They make
first game. In a lot of ways,
decisions
it
I
felt
don't
like I was just
understand. I
playing the
fucking
same
bought that
game with a
game too, I
patch
think,
or an
'cause it was on
update
sale.
rather than a whole new
I believe
sequel.
I did.
Sadly, that
it
pattern
direct?
of feeling that this sequel isn't much of a sequel, but instead just kind of a
shit.
patched improvement to
Maybe
the
not.
first game,
What was it
permeates
then?
the rest of it as well.
What else
The
did they
main
put out?
story is
It's a
incredibly
JRPG.
short. It actually can be beaten
Am
in
I
about
really
3
wasting
to
my money
4
on that
hours
shit?
if it's all that you actually play. Unfortunately,
least it was on
it's
sale.
impossible to do that because you have to level your
I know
character
these are the
in
same
order to
people that
scale
published it.
with the difficulty jumps that happen between the story missions. So you're actually required to do some of the repetitive side content this time
extremely
around,
important
rather
that
than
they
just
figure
trying to
this out.
turbo through the game by playing the story missions, which in a lot of ways was possible in Xenoverse 1. But it's basically
have
just the
volume in the
same
title?
kind of game as the first
Nope.
game. You're a time cop. You're going through time trying to undo changes to the time stream. You'll be doing a
Time
what-if
cap?
scenario fight where all of a sudden a factor changed, like a character who normally
I know I
wasn't in
played
this
it,
fight
like,
in
a
the
couple
Dragon Ball
months
Z
ago.
lore is now there, or one character for some reason is superpowered
So I
now
might be
and
able
looks
to
like they'll
find the
win a
name
fight
of
they
this
shouldn't
shit.
have, so you have to right the wrong by coming in and letting the fight outcome be as it was supposed to be. The antagonists are not very interesting. They're the same exact antagonists from the first game, with the little variable here that they actually throw in some of the movie bosses, meaning
Wait
the
a
big
minute.
baddie characters from
Oh
the
shit, Dragon Ball
movies of Dragon Ball
Fighters
over
is
the years,
$15,
who really
dude.
aren't part of the
On
mainstream
PC.
canon lore. But
It's
outside
totally
of that,
worth
there's
it.
nothing
Oh,
really
Jesus.
new. It's the
Merchant
same
in your
exact
Discord
formula
tip
of the first
$50.
game.
If you
Play
wear
a few
free
missions.
Kevin shirt,
Uh-oh, now I need
you
to
get an
level up.
N-word
Play a few
clause.
side missions.
So,
Uh-oh, now I need
make
to go back
sure
to
you
the
throw
story.
some
Play a
shekels
few
at
of
his
these,
store
play a
and
few of
unlock
these,
the
and it's
hard
all
R.
the same.
Vape Nation.
DSP on my free camps tipped $4.20. Puff harder, okay guys. Phil here with an emergency stream. Apparently this website, called Butterfly, is streaming my kitten illegally. I made it, it's my hard work, and these mother lovers just steal it and make money off of me.
Thank you, merchant in your Discord, for the $50 tip. Let's get you up on the leaderboard, buddy. What does he say? He says, if you wear a free Tevin shirt, you get an N-word pass. So, make sure you throw some shekels at his store and unlock that hard R. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but thank you for the tip.
Kind of repetitive grinding combat with
422.
no
DSP on my free
variation
cam.
whatsoever.
Oh, God.
So
I
again,
changed
if
my
you're
account.
not
I
a
did
fan of the
not.
Dragon Ball Z franchise and you don't know the backstories of these
Shit.
characters and you don't already want to anticipate to see this highly awesome attack that you know this character can pull off, and
Yo,
you're not
you got the
interested
echo,
in that,
don't you?
and you don't know
Yeah,
the
you do.
lore, it's really underwhelming and just kind of disappointing. Even
got
me
the weird
being
echo now.
a hardcore Dragon Ball fan, I've been watching both the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z anime series for the past few months in anticipation of this game. I really found myself kind of not too excited once I actually got into the meat of the game. Yes, it was cool to level up my character, to get those stats up, to get new gear or whatever, but ultimately it's just more of the same, and it does feel like you're playing the same game, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1, a second time with only real minor improvements to the formula. I don't understand why they didn't go for a new plot this time around. It's literally the same one from the last game, the same villains. I don't know why they couldn't create more variety in what you're doing. It just seems to me like they played it really freaking safe rather than trying to innovate. Now, in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1, that was passable because the game was new. It was the first time you'd ever seen these hybrid kind of things in a Dragon Ball action combat game with RPG elements. But now, a year and a half later, to pay full retail price for a game that's almost identical to the first, that's a tall order. And again, I kind of have to call out exactly what I said last year. If you're not an existing fan of the Dragon Ball franchise, this game is not existent for you. You're not going to want to play it, you're not going to enjoy it, and ultimately you're just going to feel like it's a grind fest with no proper story or anything to it, and you're going to hate the game. Just like Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1, I'll tell you right now, it's a 0 out of 10 if you're not an existing fan of Dragon Ball. I could not possibly recommend it to a single person who doesn't know anything about it.
a 0 out of 10 if you don't know anything about Dragon Ball.
About this franchise.
It's an actual horrible
Now,
game.
if you
man.
did play the original game and or you are a fan of Dragon Ball Z, you're probably going to get just about the same amount of enjoyment out of this game as you did with the first. Of course, keep in mind, they did add in a few interesting things, such as plot lines related to the Resurrection F movie, which was released recently, as well as some characters from Dragon Ball Super. So that's good that they're in the game and that you can unlock them or whatever. But ultimately, it leaves you feeling empty. Like, I wanted something bigger and better. I actually wanted an advancement in the franchise, not just more of the same, and that's what you got. So ultimately, reviewing this game, I've already told you, if you're not a fan of Dragon Ball, you're not going to like it. Don't get it. It's a 0 out of 10. If you are a fan of Dragon Ball and you
I
did
used
not
to like
play
Dragon
the
Ball Z and
first
Dragon
game,
Ball.
quite honestly, you'll probably like it more because it'll feel more refined and more original to you. If this is the first time you're playing it and you're experiencing the better graphics, the better customizations, the better attacks and controls and combat system, you'll probably like it a bit better. And I'll say, for those who are maybe playing this for the first time as a fan of Dragon Ball Z and you didn't play the first game.
Best question. The last video I'm gonna play, like this will replace like Duda or some shit. Do you want the echo with that video? It's a controller slam video. Do you want the controller slam with the echo? 1 for yeah, 2 for no. And I can't do the help with the echo because it go through a different sound source. It's probably possible.
No, you dumb bitch, it wasn't fraudulent.
Why?
Scoos tipped $1. This pig echo. I am getting sucked into pignosis. Heal.
Okay, I'll take it as a yeah.
I'll probably say that Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is an 8.25 out of 10. You'll like it just as much as if you played the original Dragon Ball Xenoverse last year for the first time as a fresh experience. But I'm going to be honest,
especially when they talk this fast
too. You already spent $60 last year on the first game. Playing this one a year and a half later isn't different. It's literally the same experience with a few tweaks. It's not worth $60. This is a glorified patch. It's almost like if you own the first game, they should have given this game to you as a patch to the first one for $20 rather than charging you $60 a year and a half later to play through pretty much almost exactly the same game. In addition, the grinding, in my opinion, is too excessive in this game. There's too much of it, especially there's one quest line with the guru from Namek who you have to continuously capture Dragon Balls and outrun enemies and keep doing this. You have to do this mission, I kid you not, like 14 plus times in order to finally finish that side mission structure and get the secret items so you can unlock a character at the end of the game. It's far too much of a grind and too repetitive. Ultimately, if this game...
That Tigger DSP tipped $1. You either fight flowers or kill people, just like in Chicago, Tevin, December 17, 2018.
This guy shall be eradicated. This guy will come no more.
Game didn't have as much grinding in it, it would probably feel like a better experience. Give me less repetitive side content grinding and more story elaboration. Give me more original stuff in the story that I'll enjoy, and that's sad that they didn't go that way. They actually made the story incredibly short while adding way more side content that ultimately doesn't really matter and has no real impact on your overall experience. So, if you already played Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1, I would probably say that sadly Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is only like maybe a 7.5 out of 10 for you, because most of this stuff...
Holy shit, if you already played DB Xenoverse 1, this game is only a 7.25 out of 10 due to lack of innovation. Did he do his reviews this way for deaf people? Maybe.
Done already and only playing with a small handful of new characters and the few tweaks that they've done to the engine, in my opinion, are...
The text is so blocky, it kind of makes it harder to read.
Enough to even warrant a full purchase.
It's like
$60
Toy Story
is too
fun or some
much
shit.
to just have tweaks on an existing formula in the modern gaming era. So, if you're not a fan of Dragon Ball, completely skip this game. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball and didn't play the original game, it's probably about an 8.25 out of 10.
Maybe the 2.5 is because he got high views the first day he played it,
feeling like too
and
much
low views the
repetition
second
and
day he
rehash,
played it.
probably about a 7.5 out of 10. As a final thought, I do want to say I did actually enjoy playing Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, mostly because
it's
I
a 0.
was
The game got
Dragon
4
Ball Z
different
anime
scores
this year, and to see the live action 60 frames per second scenes happen that I just saw in the anime take place in the video game was pretty sweet. But outside of that factor, I can't really recommend this game for a purchase to almost anyone. I will
enjoyed the
say
review.
this,
Matter of
please,
fact,
if they make a Dragon Ball
this
Xenoverse
is getting a
3,
like,
do
buddy.
something different and original. Don't adhere to the
And I'm gonna
exact
tell
same
my friends
formula.
to watch it.
Please don't use the same plot again. We've now had enough, and sadly, if I find out that they are using the same thing next time around, I'm probably just gonna skip it, because $60 the first time, okay. $60 again for an experience that's far too similar, but paying another $60 to see what more minor improvements they've done, I'm not going there, and you shouldn't either. Well, that is it for my review of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2,
Check the
everyone.
vid
I
description
certainly
for
hope that
my
you
raw
enjoyed my review,
playthroughs.
and if you did, please consider giving it a like right here on YouTube, as well as subscribing to this channel.
It's been only 1.5 years since the original DB's universe was released. Does the sequel deliver enough new content and improvements to warrant a purchase? Find out in my review.
KO Gaming, because I'm going to be putting out
Does he want me to
far
tell
more
my
kinds of
friends?
these videos in the near future, including all the upcoming releases till the end of the year, and my year-end series, which I do annually. Also, please check the description of this video right here on YouTube, where you can find links to my direct, raw playthrough of the game over on my YouTube channel, DSP.
I like how he promotes it. My direct raw playthrough. Nice click, by the way.
What's going on, everyone? DSP here, and welcome. All right. What's going on, everyone? DSP here, and welcome to a brand new
This
playthrough.
is raw playthrough.
A
Hey,
sequel to a
GL.
game I played a couple years ago that I
Street
very
Fighter
much
Season
enjoyed.
Pass, dude.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
This is my playthrough of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 with live commentary on the PS4. Want to save some money with a new Loot Crate subscription? Visit lootcrate.com/DocsToFeel and use discount code SAVEME10DSP to save 10%. You can also use the code for Loot Gaming, Loot Anime, or any kind of Loot Crate subscription you like by using a drop-down menu on the page. So you can use it for anyone, for anything, or anything. Sounds good to me. Hey, Overwatch.
If you remember, this was a what-if scenario
Fuck
game
is
where you
this?
created your
Oh, that,
own Z
VR
fighter,
game.
and then went into the realm of Dragon Ball Z, where there was this time travel mechanic,
How long was this?
where apparently some villains were going through time trying
Nice.
to change
2-minute
everything, the
intro,
whole
very
plot
nice.
of the Dragon Ball Z lore, and you had
And
to
he
fix
still
it. It was a
had
pretty good game.
pre-strings
I really
then, too.
enjoyed it, and it was something
You
different
fucking kidding me?
because I don't
2-minute
often
intro
play
after the
anime-themed
pre-string.
games. Okay.
Dog, wow.
Since then, a lot has happened. Dragon Ball has seen a big reinvigoration with the release of Dragon Ball
It's a new
Resurrection
tech to
F.
find pre-streams, dude. Totally worth it.
Okay, hello everyone, and welcome. Welcome. How you doing?
25-minute pre-stream. Welcome.
We're doing it live, ladies and gents.
Oh, no
That's
comments.
right, it's time for today's gameplay stream.
All right,
And
finish
today
this
is
shit.
gaming, as well as to my Loot Crate discount code and my Patreon. Thank you
I managed
very
to
much
find
for
a
watching, and
controller
I'll see you
slam
next time
video.
right here.
I managed to find a controller slam video that's less than 5 minutes long. So this is the one I'm gonna play from Yan. Goddamn, I'm not even gonna try to say it because I know I'm saying it wrong. This dude done been here before, I think. This name looked familiar. Yeah, this is a person. They might be watching the stream now, dude.
It's unfucking real. Fucking game pisses me the fuck off.
But now you have the echo with the controller slam, which is great, I'm sure.
Seriously, this is the most frustrating fucking game of the year because Kojima's a fucking asshole. There's no reason for this game to be this hard. Now my controller don't even work. I slammed it so hard. That's my controller right now. Excellent.
Here comes my plate.
What? I hit the girl. Fuck this stupid fucking mission. This mission. Oh, it's worthless. It has nothing to the game. It's too complex. Fucking 20 legs of the fucking mission, and I already fucking beat it. And the game said the guy got away with it directly in front of me. What the fuck? Now I'm pissed. And because I did.
Oh my god, it was the thing.
Now I'm pissed. Now I'm getting pissed, okay? It's official. This is fucking stupid bullshit. I didn't fucking fail the mission.
And she forgives me and lets me go. Now there's actually several more endings. Oh shit. I will lower this.
What the fuck?
Oh, come on.
I was about to say, how did the controller slam happen during the credit screen?
What the fuck? Fuck this fucking game. Fuck this game, man. What the fuck? Shoot me through double walls. Double fucking walls to shoot through to kill me. What the fuck? What a stupid fucking game. I can't even look. I don't have a mouse cursor anymore. The mouse cursor's gone. I have no cursor. I can't play the game anymore. Well, I'm dead because the guy spawned fucking behind me and shot me in my back. I lost 61 fucking thousand, dude. This game's pissing me the fuck off. Now it's just like turn my controller off because I slammed it. This sucks. This sucks. Come on. The guy fucking spawns behind me with an assault rifle and shoots me in my ass. Wow. How challenging. How fun.
The controller slam for this? Oh my god. Hey, Johnny Rambeezy was that?
No! My controller's broken,
God.
dude. Fucking stupid piece of shit fucking Wiimote, dude. Unfucking believable. Unfucking believable.
Fucking jump scare, DSP.
I'm pressing Q. Now he double casts. Pressing 3. Yo, the keyboard doesn't work at all. What the fuck? Work, you fucking piece of shit. I'm gonna break this fucking keyboard on my knee in about 2 seconds because I'm really getting angry. It just doesn't work. Fucking time. You really pissed me off. Fucking piece of garbage. Now we gotta do this again. I'll wait. I'll fucking press L2 again. See what happens. L2. There. What the fucking shit? What the fucking shit? What was I supposed to...
That little twirl when he flew off the side was amazing.
Shit! What the fucking
What the fucking shit?
What was I supposed to do? This game fucking blows. It's like made by amateurs. What kind of
Amateur night?
I'm doing what it says. Speed up. I'm pressing L2. I died. I have to redo another fucking 7 minutes of gameplay. Fuck you. Fuck you. Bad game design. This isn't a control issue. The game is fucking bullshit.
Flipping off the camera, by the way. Not even the camera, flipping off the TV, but showing us like the back of his middle finger. That was special. That was super special. But thank you for showing up to the stream. It was a fun time. We learned something. I don't remember what the hell we learned, but we definitely learned something. It was a learn overdose, dude. And we learned that KOGAMING did not work. He tried to make it work. He tried a lot of different ways too. But next time I watch KOGAMING stuff, I might skip over all of these, to be honest, and just start off with this shit, the most disappointing stuff. And then move on into these hot videos. I'm looking forward to this one though, eventually. 4 big reasons why For Honor sucks. Fantastic video. Prepare to, oh, somebody else made that. That's why the thumbnail's so unique. Yeah, somebody else made all of these, huh? The KOGAMING community creations, obviously. He should have did a hype video for it on KOGAMING back then. Like, I want you to make videos for me. Don't think he did. He just talked about it in pre-stream, which is weird because this is supposed to be a different audience. So why was he asking his like stream audience to make videos? What if a viewer from KOGAMING wanted to make a KOGAMING video?
No, you dumb bitch, it wasn't fraudulent.
What?
No.
Zoom in
I need to remember
transition
what I
tip
watched
$1.
last. I probably will.
DSP has
I remember
truly
this time.
He
Mostly.
used to abuse his controllers and hardware. Now he abuses his chat and his legs.
At least they're not abusing women that we know of yet. Oh well. Thank you for showing up to the stream. I don't know if I'm gonna stream tomorrow. I'll figure out. something.
What is Glow Gang? Well, Glow Gang is GLOGANG. It is Glory Boys. We are Glory Boys Entertainment. It is GBE, but it's shortened. It's shortened. You know what I'm saying? So it's GLO Gang instead of Glory Boys. You can say either one though. It don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? I won't get offended. Gang won't get offended. You know that's what we are. Glory Boys. You know what I'm saying? But Glow Gang is just a short abbreviation for Glory Boys. You know what I'm saying? It's just GLOGANG. You know, we be on a lot of gang shit. You know, we got everybody saying gang now.
I actually have to turn off the stream, don't I? I'm like, later and peace out. Lean back. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I have to turn the fucking stream off. Duh. Fucking God.